One was the sect's top overachiever, a grind monster who never stopped pushing himself. The other was Hua Qingyun, a hopeless slacker of a senior brother. But because of a single mission down the mountain, two people who should have had nothing to do with each other were suddenly brought together. In his previous life, Hua Qingyun was worked to death by endless overtime and corporate slavery. When he opened his eyes again, he realized he had transmigrated. He had become a core disciple of the Qingyun sword sect. To avoid repeating the same tragedy, he swore that in this life, he would never work overtime again. Maybe the heavens took pity on him, because this time, he was born with monstrous cultivation talent. Even if he slacked off every single day, breaking through was as easy as breathing. In this world, cultivation realms were divided into low, middle, and high stages. Most ordinary disciples were only in the key refining or spirit transformation realms. Above them came the soul gathering realm and the spirit palace realm. After that were the purple mansion realm and the ascension realm. Reaching the Spirit Palace realm was enough to compete for a core disciple position in almost any sect. As for the higher Purple Mansion realm, in smaller sects, that was already enough to be called an old ancestor. But in the Qingyun sword sect, it was merely the standard an outstanding core disciple should have to slack off more comfortably. Hua Qingyun sealed his cultivation at the Spirit Palace realm and became the lowest ranked core disciple. Because of that, every outer disciple treated him as their target and worked like crazy to surpass him. After all, the Qingyun sword sect had a rule. During the sect tournament, anyone who defeated a core disciple could directly replace them. That day, Hua Qingyun was napping under a tree as usual, when someone suddenly told him the sect master wanted to ask about yesterday's mission. Since Hua Qingyun was known as the weakest core disciple, he usually only took simple missions where he carried outer disciples. But this time, he had run into Ancestor Seiyun of the Demon Cloud sect, a 7th level Purple Mansion expert. In order to clock out on time, Hua Qingyun decided to end the fight quickly. With a single sword strike, he reduced Ancestor Seiyun to a remnant soul. He was about to finish Seiyun off with another slash when the clockout bell suddenly rang. To uphold his sacred rule of never working overtime, he let Seiyun escape and clocked out on the spot. Later, he asked his little fanboy, "You didn't tell anyone that I blew up Seiyun with one slash, right?" When the boy swore he had not, Hua Qingyun grabbed his shoulder and praised him, saying he would teach him a few moves next time he was free. Then he walked away, looking effortlessly cool. Soon, Hua Qingyun arrived at the sect master's main hall. This was the residence of Wen Jin, the strongest person in the sect. Wen Jin was a 6th level Ascension Realm powerhouse. People called him the Qingyun Sword God, but Hua Qingyun was not afraid of him at all. In fact, the two were privately on pretty good terms, because Hua Qingyun had accidentally discovered that this mighty 6th level Ascension expert was actually a hopeless tea addict. So he used the succulent growing experience from his previous life to cultivate top-grade spiritual tea, successfully wrapping Wen Jin around his finger. After all, building a good relationship with your boss was a mandatory lesson for every corporate slave. After accepting the tea leaves, Wen Jin blushed and asked, "Little Hua, did you recover anything from yesterday's mission?" Hua Qingyun did not waste words. He directly took out what he had found on the disciples of the Demon Cloud sect. The moment Wen Jin saw it, his expression changed. A blood soul pearl. "Little Hua, do you know what this means?" But before he could finish, Hua Qingyun immediately crossed his arms and said he did not want to know, nor did he care. Then he turned and ran toward the exit. "Sect Master, if there's nothing else, this humble one will be taking his leave." In the next instant, Wen Jin's roar echoed through the entire hall. "Stop right there! Little Hua, I'm not trying to lecture you, but even if you do have talent for cultivating spiritual tea, you are still a core disciple. You can't be this lazy. Last week, it was clearly your turn to explain sword techniques to the disciples, so why didn't you go?" A drop of cold sweat ran down Hua Qingyun's cheek as he explained, "By the time it was my turn, it was already after hours. My rule is 9 to 5, not 1 minute more. Sect Master, please try to understand." When Wen Jin heard that this was the reason, his anger instantly flared up. "Because you skipped the sword lecture, all 4 hall masters came to complain to me. They said they wanted to strip you of your core disciple status." Hua Qingyun's voice began to tremble. "They really said that?" Wen Jin suddenly realized his words might have been too harsh and was about to comfort him, only to see Hua Qingyun wearing an absurdly happy expression. Deep down, he was overjoyed. Perfect. If I get demoted to an inner disciple, who would dare complain about me slacking off ever again? So he quickly asked, "Sect Master, when are you removing my core disciple status?" Wen Jin's blood pressure instantly shot through the roof. He pointed at Hua Qingyun and roared, "In your dreams! Since the founding of the Qingyun Sword Sect, we have never had a core disciple removed from their position. If I really stripped you of your status, wouldn't that be slapping me and the elders in the face?" Hua Qingyun was devastated. He knew it. There was no way something that good would actually happen. Just then, a soft and gentle voice entered the hall. Wen Jian was immediately delighted. "Oh? Jianxin, you're here." A young girl walked into the hall bathed in the warm sunlight. With an extremely serious expression, she said, "Tens of thousands of inner disciples train day and night just to become core disciples. Senior brother Hua, why would you give up such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?" She was Yu Jianxin, the #1 core disciple of the Qingyuan sword sect. Not only was she beautiful, but despite her young age, she had already reached the 4th level of the Purple Mansion realm. The entire sect saw her as the future of the Qingyuan sword sect. Hua Qingyuan, on the other hand, was ranked 55th among the core disciples. Dead last, Hua Qingyuan lightly coughed. "Junior sister Yu, you may not know this, but I have been stuck in the Spirit Palace realm for a long time. That is why I want to start over from the inner disciple level. Strengthen my foundation, break through my bottleneck, and make a comeback. As the saying goes, revisiting the basics is the key to breakthroughs." Yu Jianxin was deeply shocked. "I never expected senior brother to be so ambitious. Your understanding of cultivation is so profound. You are completely different from the rumors." Jianxin was too shallow. Wen Jin, who was watching from the side, was speechless. Then he forced out a smile. "Little Hua, the reason I called Jianxin here is because the hall masters have given you a requirement." Hua Qingyuan immediately became alert. "What requirement?" Wen Jin said. "They want you to carry out a mission together with Jianxin and learn from the diligence of the chief core disciple." Leaves rustled outside the hall, while Hua Qingyuan's heart instantly turned cold. He asked in horror, "Sect master, you're joking, right?" After all, the current grind culture in the sect had been started by Yu Jianxin herself. She was the grind monster of all grind monsters. Someone like her was completely incompatible with him. How could they possibly go on a mission together? Seeing Hua Qingyuan's reaction, Wen Jian asked, "Little Hua, Jianxin is our sect's #1 core disciple. Countless people line up just to learn from her. Now that you have the chance to go on a mission with her, what are you unhappy about?" Hua Qingyuan quickly found an excuse, saying he was only worried that he was too weak and would slow down Junior Sister's cultivation. Then he looked at her with a hint of pleading in his eyes. "Junior Sister, you wouldn't want me dragging you down, would you?" Instead, he was met with a face full of excitement. Yu Jianxin said seriously, "Senior brother, you're overthinking it. Since we are fellow disciples, we should support each other and improve together." Then she added with a bright smile, "Senior brother Hua can also use this mission to prove himself and break the rumors about him." Red alarms instantly went off around Hua Qingyuan. He could see it now. This junior sister was trying to feed him motivational speeches and drag him into the grind. With a loud thud, Hua Qingyuan cupped his fists. With a serious expression, he said, "Sect master, I don't mind going on the mission. I'm just worried that no one will take care of the tea leaves." Wen Jian's face twitched on the spot. Under Hua Qingyuan's nervous gaze, he slowly raised his hand and made an okay sign. Hua Qingyuan froze slightly at this oddly modern gesture. Then Wen Jin said seriously, "Qingyuan, as long as you complete this mission perfectly, I will give you 3 days off." Hua Qingyuan's pupils instantly widened. A gust of wind swept toward him. All the worry on his face vanished, replaced by an unbelievably passionate smile. Hua Qingyuan grabbed Wen Jian's hand tightly. "Sect master, there's no time to waste. Please tell me the mission details and location immediately. I, Hua Qingyuan, will go through fire and water without hesitation." A little past noon, sweat glistened on Yu Jianxin's beautiful face. Just then, a lazy voice came from behind her. "Yo, junior sister Yu, working hard, huh?" Yu Jianxin turned to look at her senior brother while catching her breath, and reminded him that he was already 15 minutes late. Hua Qingyuan only said calmly, "If I don't take my midday nap, I won't have energy in the afternoon, junior sister." This was the first time their values directly clashed. Yu Jianxin said seriously, "Cultivation is about using every spare second. I arrived here right at noon and have already swung my sword 3,000 times. Yet senior brother, despite being a Spirit Palace cultivator, you still need sleep like an ordinary mortal." Her eyes shone with determination as she said Hua Qingyuan was far too lazy. Feeling like he was being fed motivational nonsense again, Hua Qingyuan immediately gave her a double thumbs up. "Junior sister, you're absolutely right. I'll definitely train twice as hard when I get back." But inwardly he thought, how is junior sister Yu already this naggy at such a young age? Seeing that Hua Qingyuan had not listened at all, Yu Jianxin sighed. "It's getting late. Let's set off." In the next second, 2 figures shot into the sky and turned into streaks of light. The mission Wen Jin gave them was to investigate the mass disappearance of villagers in the Tianyuan Mountains, which were near Qingsu City, the city that had once been sacrificed in blood. Hua Qingyuan suspected that the demon sect was most likely behind this as well. After hearing that, Yu Jianxin told Hua Qingyuan not to worry, because she would protect him during this mission. Hua Qingyuan was instantly delighted. With Yu Jiangxin saying that, it meant he could get carried through the whole mission. Not only had he found a powerful teammate to lean on, but he would also get 3 days off afterward. This was an absolute win. Since they had set off at noon, after traveling for a while, the sunlight had already turned slightly red. After they landed, Yu Jiangxin suggested, "Let's ask the local villagers for clues first." But beside her, Hua Qingyun started rummaging through his robe. Soon, a small metal box appeared in his hand. Yu Jiangxin asked blankly, "Senior brother Hua, what do you think?" Hua Qingyun did not answer and simply began counting down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Once the countdown ended, Hua Qingyun put away the metal box and said happily, "It's 5 o'clock." Under Yu Jiangxin's stunned gaze, he ran off into the distance. "I'm going to rest. Junior sister, I'll leave the villager questioning to you. See you tomorrow." The street was sparse with people, and the atmosphere felt somewhat eerie. Hua Qingyun walked into an inn called the Dark Fragrance Inn. He asked the innkeeper for a room. The innkeeper replied coldly, "1 tael of silver." The moment the key was handed over, Hua Qingyun narrowed his eyes slightly. The person was clearly suspicious, but as long as the bed was fine, that was all that mattered. Before long, Hua Qingyun lay down on the bed and thought, "I wonder how Junior Sister Yu's investigation is going." After an unknown amount of time, arguing suddenly came from downstairs. Hua Qingyun shot upright. He had actually fallen asleep, but the voice outside sounded strangely familiar. In the inn, Yu Jiangxin was anxiously looking at the innkeeper. "Is the silver I offered not enough?" Suddenly, a familiar voice called out to her, "Junior Sister Yu." Since the innkeeper already said the rooms are full, don't make things difficult for him. Yu Jiangxin was instantly delighted. "Senior brother Hua, why are you here?" Hua Qingyun did not answer her. Instead, he looked at the innkeeper. "Innkeeper, there shouldn't be a problem if I let this junior sister share my room, right?" As soon as he said that, Yu Jiangxin stared blankly at him. The innkeeper's expression darkened as he glanced to the side and said it was up to them. Then, Yu Jiangxin blinked her big eyes and murmured, "Sharing a room with Senior Brother Hua." Her face instantly turned bright red as she exclaimed, "Senior Brother Hua, are we?" Hua Qingyun ignored her and simply said, "If you don't want to sleep on the street, then follow me." The blush on the girl's face did not fade, and she simply offered a soft murmur of agreement. Yu Jiangxin followed behind him nervously, while secretly glancing at Hua Qingyun. Hua Qingyun, on the other hand, remained completely calm, his expression not changing in the slightest. Seeing this, Yu Jiangxin took a deep breath to calm her nerves. It was not like they were doing anything improper, so why was she so embarrassed? Besides, with Senior Brother Hua's Spirit Palace cultivation, she could beat 100 of them with one hand. She could definitely protect herself, but that was just wishful thinking. The moment she entered the room, Yu Jiangxin looked so nervous that she might as well have written "I'm panicking" on her face. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun casually asked, "Have you had dinner? Want some?" That single sentence seemed to flip a switch inside little Yu Jiangxin. She stopped being nervous and immediately started lecturing him like an old master. "Senior brother, as cultivators, we should clear our minds, restrain our desires, and resist the temptation of food. Only when the heart becomes pure can we..." Before she could finish, a piece of pastry was stuffed into her mouth. Yu Jiangxin's little mouth immediately started making muffled noises. Only after she chewed and swallowed the pastry did pure happiness and satisfaction spread across her entire face. After coming back to her senses, she blushed and questioned Hua Qingyun. "Senior brother, how could you ambush me with a pastry?" Hua Qingyun asked back, "Was it good?" Yu Jiangxin avoided his gaze. It was really good." After saying that, she turned her face away and stubbornly added, "But food like this is useless to cultivation. It is better to eat less of it." Seeing how adorable she looked, Hua Qingyun held back his laughter, spread his hands, and asked, "Junior sister, have you ever thought about this? Do you really believe avoiding food, pleasure, and worldly distractions will make your cultivation advance by leaps and bounds?" Yu Jiangxin asked, "Isn't that how it works?" Hua Qingyun waved his finger. "Not at all. You and I both live in this world. Do you really think everything in the mortal world can be avoided just because we want to avoid it? Blindly running away will only exhaust your mind and body, make you afraid of everything, and stop your cultivation from advancing." Yu Jiangxin asked again, "But if we don't clear our minds and restrain our desires, won't we sink into the mortal world and be controlled by temptation? How can we cultivate like that?" Seeing that Yu Jiangxin had taken the bait, Hua Qingyun continued his nonsense. "In my opinion, a true cultivator should dare to face temptation directly and have the courage to experience it." Then he pointed at the pastries on the table. "Take this pastry, for example. If you're afraid its delicious taste will disturb your mind, then you should taste it even more and get used to it. Only when you can see this pastry as something ordinary and remain unmoved can you truly step into the realm of cultivation. When the heart is clear, truth can be seen. Meet truth with truth, and all forms reveal themselves. Remain unstained by those forms, and freedom appears. When freedom becomes natural, that is the Tao. Finally, after Hua Qingyun's long brainwashing speech, the pure light in little Yu Jiangxin's eyes slowly turned into the glow of someone who had absolutely misunderstood everything. After finishing, Hua Qingyun glanced proudly at his junior sister. Crap, I got carried away and said way too much. Did I just overload this kid's brain? Suddenly, Yu Jiangxin shot to her feet and said, I understand now. Only by facing desire, then abandoning desire, can one return to simplicity and comprehend the great Tao. After saying that, she rushed straight toward the pastries and started devouring them with both hands. By the time Hua Qingyun reacted, it was already too late. The pastries on the table were gone. A moment later, Hua Qingyun looked like someone whose snacks had been completely stolen as he grumbled sulkily. Tonight, you can make do on the floor. Yu Jianxin covered her little mouth and giggled. She even let out a tiny burp before saying she did not need to sleep and could simply meditate. The night sky was silent. Inside the room, the two fellow disciples formed a sharp contrast. Suddenly, a shadowy figure quietly approached the door. He took out a bundle of incense from his robe. After lighting it, he placed it in front of their door. Before long, smoke slipped through the crack and silently spread through the room. The strange fragrance woke Yu Jiangxin from her meditation. Suddenly, she realized something was wrong with her body. Damn it. It's poison. The poison was extremely powerful. Even with her purple mansion cultivation, she collapsed weakly to the ground in just a few moments. As she was about to faint, Yu Jiangxin looked toward Hua Qingyun and struggled to warn him to run. But in the next second, she was shocked to discover that Hua Qingyun looked completely unaffected, quietly watching her as if nothing had happened. Under the night sky, the trees rustled violently in the wind. The innkeeper trembled as he crawled beneath the black figure. My lord, the disciples of the Qingyun sword sect have already been taken down with the spirit severing incense. One of them is Yu Jiangxin, the chief core disciple of the Qingyun sword sect. As for the other, his identity is unknown. I only heard her call him Senior Brother Hua. A trace of surprise flashed through the black figure's crimson eyes. I didn't expect you to actually take down Yu Jianxin. As for that Senior Brother Hua, I've never heard of him. He's probably just some follower. The innkeeper's voice trembled as he said, It was all thanks to your aura-concealing talisman, my lord. Otherwise, I never would have escaped their notice. The black-robed man chuckled and said the innkeeper had made a great contribution this time. The innkeeper's eyes lit up with joy as he quickly asked, My lord, then my wife and child. The black-robed man slowly leaped down and told him not to worry. They were both alive and well, and he would send him to reunite with them right now. The innkeeper had just opened his mouth to thank him when a streak of light pierced straight through his chest. The man licked the blood off his fingertip, then revealed a crazed smile. The final sacrifice is finally about to be completed. In the next instant, two figures, number 3 and number 4, appeared behind him. Killing intent flashed in the black-robed man's eyes. Go into the inn and bring those two Qingyun sword sect disciples to me. At the same time, inside the room, Yu Jiangxin slowly opened her eyes. She looked at the man in front of her in a daze. Senior Brother Hua? Then she suddenly sat up and tried to pull Hua Qingyun away to escape. But Hua Qingyun did not move at all. He simply watched this little troublemaker in silence. In the next second, Yu Jiangxin finally realized something was wrong. She asked why Hua Qingyun was fine. Logically speaking, with his cultivation, he should have collapsed even earlier than she did. Hua Qingyun explained, When I sleep, I use fetal breathing. Unlike you, I wasn't circulating spiritual power while meditating, so I didn't inhale the spirit's severing incense. After waiting for a while and seeing that the enemy still hadn't acted, I dispersed the fragrance in the room and helped remove the poison from your body. Looking at the burned-out spirit severing incense on the table, Yu Jiangxin was shocked. It really was spirit severing incense. Cultivators below the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm can barely resist its poison. Hua Qingyun said calmly, Junior sister, you still lack experience in the outside world. You can never be too careful. If you had come out on this mission alone, the consequences would have been unimaginable. After hearing this, Yu Jianxin quickly cupped her fists and bowed to thank him. The fragrance of tea slowly spread through the room. With a gentle expression, Hua Qingyun handed her a cup of hot tea. Junior sister, there's no need to be so polite. Here, drink some tea and warm yourself up. Yu Jiangxin respectfully accepted the tea with both hands. She thought to herself, According to the rumors, Senior Brother Hua is just a lazy core disciple. But not only did he enlighten me about cultivation with just a few words, he also stayed alert the entire time and saved my life. Then she secretly glanced at Hua Qingyun. He's considerate and good-looking too. It's just a shame his cultivation is... Suddenly, a blush appeared on her delicate face. Wait, What am I even thinking? While she was lost in her thoughts, Hua Qingyun turned to her and asked how much she had recovered. Yu Jingxin quickly said, "Thank you for your concern, Senior Brother Hua. Jingxin is already fine." But inwardly, she could not help wondering, could Senior Brother be interested in me? Just as the atmosphere in the room was heating up, a streak of purple light suddenly lit up the entire village. A woman was leading the charge, rushing straight toward the two fellow disciples at terrifying speed. Yu Jiangxin instantly sensed the killing intent. She turned around and shielded Hua Qingyun behind her. Then she warned him nervously, "Senior Brother Hua, be careful." But when she looked back, she found that Hua Qingyun had already tucked himself into bed. "Since you've recovered, I'll leave this to you, junior sister. After all, it's not my working hours right now." In the next second, the window flew open, and Yu Jiangxin shot out. She did not argue with Hua Qingyun, because judging by the enemy's aura, they were Purple Mansion experts. With Hua Qingyun's Spirit Palace cultivation, going out there would be no different from suicide. In midair, the wind howled. A slender figure held a sword in one hand, as if a single strike could pierce through heaven and earth. Yu Jiangxin gripped her sword tightly, feeling a bit annoyed. She had thought Senior Brother Hua was genuinely worried about her, but it turned out trouble had simply come knocking. You really picked the perfect time to show up. In the next second, violent spiritual power poured into her sword and instantly swallowed the two figures. A blue aura and a black aura clashed fiercely in the forest. When the dust on the ground finally cleared, Yu Jinshin recognized their robes. They belonged to the Eastern Wasteland's fourth-ranked sect, the Purple Spirit Sect. Her expression turned cold as she looked at them. "Fellow Taoists of the Purple Spirit Sect, why are you here?" Then she noticed that both of their eyes were dull and lifeless, just like puppets. Yu Jiangxin cried out in shock. "Blood puppets! Their souls have been sealed by evil arts. They've been turned into puppets." And this kind of technique had always been controlled by the demon sect. Yu Jiangxin was now certain that the disappearance case in Yang'an village was the demon sect's doing. In the next second, she pushed her cultivation to full power, and the entire forest instantly became a battlefield. From the exchange, Yu Jiangxin quickly judged that both of them were at least at the third or fourth level of the Purple Mansion realm. Her toes lightly touched a falling leaf as blue spiritual power wrapped around her body. Anger and killing intent appeared on Yu Jiangxin's face. Perfect. She was already in a terrible mood. Qingyun's sword art. Cloud-cutting moon, severing slash. Violent spiritual power roared through the forest. Sensing danger, the two puppets instinctively leaped into the air, trying to avoid the attack. Yu Jiangxin's eyes turned cold as she lightly tapped the air with a slender finger. Scatter. In the next instant, the attack suddenly split apart. It turned into countless sharp beams of light that rushed toward the two figures in midair. When the attack ended, two figures with torn robes smashed heavily into the ground, but Yu Jiangxin had no idea that her dear senior brother was silently watching everything with his divine sense. At this moment, Hua Qingyun had a smile on his face as he mused, "Watching through divine sense is really convenient. I don't even need to open my eyes." In the forest, the female disciple of the Purple Spirit Sect actually regained a trace of clarity because the man had been injured. Purple spiritual power began to swirl around her as she muttered, "How dare you hurt Funger?" Seeing the woman slowly stand up, Yu Jianxin was surprised. She hasn't completely become a blood puppet? She still has a trace of self-awareness? Suddenly, an iron staff appeared in the woman's hand. Her eyes shone with vicious light as she hissed, "I'll kill you!" In the next second, the ground beneath her feet shattered from a single stomp. Using that terrifying force, she instantly appeared above Yue Jianshin. The sound of metal clashing echoed through the forest. Struggling to hold her ground, Yue Jiangxin looked at the woman. She can actually swing such a heavy weapon. Violent collisions kept exploding through the area. The ground cracked everywhere, from the shock waves of blue and purple spiritual power. This high-speed battle happened in only a few breaths. Yet Yue Jiangxin's hand had already gone numb from the impact. But the purple-haired woman seemed completely tireless. Her fierce attacks swept toward Yu Jiangxin once again. Another sonic boom rang out, and Yu Jiangxin quickly dodged the strike. She pressed two fingers together and slid them across her sword as her cold voice echoed through the forest. Enough testing the waters. Inside the inn, Hua Qingyun kept his eyes closed and watched their battle with great interest. He remarked, "As expected of the chief core disciple." In such a short exchange, Yue Jianshin already figured out her opponent's limits. Although both of them are at the fourth level of the Purple Mansion realm, the Purple Spirit Sect disciple has become a blood puppet. Her consciousness is sealed, and she can only fight by instinct. That puts her at a huge disadvantage. At this moment, Yu Jingxin had already sheathed her sword. Violent spiritual power raged wildly around her body. The purple-haired woman sensed danger and immediately tried to rush forward to interrupt Yue Jianshin. Inside the room, Hua Qingyuan slowly opened his eyes and said with a helpless tone, But junior sister Yu still doesn't seem to realize where the real danger is. A breeze drifted past the window, and a few fallen leaves slipped through the crack. Hua Qingyun raised his hand, caught one leaf, and said softly, "This should be enough." At the same time, above the forest, as Yue Jiangxin slowly drew her sword, the ocean of spiritual power around her grew even more violent. Qingyun's sword art, draw sword form. Vast sword energy erupted like a crashing tidal wave. Before the purple-haired woman could react, the attack had already reached her. Her slender figure was instantly swallowed by the raging wave of sword energy. Even the ground beneath her feet shattered along with it. When the smoke cleared, Yu Jingxin slowly walked toward the woman. She had not used lethal force with that strike, because from what she had observed, the two of them had not completely become blood puppets yet. There might still be a chance to awaken their true spirits. But just as she approached the woman, a trembling hand slowly lifted. With a sharp whoosh, a purple beam of light instantly shot toward Yue Jingxin from behind. By the time Yue Jingxin sensed the danger, it was already too late. The purple light instantly shattered the spiritual shield in front of her. At that critical moment, a flash of green suddenly swept past. Affected by the green light, the purple beam was forcibly knocked off course, grazing past Yue Jiangxin's face before exploding violently behind her. Yue Jiangxin turned back in shock. If that attack had hit her, she would have been seriously injured. What was that green light? But she didn't let the shock slow her down. In the next second, she had already appeared behind the purple-haired man. A thought flashed through her mind. Was that a leaf? She twisted her wrist and struck the back of the man's neck with her sword hilt, still wondering who had saved her. A short while later, Yue Jiangxin brought the two of them back to the inn. At this moment, Yu Jiangxin was deep in thought with a serious expression. Hua Qingyun, meanwhile, climbed out of bed. "Looks like you handled it." Yu Jiangxin spoke with difficulty. "Senior brother Hua, earlier, did you..." But before she could finish, Hua Qingyun cut her off. "I was lying down the whole time." He looked at Yu Jiangxin thoughtfully. "What's wrong?" Yu Jiangxin quickly waved her hand and said it was nothing. Inwardly, she thought, "I must be overthinking it. Senior brother Hua is only at the 6th level of the Spirit Palace realm. How could he possibly have that kind of method?" After that, she suggested bringing the two back to the sect and asking the elders to set up a mind-cleansing evil dispelling formation to remove the blood puppet technique, but she still felt unwilling. "If we do that, the demon sect members will escape and continue harming other places." Hua Qingyun put on a solemn expression and said out loud, "For the sake of all living beings." But in his heart, he silently added, "For the sake of my 3 days off." Then he walked up to the two unconscious disciples. "Looks like I have no choice but to act." Yu Jiangxin looked at her senior brother in confusion and asked what he was planning to do. Hua Qingyun calmly explained, "I'm going to use my divine sense to enter their seas of consciousness and pull out the blood puppet seeds." Yu Jiangxin stared at him in disbelief. "Senior brother, are you insane? The sea of consciousness is where a cultivator's true spirit resides. One tiny mistake could destroy their true spirits completely." But before she could finish speaking, Hua Qingyun had already placed his hands on both of their heads. "Relax, junior sister." Seeing this, Yu Jiangxin became even more terrified. "Senior brother, are you trying to remove both blood puppet seeds at the same time?" But Hua Qingyun simply looked back at her with absolute confidence. "Saving lives is urgent. Dual threading is faster." Yu Jiangxin cried out, "The problem isn't whether it's fast. The problem is whether it's safe." But who would have thought that the moment she finished speaking, Hua Qingyun had already completed the entire operation. He brushed off the remaining traces of the blood puppet seeds from his hands and said casually, "Done." Yu Jiangxin cried out in shock again and again. This scene completely overturned her understanding. The blood puppet seeds were buried deep inside the sea of consciousness. Removing them without harming the victims was like finding a needle in a haystack. Even the sect elders might not dare to attempt something like this. Her little face lit up with excitement as she asked when senior brother Hua had mastered such a technique. Surely this was not some new method he had created himself, right? To avoid exposing himself, Hua Qingyun casually made up an excuse. He said he had accidentally found an incomplete technique manual in the scripture pavilion, thought it looked interesting, and learned it for fun. But that only scared Yue Jiangxin even more. She said he actually dared to use an incomplete technique, which was no different from playing with fire. A while later, the two disciples of the Purple Spirit Sect finally woke up. After learning that Hua Qingyun and Yu Jiangxin were disciples of the Qingyun Sword Sect, the woman named Zayun finally remembered what had happened before. They had been captured by a demon sect elder. 1 week ago, just like Hua Qingyun and Yu Jiangxin, the two of them had been ordered to investigate the villager's disappearance case. After following the clues, they discovered a demon sect elder using the villager's blood for a sacrificial refinement, but they accidentally stepped into a trap he had prepared in advance. After that, Both of them were overpowered on the spot. In the end, they were even refined into blood puppets by his evil technique. After explaining everything, Zion cupped her fists solemnly and thanked them. Yu Jingshin quickly waved her hands and said there was no need to thank her. The person who truly saved them was her senior brother. After hearing that, Zion thanked Hua Qingyun separately. Hua Qingyun raised his hand slightly and said there was no need to be so polite. Then his tone suddenly changed. Pretending to look troubled, he told them that saving them had consumed quite a few rare treasures and materials, worth about 30,000 high-grade spirit stones. Little Yu Jiangshin puffed up her cheeks and stared at her senior brother, thinking, "You clearly just waved your hand. What rare treasures and materials did you even use? Besides, they were not stupid. How could they possibly agree to such an outrageous demand?" But Ziyun thanked Hua Qingyun again, and even said that once she returned to her sect, she would definitely send over spirit stones of equal value. Little Yu Jiangshin was instantly dumbfounded, while Hua Qingyun revealed the classic smile of a profiteer. What Yu Jingxin did not know was that the publicly recognized method for removing the blood puppet technique, the mind-cleansing evil dispelling formation, cost at least 50,000 high-grade spirit stones to set up. Hua Qingyun charging only 30,000 was already a friend discount. Easy money was still money. Seeing her senior brother smile, little Yu Jiangshin shot him a resentful look. Since the matter had temporarily settled, Hua Qingyun asked about the demon sect elder. A trace of unwillingness flashed through Zion's eyes. That demon sect elder is named Mo Xuan. His direct combat ability isn't impressive. If it were a fair fight, I could take him down alone. But he is extremely skilled in formations and poison. We were taken down by Mo Xuan's poison. Hua Qingyun snapped his fingers after hearing that. So that's how it is. Then this is simple. I happen to have a pill that can make someone immune to poisonous incense for 6 hours. Do the three of you have the confidence to subdue that demon cloud sect elder? Ziyun was overjoyed. She said that if she could become immune to the poisonous incense, she could beat that sneaky bastard to death in minutes. But then she blinked her big eyes and suddenly felt that something was off. She looked at Hua Qingyun in confusion. Why the three of us? Fellow Taoist Hua, aren't you coming with us? Hua Qingyun instantly dropped his awkward expression and said that when he saved them earlier, he had already consumed a huge amount of spiritual power. After saying that, he held his forehead and claimed he probably needed to sleep before he could recover. Hearing this, little Yu Jiangshin desperately suppressed the urge to punch him. Meanwhile, Ziyun and her companion quickly apologized to Hua Qingyun, saying they were too blind to notice how much effort fellow Taoist Hua had put in. A short while later, 3 streaks of light sped beneath the crescent moon. Moonlight passed through the pills, making them shine like gemstones. Ziyun looked at the pill in her hand with suspicion. Is this pill really as miraculous as fellow Taoist Hua claimed? In comparison, little Yu Jiangshin's gaze was firm. She said she trusted her senior brother. After that, all 3 of them swallowed the pills at the same time. Ziyun rubbed her chin and said it did not feel any different from an ordinary pill. The purple-haired man also agreed. Fellow Taoist Hua doesn't seem to have very profound cultivation. It's not that I don't believe him, but suddenly, a strong gust of wind swept past. Yu Jiangxin's eyes sharpened. She tightened her grip on her sword and turned to look behind them. The purple-haired man also sensed that something was wrong. It seems there hasn't been a single sign of life nearby for about half an incense stick. An iron staff instantly appeared in Zion's hand, and her expression turned ugly. Don't tell me. Before she could finish, a sinister voice rang out around the 3 of them. That means you have already stepped into my formation. In the next second, a cold light flashed through Yu Jingxin's eyes. Sword energy slashed toward the side one after another. The illusion was torn apart on the spot. A foul-smelling swamp appeared beneath the 3 of them. Sensing the thick resentment inside the swamp, Yu Jingxin said in a low voice, "This black mud seems to have been refined from the corpses of slaughtered creatures, then trapped here by the formation." After saying that, she asked Ziyun if she had heard someone else's voice just now. But before Ziyun could answer, that sinister voice came from behind Yu Jingxin. Looking for me? Mo Xuan had actually revealed himself on his own, which completely caught the 3 of them off guard. Ziyun was the most furious, cursing Mo Xuan as an old bastard again and again. Mo Xuan examined the 3 of them in surprise. You actually removed my blood puppet seeds this quickly. It seems this chief disciple of the Qingyun sword sect must be carrying some kind of treasure. Then he laughed loudly. Why is one person missing? Did he hear my name and get scared? At that moment, Ziyun could no longer hold back and charged straight at Mo Xuan. Against trash like you, I'm enough by myself. Terrifying force smashed into the ground, sending shattered stones flying everywhere. Ziyun looked at the black mud on her iron staff in confusion. In the next instant, Mo Xuan's figure appeared on her other side as he chuckled. You already fell for it once, yet you still got fooled again. Seeing this, the purple-haired man also joined the battle. But his attacks could not even break through Mo Xuan's defense. Mo Xuan mocked them. Righteous Sect disciples really are each dumber than the last. Does my bone-corroding incense smell nice? Hearing this, Ziyun and her companion both trembled. But before Mo Xuan could stay smug for long, a sharp sword light slashed toward him. Mo Xuan tried to deal with it as casually as he had blocked the purple-haired man, but in the next second, the smile on his face vanished. The defense he was so proud of was directly shattered by the sword light. Even the ground beneath his feet was crushed into dust. The three of them hovered in the air. Yu Jiangxin looked at the massive hole blasted into the ground. Anger filled her face. TC a mist? Then her expression changed drastically as the surrounding leaves were corroded by a red mist at the same time. It was poison gas. In a corner, Mo Xuan's figure slowly formed again. He wiped the cold sweat from his face and thought that Yu Jingxin really was quite capable. Then he flew into the air and began laughing wildly. Looking at the three who had landed, he said smugly, "It's useless. You have already inhaled my bone-corroding incense. 10 breaths have already passed. Now, drop." A light breeze blew away the dust. Yu Jiangxin looked at Mo Xuan with a mocking smirk. At some point, a purple figure had already appeared behind him. A staff strike as heavy as a mountain smashed solidly into Mo Xuan's back. Blood splattered instantly. The ground shook violently. Along with it, the purple-haired man seized the opportunity and unleashed his strongest attack against Mo Xuan. A faint scent of blood spread through the area. Mo Xuan struggled to climb back up from the ground. He stared at the three people in midair in disbelief and demanded to know why they had not been poisoned. The three of them did not explain. Zion even stuck her tongue out at him. Inwardly, she thought, "Fellow Taoist Hua's pill is way too powerful. As long as we don't have to fear those dirty tricks, dealing with demon sect cultivators is ridiculously easy." Mo Xuan still could not accept that the poisonous incense he had painstakingly developed had actually failed. He was certain that Yu Jiangxin must have some other treasure on her. Looking at Mo Xuan, who now looked like a half-dead dog, killing intent flashed in Yu Jiangxin's eyes. "This ends now." Her cold voice echoed through the area. King Yun's sword art. But at that moment, a smirk crept back onto Mo Xuan's face. His figure shot into the sky as he shouted, "That's right! The game ends here." Heaven congealing blood refinement formation? A half-transparent blood-colored barrier instantly enveloped the three of them. Yu Jiangxin gritted her teeth and looked at Mo Xuan. "What is this?" In midair, Mo Xuan laughed and explained, "I already told you. The three of you have stepped into my formation. Number 1. Finish them." The mass of flesh began to wriggle, making disgusting gurgling sounds. Before long, a humanoid monster gradually formed from it. Terrifying pressure descended on the three of them, and Zion's voice trembled. "A 6th-level purple mansion blood puppet?" Yu Jiangxin said nothing. She simply stared straight at blood puppet number 1. Mo Xuan laughed again from the sky, saying none of them would leave alive today. As for the coward hiding in the inn, he had already sent the 5th-level purple mansion blood puppet number 2 to personally invite him over. Yu Jiangxin's expression changed drastically. For senior brother Hua, who was only at the Spirit Palace realm, this was a guaranteed death sentence. Moonlight fell through the window and landed on Hua Qingyun. Suddenly, a crimson figure burst into the room through the window. Blood puppet number 2 had arrived, but when number 2 reached the bed, it discovered that there was no one there. In the room next door, Hua Qingyun wore a clever smile. Trying to make me work overtime? You're way too green." As soon as he finished speaking, a violent explosion rang out behind him. The smile on Hua Qingyun's face instantly vanished. Number 2, having just crashed into his room, first let out a roar. Then all 6 of its eyes looked to the side in surprise. Hua Qingyun was standing there with one hand on his forehead, saying unhappily, "If you couldn't find me, couldn't you just go back? Did you really have to drag someone else into the grind?" Meanwhile, on the other side, after Yu Jiangxin learned that her senior brother was being hunted by a 5th-level purple mansion blood puppet, she finally stopped holding back. Countless sword lights slashed wildly toward blood puppet number 1. She wanted to kill it instantly, break the formation, and rush back to save Hua Qingyun. But blood puppet number 1 was not some evil creature with an inflated cultivation level. While blocking Yu Jiangxin's attack, it also stopped Ziyun's sneak attack with one hand. In that instant, its 7th-level purple mansion cultivation erupted completely. Ziyun was thrown away together with her artifact. The terrifying force smashed her hard into the ground. Seeing his fellow disciple seriously injured, the purple-haired man exploded with rage. The instant blood puppet number 1 was bound by the purple chains. A brilliant sword slash struck at the same time, cutting the blood puppet cleanly in half. Yu Jiangxin gripped her sword tightly, her eyes locked on blood puppet number 1. Cold sweat drenched her face. Yet blood puppet number 1 acted as though nothing had happened. It grabbed its severed lower body with both hands, pressed it back into place and instantly regenerated. Before Yu Jiangxin could even react, the restored blood puppet threw another punch. The purple-haired man did not even have time to dodge before he was blasted into the ground. He blacked out on the spot. Seeing this, Xion erupted like an enraged lioness. She moved so fast that even the blood puppet failed to react. She flashed behind it and smashed down with a heavy strike. But against the blood puppet's terrifying body, her attack barely did any damage. Yu Jiangxin hurried to Xion's side and said, "Its strength is overwhelming. If this keeps going, its regeneration will wear us down sooner or later." Xion looked at Yu Jiangxin. "I have one move that can turn it to dust." Yu Jiangxin's eyes lit up. "Really?" Xion nodded. "But I need time to charge it. Fellow Taoist Yu, please buy me some time." At that moment, Yu Jiangxin cut a solitary figure, yet there was not the slightest hesitation in her eyes. "All right, leave it to me." Watching the three of them being pushed into a corner by his blood puppet, Mo Xuan burst into laughter and told them to use whatever trump cards they still had. Suddenly, Mo Xuan seemed to sense something. The corners of his mouth curled upward. "Number 2 finished that quickly? Looks like that core disciple really is useless." Meanwhile, on the other side, blood puppet number 2 had already been beaten to a pulp by Hua Qingyun. Of its 6 eyes, only 3 remained. Hua Qingyun muttered coldly, "I almost killed it in one hit. Better hold back a little, or that demon sect elder might notice. All I wanted was a peaceful night's sleep, yet you just had to wake me up." After saying that, he grabbed number 2 by its white hair and slowly dragged it toward the window. "In that case, let me return the favor." Looking at the blood-colored formation outside, Hua Qingyun lifted blood puppet number 2 over his shoulder like a javelin. At that moment, a single tear rolled down number 2's face, making it look pitiful beyond words. In the next instant, Hua Qingyun took aim and hurled it with all his strength. Blood puppet number 2 instantly became a crimson meteor and shot straight toward Mo Xuan's formation. After finishing, Hua Qingyun scratched his head. Still plenty of time before work starts. Sigh, maybe I can find a better room and get a little more sleep. Meanwhile, inside the formation, countless blood-red fist phantoms crashed toward Yu Jiangxin at once. The overwhelming gap in cultivation was immediately laid bare. Just blocking that single attack was enough for the 4th-level Purple Mansion Yu Jiangxin to suffer serious injuries. Meanwhile, under the formation's enhancement, the blood puppet only kept growing stronger. Floating in the sky, Missouri Zhuan praised her. "As expected of the Qingyun Sword Sect's chief disciple, you've lasted this long, but it ends here." Number 1. Finish her. Blood puppet number 1 leaped into the air, wrapped in overwhelming power. Endless blood-red fist phantoms came crashing down toward Yue Jiangxin once again. Looking at the overwhelming storm of attacks descending upon her, a trace of despair finally appeared in Yue Jiangxin's eyes. Deep inside, she silently apologized to Xion. "I'm afraid I can't hold it off any longer." Just then, a crimson meteor suddenly flashed behind Mo Xuan. In the next second, the entire formation was pierced straight through. The crimson meteor smashed violently into the ground in front of Yue Jiangxin. When the smoke cleared, completely different expressions appeared on both sides. On the ground, blood puppet number 1 and blood puppet number 2 were scattered everywhere like shattered porcelain. When Mo Xuan finally reacted, he clutched his head and screamed, "How is this possible?" Looking at the massive hole torn above them, the first thing Yu Jiangxin thought was that her senior brother must be safe. She guessed that a sect elder must have arrived to rescue them. Mo Xuan thought the same thing as Yu Jiangxin. He never even considered Hua Qingyun and assumed an Ascension Realm elder from the Qingyun Sword Sect had arrived. Because of that, he decided to end the battle immediately. Blood Puppet Enhancement Art. The shattered blood puppets instantly fused together and charged toward Yu Jiangxin. Yu Jiangxin was about to dodge, but she realized that her ankle had already been trapped by the mass of flesh. At that critical moment, Xion's voice rang out behind her. "Sorry to keep you waiting, fellow Taoist Yu." At this moment, purple spiritual power wrapped around Xion's entire body, and the spiritual pressure of an 8th-level Purple Mansion cultivator erupted from her. Seeing this, Mo Xuan cried out in disbelief. How could a mere 4th-level Purple Mansion cultivator gather spiritual power at the 8th level? Purple Shadow Sky-Shattering Strike! Purple and crimson spiritual power collided violently in midair. In the end, the crimson light was completely swallowed, and the entire forest was filled with raging purple lightning. Inside the room, Hua Qingyun had just woken up and let out a lazy yawn. He walked to the window, intending to take a breath of fresh air. Instead, he was greeted by the sight of a small mushroom cloud. Hua Qingyun could not help sighing. What a peacefully explosive day. After saying that, he mused that this demon sect elder really was no pushover. He had actually forced junior sister Yu and the others to fight for an entire night. Then Hua Qingyun reached into his robe and snapped open his pocket watch. Meanwhile, in the forest, a crater over 10 meters wide appeared before Yue Jiangxin and the others. while the violent spiritual power around Zayun began to fade rapidly. She looked at the red sludge on the ground. Finally, she could no longer hold on and slumped to the ground. That attack had nearly drained her completely. Looking at the scene before her, Yue Jiangxin couldn't help but marvel at Zayun's terrifying explosive power. The purple-haired man explained, "This is a unique technique of our Purple Spirit Sect. It allows us to store spiritual power in advance and release it all at once. But the weakness is obvious. It takes far too long to charge." After Zayun was helped up, she thanked Yu Jiangxin for holding back the blood puppet. Little Yu Jiangxin quickly waved her hands and said she was just doing her part, so there was no need to thank her. Just then, Mo Xuan's roar suddenly came from above the three of them. Zayun struggled to raise her head and looked at him. There's just a general without an army left to deal with. At this moment, spiritual power surged wildly around Mo Xuan as he muttered, "You actually destroyed number 1. The puppet I spent decades cultivating." Seeing that this sneaky bastard was still putting on airs, Zayun wanted to grab her iron staff and beat him to death. But right now, even standing was difficult for her. Then a calm voice cut through the silence. "Leave this to me." As soon as she finished speaking, Yu Jiangxin drew her sword and slowly rose into the air. At this moment, Mo Xuan's attack was already complete. Several blood-red hands reached toward Yu Jiangxin at the same time. Yu Jiangxin activated the Qingyun sword art, and the sound of her sword rang through heaven and earth. Blue sword light pierced through all the blood, hands like sharp blades. Then it rushed straight toward Mo Xuan. The blood hands had already closed in on Yu Jiangxin, yet she simply stood there calmly. In the next second, she unleashed silence of all things, and the blood hands in the air instantly fell apart. They turned into dust and scattered around Yu Jiangxin. Mo Xuan was not in good shape either, but after the previous battle, he knew Yu Jiangxin was already at her limit, so he tried to make one final struggle. "Let's see how many more sword strikes you can unleash." Just then, Yu Jiangxin shouted softly, "Shatter!" The sound of cracking porcelain suddenly came from beneath Mo Xuan's feet. The formation, which already had a huge hole blasted through it, instantly shattered completely. Only then did Mo Xuan finally realize that Yu Jiangxin's previous sword strike had not truly been aimed at him, but at the damaged part of the formation. Mo Xuan's expression darkened. "I never expected you to push me this far." After saying that, blood-colored spiritual power wrapped around his hand. With a crack, the spiritual power turned into a beam of light and shot straight into his forehead. Immediately after, Mo Xuan's body began aging at a visible speed. Yu Jiangxin stared blankly at the scene. Only when blood-red patterns began forming on Mo Xuan's chest did she realize that he was about to use a forbidden technique with a terrible price. But just as she was about to rush forward and stop him, several blood-red beams exploded behind her. Damn it. The acupoints I used to channel spiritual power have been sealed. Yu Jiangxin turned back in disbelief, only to discover that Zayun and her companions' foreheads were emitting the same aura as the blood puppets. Then Mo Xuan's smug laughter rang out. "My blood puppet technique is not so easily cleansed." Number 3, number 4. Bring her to me. Your talent may be outstanding, but before me, you are still just an inexperienced little brat. I'll use you as the first sacrifice. Offer yourself to my heaven-congealing blood refinement formation. After saying that, the blood-red ghost claw stabbed viciously toward Yu Jiangxin. Regret instantly filled her mind. "I'm sorry, Sect Master. Master. As the chief disciple of the sect, I actually lost to the demon sect." Then she thought of Hua Qingyun, and tears slipped down her cheeks. "And senior brother Hua, I was still too careless." Just as the blood hand was about to pierce through Yu Jiangxin, a cold voice suddenly interrupted Mo Xuan. "Stop. Let go of my junior sister." Mo Xuan was so startled that he quickly turned around. Then he looked around in confusion. Where did this Spirit Palace cultivator come from? And where is the Qingyun Sword Sect elder who killed blood puppet number 2? Hua Qingyun sighed helplessly. "Stop looking. It's just me." Hearing this, little Yu Jiangxin immediately became anxious and told Hua Qingyun to run, because he was no match for Mo Xuan. When Mo Xuan heard that Hua Qingyun was alone, a cruel smile appeared on his face. "Since you're so eager to play the hero, then I'll start the blood sacrifice with you." However, as Mo Xuan charged toward him, Hua Qingyun only snapped his fingers casually. The blood claws gathered around Mo Xuan instantly shattered. Countless fragments scattered through the air. At the same time, the spiritual power in Zayun's palm slowly faded, and the control of the blood puppet seed was completely broken. Mo Xuan trembled as he looked at Zayun in disbelief. That blood puppet seed was reactivated with my own blood essence. Its power is several times stronger than an ordinary one. No matter how powerful a treasure or divine ability is, it shouldn't be instantly broken. But the purple-haired man gave him no chance to keep talking. Several chains flew out and instantly bound Mo Xuan. Zayun followed closely behind, and countless staff shadows danced above Mo Xuan's head. Violent spiritual power erupted, smashing Mo Xuan straight into the ground. Before the dust could even clear, Yu Jiangxin had already arrived beside Hua Qingyun. Her beautiful eyes were filled with confusion. Senior brother Hua, what exactly is going on? Hua Qingyun told his little junior sister that he had merely pulled a little trick. Back when he entered their seas of consciousness to remove the blood puppet seeds, he discovered that the roots of the seeds had already tangled with Ziyun and her companion's true spirits. To avoid harming their true spirits, he only removed the outer parts of the seeds. At the same time, to prevent them from being controlled again, Hua Qingyun left several streaks of sword energy inside each of their seas of consciousness. Once the demon sect elder reactivated the blood puppet seeds, those streaks of sword energy would automatically cut them apart. At a critical moment, it might be enough to turn the battle around. After hearing this, Ziyun and her companion quickly bowed in thanks. Fellow Taoist Hua is truly meticulous. I am deeply impressed. In contrast, little Yu Jiangxin looked downcast. Senior brother Hua, why didn't you tell me beforehand? What if the plan had failed? Looking at her unhappy little face, Hua Qingyun could not understand it at all. It worked, didn't it? Why are you still worried? Then he sighed helplessly. He immediately told Yu Jiangxin with excitement that she was the key to defeating the demon sect elder. Yu Jiangxin's gloomy expression vanished instantly, and she looked at him with wide eyes. Really? Hua Qingyun quickly nodded. Of course. If junior sister had not been kept in the dark, how could your acting have been so realistic? How else could we have fooled that cunning demon sect elder? Hearing this, Ziyun also said excitedly, That's right. If it weren't for fellow Taoist Yu, how could we have gotten close to that old bastard so easily? Under their double brainwashing, the clear light in little Yu Jingxin's eyes gradually lost its spark of intelligence. Then she giggled. That does make sense. After that, she looked at Hua Qingyun with admiration, thinking that although her senior brother's cultivation was low, he was actually a wise man who was skilled at strategy and could see through everything. Suddenly, the corners of Hua Qingyun's mouth curled into a smile. Inwardly, he thought, if I finish the work before my shift even starts, doesn't that mean I can take an early vacation? But just as he was imagining his wonderful holiday, a blood-red light suddenly shot into the sky, and the heaven-congealing blood refinement formation activated once again. Mo Xuan's figure slowly rose out of the ground. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun mentally cursed out Mo Xuan's entire family tree at lightning speed. On the ground, Mo Xuan's wounds were healing at a visible speed. Meanwhile, the corpse blood of Blood Puppet number 1 and Blood Puppet number 2 was rapidly breaking down. Then all of it was absorbed into Mo Xuan's body. Hua Qingyun frowned slightly and wondered, Mo Xuan seems to be refining something. At this moment, a blood-red halberd was slowly forming in Mo Xuan's abdomen. Seeing this, Yu Jiangxin hurriedly slashed out with her sword. Qingyun's sword art, sword-breaking form. A net of sword energy instantly covered the space above Mo Xuan, as if it wanted to tear him completely apart, but a smile appeared on Mo Xuan's blood-stained lips. Too late. The blood-red halberd moved in front of him, blocking all the surging sword energy. He laughed viciously at the 4 people in the air. The heaven-congealing blood refinement formation is finally complete. In mid-air, the sword in Yu Jiangxin's hand trembled slightly. That strike just now had been the last one she could unleash. Then she looked at the others behind her and said in a low voice, Our spiritual power is exhausted. We should retreat first. Just as everyone was about to fly away, Hua Qingyun suddenly told them to leave first, saying he was about to start his shift. The 3 of them were all shocked. Yu Jiangxin asked nervously, Senior brother Hua, what are you waiting for? Hurry! Before she could finish, a huge blood-red figure shot into the sky. Mo Xuan's furious voice rang out with it. Trying to run? The blood-red avatar instantly solidified, and its 4 arms grabbed all 4 of them at once. Looking at the group that could no longer resist, Mo Xuan laughed loudly and called them nothing but ants. Then he said he would show them what real hell looked like. Ziyun and her companion sighed weakly. Is this guy impossible to kill? Looking at the figure wrapped in demonic light, little Yu Jingxin's face filled with despair. He was clearly only at the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm just now. How is he at the 8th level now? Ziyun was confused. We, the sacrifices, are still here. How did Mo Xuan complete the heaven-congealing blood refinement formation? The purple-haired man guessed. Did he absorb those 2 blood puppets? Mo Xuan looked at them smugly. Correct. Number 1 and number 2 were originally part of my collection. I just didn't expect them to be defeated by you brats. Ziyun still felt something was wrong. Even if number 1 was strong enough to count as 2 sacrifices, number 2 was only about as strong as us. At most, that still only makes 3. Then her pupils suddenly shrank. Don't tell me. Mo Xuan raised the halberd high and sneered at Ziyun. Correct. I can also serve as a sacrifice. This is the Demon Lord's first step toward ruling the world, the demon embryo of the Crimson Refining Demon Weapon. Hearing the name Crimson Refining Demon Weapon, Ziyun and her companion were completely petrified. Hua Qingyun, meanwhile, was only staring at his pocket watch and counting down. Yue Jiangshin looked at her senior brother in confusion and asked what he was watching. At this moment, the purple-haired man's face was full of fear, because he had once read detailed records about the Crimson Refining Demon Weapon. Back then, the Demon Sect used that weapon to conquer more than half of the Kengyuan realm. In the end, it took Ascension Realm experts from all 5 domains of Central Continent joining forces to shatter the weapon and end the catastrophe. Mo Xuan praised the purple-haired man. You know quite a lot. Once this sacrifice is complete, the demon weapon will become whole again. After saying that, he raised the demon embryo high, preparing to sacrifice all 4 of them on the spot. But at that moment, the clock-in bell suddenly rang, and Mo Xuan froze. What is that sound? Hua Qingyun closed his pocket watch and sighed helplessly. It's 9 o'clock. Time to clock in. Mo Xuan looked at Hua Qingyun in confusion. Clock in? What does that mean? As soon as he finished speaking, a blue sword light stretched across heaven and earth. The blood-red avatar was split in half on the spot. Hua Qingyun looked at Mo Xuan with a trace of anger. It means you're officially dead. Yu Jiangxin, standing nearby, was completely stunned. She asked in disbelief, Senior brother Hua, was that sword energy yours? Hua Qingyun did not answer her and simply told them to leave quickly. He would handle things here. Little Yue Jiangxin still wanted to say something, but Hua Qingyun interrupted her. Junior sister, leave as soon as possible and set up the spirit-locking heaven-binding formation to protect the village. Hearing this, Yu Jinshin became even more anxious and told him to quickly call out the elder who had killed Blood Puppet No 2. With just the few of them, there was no way they could handle Mo Xuan. Ziyun also tried to persuade him. Mo Xuan now has the strength of an 8th-level Purple Mansion cultivator. Even if all of us were at full strength, we still wouldn't be able to win. Looking at the anxious little face in front of him, Hua Qingyun comforted her softly. Don't worry, I'll end this very quickly. On the ground, Mo Xuan stared at Hua Qingyun in disbelief. What the hell was that sword energy just now? He's clearly only at the Spirit Palace realm. At this moment, Yue Jiangxin and the others had already left, leaving only Hua Qingyun floating in the air. Mo Xuan stared at him and asked what treasure he had used earlier. Hua Qingyun looked at Mo Xuan with disdain. Against trash like you, why would I need a treasure? Meanwhile, Yu Jiangxin's group was rushing toward the village at full speed. Ziyun asked anxiously, Are we really just leaving him behind? Can your senior brother Hua really deal with Mo Xuan? With his 6th-level Spirit Palace cultivation, wouldn't he get slapped to death in one hit? Yu Jiangxin bit her lip and said in a low voice, I don't know, but I trust senior brother Hua. Ever since we came down the mountain, every decision senior brother Hua made has been right. Above the forest, Hua Qingyun, who had blocked the attack, revealed a smile that looked even more villainous than Mo Xuan's. In contrast, Mo Xuan's face was already filled with fear. 3 streaks of light rushed into the village. Yu Jiangxin immediately began setting up the spirit-locking heaven-binding formation. In the next second, the entire village was enveloped by the formation. Hua Qingyun glanced at the village in surprise. Then he turned back to Mo Xuan and said, Now I can fight without holding back. Mo Xuan was clearly furious after hearing that. Don't tell me you thought that was my full strength. Hua Qingyun looked speechless. Listen, use whatever moves you still have. Otherwise, you won't get another chance. Mo Xuan was a prideful man. How could he swallow such an insult? He raised the demon embryo high as blood-red demonic energy began gathering wildly at the tip. His furious voice rang through the air. Blood halberd slash. Violent demonic energy erupted and directly sliced a distant mountain flat. A smug smile appeared on Mo Xuan's face, but in the next second, a figure reflected in his blood-red eyes, and Mo Xuan's smile vanished instantly. Hua Qingyun was floating above the demon embryo, quietly looking down at him. Seriously? That's it? Mo Xuan roared. You're courting death! Then the demon embryo swept upward. Blood-red demonic energy gathered wildly once again. Full power. Heaven-destroying demonic light. At the same time, Mo Xuan's crazed laughter echoed across the sky. Above the village, Ziyun and the others looked at the blood-red pillar of light connecting heaven and earth in the distance. Cold sweat had already soaked their backs. So this is the power of the demon weapon? Tears slipped down little Yu Jiangxin's cheeks. She clasped her hands tightly in front of her chest and could only silently pray that Hua Qingyun would be safe. On the battlefield, Missouri Xuan stared forward in terror as Hua Qingyun's teasing voice rang out behind him. You know, it's not enough for a skill to look flashy. What's the point if it can't hit anyone? As soon as he finished speaking, several sword lights slashed down from above. They slammed into the blood-red pillar of light, producing sharp cracking sounds. Watching the pillar behind him gradually fade into nothingness, Mo Xuan felt like he had to be dreaming. Suddenly, Hua Qingyun's figure appeared again. He asked calmly, "Are you wondering why a mere spirit palace cultivator like me can toy with you so easily? It's simple. I sealed my own cultivation realm." Then, while blocking Mo Xuan's attacks, Hua Qingyun complained, "All this time, I never dared to cultivate in public. I was afraid I might accidentally gain enlightenment and attract a heavenly tribulation. Besides, as a sect disciple, standing out too much is never a good thing. The more capable you are, the more trouble people dump on you. So if I want an easy life, of course I have to hide my strength." After hearing this, Mo Xuan completely lost it. He pushed his cultivation to the limit and started running, cursing Hua Qingyun as a lunatic the entire time. But before he could get far, Hua Qingyun suddenly appeared behind him, and his cold voice rang out, "Stop. Did I say you could leave? You interrupted my rest again and again. You hurt my companions, and even dragged me out here early." Sensing the killing intent behind him, Mo Xuan desperately tried to escape. Hua Qingyun's gaze turned cold as he shouted, "Unforgivable." Then he unleashed the Qingyun mystic sword, instantly locking onto Mo Xuan in the distance. A vast wave of sword energy surged toward Mo Xuan like a tsunami, swallowing both him and the earth beneath him. Leaves were swept into the air by the wind, drifting across the sky. A lone figure stood in midair. Beneath his feet was a massive water-filled crater, a miles-long strait carved entirely by Hua Qingyun's sword intent. Looking at the terrifying crater in the distance, Yu Jianxin and the others were speechless for a moment. Ziyun could not help asking, "Fellow Taoist Yu, is Hua Qingyun really not an elder of your Qingyun sword sect? That sword strike just now was already comparable to an Ascension Realm cultivator." Little Yu Jianxin was still frozen in shock. So Senior Brother Hua's realm has already surpassed every disciple in the Qingyun sword sect. Thinking of this, her face turned slightly red. Compared to him, what does my title as the #1 core disciple even mean? Suddenly, the sound of cracking porcelain came from beneath their feet. Yu Jianxin's expression changed drastically. Not good. The spiritual shockwave from the battle was too strong. The spirit-locking heaven-binding formation can't hold much longer. She immediately turned to Ziyun and her companion, telling them to evacuate the villagers while she stayed behind to maintain the formation. With her current spiritual power, she could not hold it for long. She could only hope they moved fast enough to save as many mortals as possible. But at that moment, a hand suddenly appeared and stabilized the formation for her. Little Yue Jiangxin looked beside her in surprise, only to find that Hua Qingyun had somehow returned to the village. The formation that had been on the verge of shattering gradually recovered under his power. Hua Qingyun smiled and told his little junior sister that she could put away the formation now. Only then did Yu Jingxin finally react, calling out her senior brother's name in delight. A short while later, the four of them accepted the villagers' grateful thanks. But little Yu Jiangxin kept lowering her head, thinking about something. In the end, she looked at Hua Qingyun with an aggrieved expression and asked why he had never told her he was this strong. Hua Qingyun immediately changed the subject and asked with an innocent face what she was talking about. Then he explained that the reason he could unleash such power was because his master had given him a sword talisman. After hearing this, all three of them revealed surprised expressions. Yu Jinsin still did not quite believe him and asked again, "Senior brother, that sword strike just now really wasn't released by you?" Hua Qingyun immediately put on a heartbroken expression. "Of course not. I'm just a little 6th level Spirit Palace weakling. How could I possibly have that kind of strength? If you hadn't fought so desperately, how would I have had the time to activate the sword talisman my master gave me? On top of that, Mo Xuan had already been worn down by all of you until he was on his last breath. That was why the sword talisman killed him directly. I was just lucky enough to steal the last hit." Ye Jiangxin clearly still did not believe him, because she had personally seen Hua Qingyun dodging Mo Xuan's attacks. As she said this, little Yu Jiangxin seemed to have caught an important clue, and her big eyes sparkled with realization. Even with Hua Qingyun's thick skin, he felt a little guilty and could only explain awkwardly, "Actually, I mainly cultivate escape techniques and movement arts, so I'm just pretty good at dodging." Then he brought up his master again. "Junior sister, you know this too. My master, Hall Master Gu Yu, is the #1 expert in escape techniques in our sect." As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Jinshin threw out another question. "Then what about stabilizing the entire spirit-locking heaven-binding formation? That's not something a Spirit Palace cultivator can do either, right?" Hua Qingyun reached into his robe. Then he took out a piece of green jade and told everyone, "Of course I use this spirit-storing jade." The three of them spoke at the same time. Spirit-storing jade? It was a special spirit stone that could store spiritual power and release it at any time. But because it was expensive to make and could only be used once, it was not popular. Seeing that Hua Qingyun had explained away every question, little Ye Jianxin still felt that something was off because of her girl's 6th sense. Seeing that she was still hesitating, a warm hand suddenly landed on her head and gently rubbed it. "Stop overthinking, junior sister. If I were really that powerful, How could the sect master and my master not know? You are the unquestioned #1 core disciple of our Qingyun sword sect. Yu Jiangxin's delicate cheeks instantly turned burning hot. She quickly turned away and scolded Hua Qingyun for ambushing her again. To avoid being forced to watch more of this romantic tension, Ziyun quickly asked where the crimson refining demon weapon had gone. Thinking of this, Hua Qingyun sighed and told them, "That demon weapon is filled with chaotic, demonic energy. It can't be touched for now, but I've already set up a formation to suppress it." A short while later, 4 figures appeared above the ruined forest. A blood-red halberd stood upright on the ground. Yue Jianxin suggested, "We need to inform the sect about the demon sect's plan as soon as possible, so the major sect can prepare." As soon as she finished speaking, Hua Qingyun wanted to bring the demon embryo back to the sect first. But suddenly, a blood-red barrier repelled his pull. Demonic light wrapped around the halberd, making strange gurgling sounds. Yu Jiangxin urgently warned everyone, "Someone is trying to pull the demon embryo away." At the same time, a blood-red portal appeared above the halberd and slowly began swallowing it. The sound of a sword rang through the area. A streak of sword light pierced through the barrier and shot directly into the blood-red portal. Ziyun said in panic, "A demon sect expert must be trying to retrieve the demon embryo." Yu Jiangxin's voice carried frustration. "Unfortunately, the 3 of us have exhausted our spiritual power. We can't stop it." A trace of anger flashed in Hua Qingyun's eyes. "Just now, to avoid being exposed to junior sister, I forcibly suppressed my strength, so I failed to stop the demon embryo from escaping. But that sword strike, together with the sealing formation I placed on it, should be enough to stop whoever is pulling it from taking it away." Inside a cave, dim candle flames flickered. Dark red demonic energy was being absorbed into an aged figure. It was none other than Ancestor Xie, who had previously been reduced to a remnant soul by Hua Qingyun. After rebuilding his physical body, he was now shouting that he would tear Hua Qingyun into pieces. But suddenly, the smile on his face vanished completely. His voice became extremely respectful. "Greetings, my lord," an indifferent voice echoed through the space. "It seems you have finished condensing your new body." Xie put on a flattering expression and said that without his lord's help, he never could have reformed his physical body. The voice said calmly, "Mo Xuan is dead." Before his death, he successfully completed the heaven-congealing blood refinement formation and created the demon embryo. However, when I tried to summon the demon embryo back, an outside force interfered, causing it to fall. Xie was clearly shocked by this news. The person before him was a peak existence in this world, so who could possibly knock the demon embryo out of his grasp? The blood-red figure told him, "The demon embryo has fallen in Qingyun province within the Yongshan Mountains. Go there immediately and retrieve it." After saying that, he granted Xie 3 magical treasures. Then he warned coldly, "Last time, you lost the Blood Soul Pearl. If you fail again this time, you should know the consequences." In the village, Ziyun and Xiaofeng waved goodbye to Hua Qingyun and Yue Jiangxin. Yu Jiangxin also said farewell to them and reminded them to be careful on the road. 2 streaks of purple light cut across the sky above the forest. None of them expected the Demon Cloud sect to be plotting the reforging of the demon weapon. Xiaofeng looked at Ziyun and said, "Compared to something so far beyond our level, I'm actually more interested in fellow Taoist Hua." Ziyun looked confused. "What about Hua Qingyun?" Xiaofeng analyzed. "Didn't you notice? This entire incident was almost completely under Hua Qingyun's control. From the instructions he gave us when we left the inn, to the poison avoidance pills we took before entering the forest, then to the blood-red head that suddenly crashed into the battle. And finally, when we were on the verge of despair and the demon embryo was complete, fellow Taoist Hua stepped in at the perfect moment. If even one part had been missing, we probably would have been refined by the heaven-congealing blood refinement formation." After thinking about it carefully, Ziyun realized he was right. Then Xiaofeng continued, "And that's not all. Do you still remember the poison avoidance pill we took back then? After taking it, I used inner vision to examine my body and discovered an invisible layer of sword energy wrapped around me. I'm afraid what we swallowed wasn't an ordinary pill at all, but a sword pill infused with sword energy. The only reason we weren't poisoned was because the sword energy inside that pill cut apart every toxin that entered our bodies." Ziyun instinctively denied it. "How is that even possible?" Xiaofeng said with deep admiration, "As long as someone's mastery of the sword is high enough, it is theoretically possible." Ziyun scratched her head. "But if fellow Taoist Hua is really that powerful, why is he trying so hard to hide it?" Xiaofeng also scratched the back of his head. "Probably because standing out brings trouble. I think Hua Qingyun might be a secret weapon raised by the Qingyun sword sect." Ziyun asked in confusion, "Then should we tell our sect?" After saying that, the two looked at each other. Then Xiaofeng chuckled. "Since fellow Taoist Hua doesn't want to expose his strength, we shouldn't spread it around. After all, Hua Qingyun is our lifesaver. We should respect his choice. Still, with such a peerless genius in the King Yuan Sword Sect, next month's Prodigy Gathering is going to be very interesting. Meanwhile, above another stretch of forest, Yue Jiangxin's excited voice was being transmitted to Wen Jin through a sound transmission stone. Then she turned to Hua Qingyun and said, "The sect master told us to return to the sect immediately." Hua Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "Those siblings are both pretty smart." Little Yu Jiangxin looked at her senior brother blankly. "What do you mean, smart people?" Hua Qingyun only smiled. "Nothing. Let's go." After saying that, he quietly placed his hand behind his back and dispersed the remaining sword energy inside Zayun and Xiao Feng's bodies. Inwardly, he thought, if their sect master notices it, that would be troublesome. Suddenly, Yue Jiangxin called his name. With a serious expression, she asked, "Senior brother Hua, tell me honestly, are you really not hiding your cultivation?" Hua Qingyun said helplessly, "Junior sister, why would I lie to you? I'm just a 6th level Spirit Palace rookie. I can't compare to a genius like you at all." Yu Jiangxin lowered her head slightly. In the next second, a sharp sword light instantly appeared in front of Hua Qingyun. Hua Qingyun called out to her in disbelief, his voice full of confusion. Yu Jiangxin did not answer. Her pupils only narrowed slightly. The sword light instantly stabbed toward Hua Qingyun's chest. With a rustle, a pink book fell out from inside his robe. Before Hua Qingyun could react, Yu Jiangxin snatched it away. Looking at the book in her hand, she let out a little hee-hee laugh. Then an illustration caught her eye, with the title written clearly on it. "The cultivation journey my junior sister and I cannot talk about." Little Yu Jiangxin's small brain instantly short-circuited. Seeing a chance, Hua Qingyun quickly grabbed the book back and explained, "This is a very popular kind of book in the mortal world. It's called a novel." But in Yu Jiangxin's mind, the image of her outstanding senior brother Hua had already shattered into pieces. She hesitated and said, "Senior brother, I never thought you would." Hua Qingyun frantically flipped through the book and explained, "The cover is just there to attract readers. In reality, this is a perfectly proper adventure story. It's definitely not what you're thinking." But as soon as he said that, another illustration appeared. Little Yu Jiangxin was so frightened that she quickly turned her head away. Hua Qingyun explained again, "Don't misunderstand, junior sister. This is called an illustration. It's placed in the middle of the book to keep readers interested. This book is about a protagonist inside a sect and the various things that happen between him and several junior sisters. It's a very proper adventure novel, popular among both mortals and cultivators. It only updates once every 3 months." Then he looked at the illustration with an extremely serious expression. "Especially limited editions with artwork like this, you have to line up overnight to buy them. They're very rare." Only after he finished explaining did little Yu Jiangxin's expression soften slightly. She apologized for what she had just done and said she would compensate him with spirit stones. But inwardly she thought, that sword strike just now. Senior brother Hua didn't dodge at all. Even his robe was cut. Could he really not be hiding his strength? Still, she did not forget to lecture him. "Senior brother Hua, I still think you should read fewer books like this. This thing called a novel is banned in our King Yuan Sword Sect. According to the sect master, this is called being distracted by useless hobbies. Your talent isn't bad, so you should work harder at cultivation." Hua Qingyun forced out a smile. "I will definitely remember junior sister's teachings." After that, Yu Jiangxin turned around and told him to continue on their way. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun finally sighed in relief. "After that test just now, junior sister should have completely given up suspecting me, right?" Suddenly, the sound of a sword rang out again. A sharp sword light shot straight toward the book in his hand. Out of instinct, Hua Qingyun slapped the sword energy away with one palm. A violent explosion instantly rang out. An innocent mountain peak was blasted flat on the spot. Hua Qingyun stiffly asked, "Can we pretend we didn't see that?" Yu Jiangxin's calm voice drifted over from beside him. "Senior brother, even a 7th level purple mansion cultivator wouldn't dare catch that strike with their bare hand, let alone slap it away." After hearing this, Hua Qingyun simply stopped pretending and awkwardly admitted that he had hidden a little bit of his cultivation. Little Yu Jiangxin instantly rushed to his side and asked if his sword mastery was stronger than hers. Hua Qingyun replied, "Probably stronger by just a tiny bit, like 1,000,000,000 times." After hearing this, a sly smile appeared on Yu Jiangxin's little face. "Great. If I keep senior brother's secret, can you promise me one thing?" Hua Qingyun nervously shrank back a little. "What thing?" He looked down to see a little face full of expectation. "Senior brother, can you guide me in swordsmanship?" Hua Qingyun began recalling everything that had happened during this mission. Originally, he only wanted to ride his junior sister's coattails and get 3 free days off. Now, why did it feel like he was the one taking a huge loss? But looking at the cute and lively girl in front of him, he still agreed in the end. Hearing this, little Yu Jiangxin excitedly told Hua Qingyun not to worry. she would absolutely keep a secret. Then she urged him with a bright smile to hurry back to the sect. A breeze carried fallen leaves into the main hall. Little Yu Jiangxin cheerfully greeted the elders and hallmasters inside. The moment the elders saw their precious favorite disciple, they immediately praised her for making another great contribution. Then they stepped forward one after another, asking with concern whether she had been injured. At that moment, Hua Qingyun's lazy voice rang out. "Greetings, sect master, elders, and hallmasters." The moment they heard that voice, the smiles on the elders' faces instantly disappeared. Their expressions darkened as they asked whether he had caused Yue Jiangxin trouble during the mission. If Jiangxin had been injured while protecting him, they would definitely make him pay for it. Hua Qingyun cursed inwardly. Talk about double standards. If it weren't for me, your precious chief disciple would have been refined into sacrifice by now. At this moment, Wen Jin finally spoke. He angrily scolded the elders. If Qingyun had not activated the sword talisman in time during this mission, we might not have been able to kill that demon sect elder. Hearing Wen Jin speak up for him, Hua Qingyun was overjoyed. All those tea leaves really weren't given away for nothing, one elder snorted coldly. That sword talisman was given by Hallmaster Gu Yu. He merely activated it. Then someone immediately agreed. Hallmaster Gu Yu is the biggest contributor this time. After hearing this, Gu Yu looked at them expressionlessly. Since Qingyun is my disciple, giving him a sword talisman for protection is only natural. Once Gu Yu accepted the credit, the elders quickly praised him. We never expected Hallmaster Gu Yu's swordsmanship to have advanced so much. Just one sword talisman was enough to destroy a demon sect elder holding the demon embryo. But in Gu Yu's memory, the sword talisman he gave Hua Qingyun should only have had power around the first level of the Purple Mansion realm. Thinking of this, he looked suspiciously at his disciple. Did I give him the wrong sword talisman back then? Hua Qingyun also noticed Gu Yu's gaze, felt guilty, and silently took 2 steps back. Seeing that everyone in the hall had quieted down, Wen Jin began discussing the main topic of this meeting. To better deal with the demon sect's next move, he asked Yue Jiangxin to explain the full details of the mission. Cold moonlight fell on Hua Qingyun. At this moment, he felt more relaxed than ever. Starting tomorrow, he would be free. He had to plan those 3 days off properly. But suddenly, a lively voice interrupted his thoughts. Little Yu Jiangxin appeared out of nowhere and excitedly told Hua Qingyun that, according to their agreement, it was time for him to teach her swordsmanship. Hua Qingyun quickly waved his hands and said he had something to do these next 2 days, so they could do it another time. But Yu Jiangxin said that once she thought about being guided by someone as powerful as senior brother, she could not wait even a moment longer. Hearing this, Hua Qingyun still wanted to coax his little junior sister, saying that they were all exhausted from this mission, and he needed to rest first before he had the strength to teach her. In the next second, huge tears rolled from little Yu Jiangxin's eyes as her acting skills instantly maxed out. She said pitifully, "Senior brother, you were lying around in the inn the whole time. I was the one fighting all night, and even I didn't complain about being tired. How are you the one complaining first?" Hua Qingyun could not help retorting, "Are you kidding me? I was clearly the one doing all the heavy lifting." The pitiful expression on Yue Jiangxin's face instantly disappeared. She grabbed Hua Qingyun's robe tightly and said anxiously, "If you don't teach me swordsmanship tonight, I'll tell everyone about our little secret." Hua Qingyun was nearly scared out of his soul and quickly told her not to talk nonsense. But little Yu Jiangxin still refused to let go, gripping his collar tightly and calling him a liar who went back on his word. In the end, Hua Qingyun finally agreed. He told Yu Jiangxin to come to his residence tonight, and he would guide her in swordsmanship once. But before she gained any understanding from it, she was not allowed to bother him again. Little Yu Jiangxin immediately agreed. Then Hua Qingyun continued warning her, "Remember to avoid being seen. If anyone finds out you came to my place, tomorrow those crazy senior brothers, junior brothers, and elders will chop me into pieces and hang me from the roof." Yu Jiangxin's voice was full of anticipation. "No problem, senior brother. It's a date then." Cold moonlight completely replaced the warm sunlight, and a slender figure appeared before Hua Qingyun. At this moment, Hua Qingyun's expression was extremely serious. "Junior sister, you're here." His words made little Yue Jiangxin pause slightly. She thought, could senior brother actually be taking the matter of teaching me swordsmanship this seriously? While she was lost in her thoughts, Hua Qingyun's serious voice sounded again. "Just now, I learned something very important." Little Yu Jiangxin looked at him in surprise. "What is it?" "The new volume of Junior Sister Cultivation releases the day after tomorrow." After saying that, Hua Qingyun anxiously paced in circles and started cursing the demon sect's entire family tree. "It's all because those demon sect bastards destroyed Qingshu City. The original release event had to be moved all the way to Yongshin City, thousands of miles away." Only after saying this did he realize he had lost his composure. He coughed twice and said he had to leave for Yongshin City tomorrow. so tonight would be the only swordsmanship lesson. Then Hua Qingyun told little Yu Jianxin to attack him with all her strength. Yu Jianxin became a little nervous. But if I attack with full power, senior brother, your house might... Hua Qingyun simply beckoned to her and said that if she wanted to destroy his house, she still did not have that ability. The nervousness on Yu Jianxin's face instantly disappeared, replaced by a battle-hungry expression. Alright, then be careful, senior brother. As soon as she finished speaking, she raised the sword in her hand above her head, and sharp sword energy intertwined along the blade. Qingyun 9 heavens! A blue wave of sword energy instantly lit up the entire mountain range. Hua Qingyun looked forward with a serious expression. Good strike. He said that, but he only casually raised one hand. The moment the sword energy touched his palm, Yu Jianxin's full power strike directly collapsed from the center. It turned into several streaks of light and shot straight into the sky. At that moment, Yu Jianxin's beautiful face was filled with shock, and her pride shattered along with that sword strike. She fell to her knees in front of Hua Qingyun and struggled to speak. I lost. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun said calmly, Junior sister, nothing in this world is perfect. Swordsmanship is no exception. I merely found the flaw in your sword technique and destroyed it with spiritual power. As long as you continue to make up for the flaws in your swordsmanship and cultivate the way of the sword to its peak, then one day, even with a blade of grass in hand, you could cut down the sun, moon, and stars. Those words echoed again and again in little Yu Jianxin's mind. She had joined the Qingyuan sword sect over 20 years ago and trained in swordsmanship every day, comprehending the Tao of the sword until she became the chief disciple. But a realm where one could cut down the sun, moon, and stars with a single blade of grass was something she had never even dared to imagine. Suddenly, Hua Qingyun's voice pulled her back to reality. Watch closely, junior sister. As soon as he finished speaking, a floor tile flew high into the air. The moment it was about to fall, Hua Qingyun held 2 fingers together like a sword and danced them wildly through the air. Then he pointed at the sword marks on the stone slab and said, Study the sword marks on this slab carefully. They should be enough to raise your sword mastery to the next level. After saying that, the stone slab slowly flew toward Yu Jianxin. Her 2 small hands trembled slightly as she solemnly held both sides of the slab. Engraved on it was a bold, sweeping character for sword. Hua Qingyun placed a finger in front of his lips and reminded little Yu Jianxin, You must never let anyone else see this. Yu Jianxin answered sweetly, Yes. In the next second, her slender figure had already risen into the air. Thank you for your guidance, senior brother. I'll go back and comprehend it right now. Watching her gradually fly away, Hua Qingyun scratched his head. Is she planning to train all night? Junior sister, if you grind this hard, you need to watch your health. The night passed without incident. In the morning, warm sunlight spilled into the room through the window. Pink books were neatly arranged together, and Hua Qingyun nodded in satisfaction. Good. Time to head to Yongxin City. Suddenly, Hua Qingyun looked out the window in surprise. A blue streak of light was flying past above his residence. Master, are you going out today too? Gu Yu's expression instantly darkened as he flew rapidly through the air. His indifferent voice echoed through the area. Fellow Taoist, you've been following me for quite a while. Aren't you tired? Arrogant laughter rang out from ahead. A blood-red figure appeared out of thin air. I was simply curious whether Hallmaster Gu's speed was truly as fast as the rumors claimed. But now, it seems you're nothing special. Seeing this person, Gu Yu's face filled with shock. Sect Master of the Demon Cloud Sect? Xiangba? Then he questioned Xiangba. How did you know I would appear here? Xiangba replied with a mocking tone. Who knows? Maybe someone told me. Hearing this, Gu Yu's expression did not change. He continued probing. So you've planted spies inside the Qingyun sword sect as well. What exactly are you demon cultivators planning? Xiangba sneered. Our goal has never changed. Hallmaster Gu, why bother stalling for time? Ever since you discovered me, you've been secretly gathering power for a sword formation. By now, that formation should be almost ready, right? Gu Yu said calmly. It seems Sect Master Xiang is very confident. As soon as he finished speaking, his Ascension Realm cultivation erupted completely, and the space around him began cracking inch by inch. In the next second, countless sword lights shot toward Xiangba at once. Seeing this, Xiangba laughed arrogantly. Dark red demonic energy compressed around his fist. Let me see whether the sword formation you spent so long preparing can block one punch from me. Meanwhile, in Yongxin City, Hua Qingyun had just arrived and was about to look for the location of the novel release event. But suddenly, his heart jolted. He sensed that the protective sword energy he had given his master had been triggered. Hua Qingyun's expression became anxious. Master is at the first level of the Ascension Realm, and he specializes in escape techniques. If someone can put his life in danger, the opponent must be at least a 4th level Ascension expert. At this moment, The dense forest had already become a field of ruins. Gu Yu was covered in blood and blasted backward through the air. Xiangba looked curiously at the jade pendant in his hand. "Is this your life-saving treasure? The protective sword energy inside actually blocked one of my punches for you. Not bad." Gu Yu looked miserably at the jade pendant. Only then did he remember that this was something Qingyun had given him back then, as a small token of thanks for taking care of him. As the memory ended, dark red demonic energy once again compressed in Xiangba's hand. He told Gu Yu that this time, he would not miss again. At the same time, a mysterious character appeared on Hua Qingyun's chest. Releasing this much power should be enough. After saying that, he placed 2 fingers together in front of his chest, and invisible ripples spread outward from them. Hua Qingyun silently thought, the jade pendant's location is... In the next moment, an image of Xiangba flashed in his mind. He had found the jade pendant, Qingyun's sword technique. Dawn. A terrifying pillar of spiritual light tore through space and instantly appeared above Xiangba's head. When the dust cleared, Xiangba looked utterly battered. His right fist had completely vanished, and he was pressing down hard on the wound with his left hand. He picked up the fragments from the ground. Veins bulged on his forehead. "Gu Yu, the next time we meet, I will kill you." Meanwhile, on the other side, Hua Qingyun looked at the huge crater in the ground and seemed rather surprised. It hit, but it didn't finish him off? That strike should have been enough to erase a 4th-level Ascension expert. From the looks of it, the enemy's cultivation was even higher than he had imagined. But why would a top demon sect expert come to assassinate his master, who was only at the 1st level of the Ascension realm? Fortunately, his master had successfully escaped. After buying the novel, he would return to the sect and check on his master. The only problem was that the number of people lining up to buy the novel far exceeded Hua Qingyun's expectations. Still, for the sake of getting that novel, he lined up from noon all the way until evening. Finally, when only the last copy remained, it was his turn. Behind him, everyone looked at Hua Qingyun with envy. He slowly reached toward the book, but suddenly, a delicate hand reached out in front of him and grabbed for the same book. The girl had a charming face, and her bright red lips gave her a mature, alluring air. At this moment, both hands were tightly gripping the book, and neither side was willing to let go. "Handsome fellow Taoist, could you let me have the last copy?" the girl asked in a soft and seductive voice. Unfortunately for her, she had chosen the wrong person today. Hua Qingyun refused without even thinking. He even said he was willing to pay double the price and asked what she thought. Hearing this, the girl immediately felt insulted. She looked at Hua Qingyun with disdain and told him to dream on, because she was not short on money. Then both of them looked at the shopkeeper and said at the same time that they wanted the book. Seeing that the two were about to start fighting on the spot, the shopkeeper quickly told them to discuss things calmly and not attack each other. Those words seemed to give the girl an idea. She looked at Hua Qingyun provocatively. "Since neither of us is willing to give up, why don't we settle this fairly?" In the next moment, jade tablets appeared in her palm. She told Hua Qingyun they would play rock, paper, scissors. These were special, spiritual artifacts she had asked the Divine Mechanism Sect to refine, capable of blocking divine sense detection. If they used these artifacts to play, the result would be absolutely fair. After hearing this, Hua Qingyun tested them with his divine sense and found that they were indeed as she said. After he accepted the artifact, the girl suggested best 2 out of 3, and Hua Qingyun agreed. When the countdown ended, the jade tablets were slammed onto the table. To make sure Hua Qingyun trusted her completely, the girl even asked the shopkeeper to reveal the tablets for them. As the jade tablets were flipped over, the girl's expression filled with joy. She jumped up and down excitedly in front of Hua Qingyun and declared her victory. Hua Qingyun, however, found nothing wrong with the game and could only blame his bad luck. Soon, the second round began. Hua Qingyun spoke first and said that he would reveal the tablets this time, and then he lost again. A complete and crushing loss. But who would have thought that the moment the girl obtained the book, a sly smile appeared on her face as she giggled and said her luck was really good. As for Hua Qingyun, he was still lost in the shock of losing twice in a row and did not notice anything strange about her. The dim evening sunlight shone on his lonely figure. He thought, since I'm already here, I might as well look around. And just like that, he wandered around until night. Hua Qingyun bought some new tea seeds to bring home and cultivate. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. The girl was currently being cornered in an alley by 2 men who accused her of cheating. After all, who could win over 20 rounds of rock, paper, scissors in a row? Just a moment ago, the girl had told them that heaven simply favored the lucky. But her very next line was, "The mountains won't move, and the rivers will keep flowing. Catch you later." Seeing that she was trying to run, the man stopped holding back. His 3rd-level purple mansion cultivation erupted, turning into a giant golden palm that grabbed toward the girl. Suddenly, a glimmer of joy flashed in the girl's eyes. She suddenly turned and shouted past the 2 men, "Brother!" The sudden shout startled both men. The girl looked at Hua Qingyun and cried out, "Brother, come help me!" The two men immediately turned and asked who Hua Qingyun was. At this moment, Hua Qingyun's face turned dark. Only now did he realize he had been played, and this girl still had the nerve to call him brother. Fellow Taoists, I'm just a random passerby. I don't know her. Please continue. I won't disturb you. Seeing Hua Qingyun rush to cut ties with her, the girl immediately threw him a seductive wink. Brother, you're so heartless. Have you already forgotten our first meeting? From those words, the two men realized that Hua Qingyun had also been tricked. Only then did they understand that this girl was a repeat offender, and they immediately demanded that she hand over what she had scammed from them. Hua Qingyun was overjoyed when he saw this. He planned to sit back, enjoy the show, and take the chance to get his book back. But when the girl saw that Hua Qingyun still refused to move, she gritted her teeth and took out the book. If you don't help me, I'll tear it up right now. The smile on Hua Qingyun's face instantly vanished as he looked at the girl in panic. At this moment, the two men had completely lost their patience. Since you refused the easy way, don't blame us for doing this the hard way. A giant golden claw instantly grabbed toward the girl. Just as it was about to touch her, a blue sword light suddenly slashed down. Hua Qingyun appeared beside the girl with a complicated expression. One man was shocked by Hua Qingyun's strength, while the other questioned why he had interfered. Hua Qingyun said awkwardly, "The situation has changed. Please forgive me, fellow Taoists." Then he turned to the girl. "Give me the book." Ripples suddenly spread from the girl's eyes as she smiled. "Thanks, you naive fool." In the next second, Hua Qingyun's hand passed straight through the girl's body. He grabbed nothing at all. Hua Qingyun's face became terrifyingly dark as a horrifying pressure erupted from him, making the surrounding space crack and groan. In the next instant, his figure shot into the sky like a bolt of lightning. The two men looked at the spot where Hua Qingyun had disappeared inside. Who knows which sect he belongs to? His aura was terrifying. Only then did they remember that their treasures were still in the girl's hands. Above the outskirts of Yongxin City, a woman's figure suddenly appeared. She thought smugly, "Good thing I've trained my escape techniques well." But suddenly, a violent gust of wind swept past her. Hua Qingyun's furious figure appeared right in front of her. "You dared to trick me?" His voice exploded in her ears like thunder. In the next second, two sharp beams struck both sides of her chest. By the time the girl reacted, she realized her spiritual power had already been sealed by Hua Qingyun. Then Hua Qingyun grabbed her in his arms and said coldly, "You're really asking for jail time. Which sect are you from?" After saying that, he smiled sinisterly. "Come on, you're coming with me to see the city lord of Yongxin City. You dared to run scams in public. According to the immortal sect cultivator law, your spiritual power will be sealed. You'll be demoted to a commoner, and you'll clean pigsties for 7 days. For a female cultivator, this punishment was basically a small nuclear bomb. The two men who arrived later were shocked by the scene. How long had it been? And these two were already doing a princess carry? The girl angrily cursed Hua Qingyun for not knowing how to treat a lady, saying he would definitely stay single for the rest of his life. But under the terrifying threat of cleaning pigsties, she still obediently handed the book to Hua Qingyun and told him to remove the seal immediately. After 2 light taps, a spirit stone also flew into the girl's hand. Hua Qingyun told her to treat it as him buying the book. However, he was curious how she had cheated during rock, paper, scissors. The girl snorted and said she had not cheated at all. Hearing that, even the 2 innocent bystanders became curious. Then the girl explained somewhat awkwardly that she had only used a tiny bit of illusion magic. The 2 men immediately scolded her, saying that was obviously still cheating. In contrast, Hua Qingyun was far more curious about what kind of illusion she had used to fool even him. A jade tablet representing rock appeared in the girl's hand, but after a single spin, it turned into scissors. Yet no one present could see how it had changed. Hua Qingyun was still confused. But in the second round, I clearly revealed the tablet first. Don't tell me you changed my card for me. The girl giggled and told Hua Qingyun, I only slightly altered your perception. As long as I make you believe you lost, the pattern you see will naturally change to match. As soon as she said that, even Hua Qingyun revealed a look of shock. Altering perception was an extremely advanced illusion technique. This kind of power even touched the law of causality and belonged to the realm of conceptual abilities. Only then did everyone realize that this girl's identity was probably far from simple, so they quickly asked who she really was. The girl stopped pretending and snorted softly. Illusory Heart, Heavenly Palace, Yue Qingwu. The white-haired passerby looked at his senior brother in confusion. What kind of force is the Illusory Heart Heavenly Palace? His senior brother explained. It's an ancient sect famous for illusion arts. They've been isolated from the world for years. Although they haven't joined the alliance, their strength cannot be underestimated. After hearing this, the two immediately cupped their fists toward Yue Qingwu. I am Mo Yun, a core disciple of the Yongxin sect, and this is my junior brother, Bai Ren. Miss Yu, we never expected you to be a disciple of the Illusory Heart Heavenly Palace. As for the treasures you took from us earlier, we will no longer ask for them back. Under Yue Qingwu's surprised gaze, Mo Yun revealed his real purpose. He wanted to invite Yue Qingwu to search for treasure in the Yongxin Mountains. If they encountered danger, her illusion arts would be extremely useful. Yue Qingwu blurted out instinctively, "Treasure hunting?" Mo Yun explained that several days ago, a red light had fallen deep inside the Yongxin Mountains, filling the area with spiritual energy. It was very likely that a rare treasure had appeared. Hua Qingyun's eyes narrowed slightly when he heard this. He immediately thought of that demon embryo. Both the timing and the color matched perfectly. Hua Qingyun held his forehead and sighed. "I hope I'm overthinking it." After hearing Mo Yun's explanation, Yue Qingwu happily agreed. Thinking of Hua Qingyun's terrifying strength, Mo Yun also planned to invite him. "Brother Hua, what do you think?" Hua Qingyun quickly waved his hand and said he had no interest. Inwardly, he thought, "I finally got a vacation. Why would I go jungle exploring?" Before anyone could persuade him to stay, he turned into a streak of blue light and left. After he left, a faint glow flickered in Yue Qingwu's pupils. She told the two not to worry because Hua Qingyun would definitely come back to find them. In a certain forest, a blood-red halberd stood upright in the earth. At the same time, an aged voice rang out. "Found it. The demon embryo." Meanwhile, on the other side, Hua Qingyun was still inside the inn. He was reading his illustrated novel with great interest. After happily turning to the final page, just as he was about to learn who the mastermind was, instead, he saw Yue Qingwu's hand-drawn signature. The thought that he had been tricked again instantly flashed through Hua Qingyun's mind. In the next second, a terrifying aura erupted and almost crushed the entire inn. An indescribably fast streak of blue light shot into the sky, heading straight for the Yongxin Mountains. At this moment, inside the Yongxin Mountains, Yue Qingwu was using her illusion arts to cooperate with Mo Yun and Bai Ren. Before long, the three of them killed a third-level Purple Mansion demon beast. Ever since Mo Yun and Bai Ren learned that Yue Qingwu came from the illusory Heart Heavenly Palace, they instantly turned into fanboys, praising her mirror flower water, moon divine ability as unbelievably powerful. Without her, defeating this demon beast probably would have taken much longer. And Yue Qingwu happened to love this kind of praise, so she was already starting to get carried away. She had no idea that they had already been targeted by a demon sect elder. Now, the demon embryo's refinement was only missing one final step, and the three of them were just perfect. Xie Yun was worried that the blood puppets might not clean things up properly, and that someone could escape to warn Yongxin City, so he took out a silver bell from his robe. Immediately after, an extremely sinister aura erupted from the bell. Looking at the black figure that appeared in the air, Xie Yun ordered it to capture Yue Qingwu and the other two, while he stayed behind to erase the seal Hua Qingyun had left behind. In an instant, the black shadow turned into a streak of light and rushed straight toward Yue Qingwu's group. At this moment, as Yue Qingwu walked forward, she suddenly felt a chill behind her, as if someone was watching her. But clearly, her senses had misled her. Bai Ren suddenly warned them, "Something is approaching." But before any of them could react, Bai Ren spat out blood and collapsed unconscious on the spot. Mo Yun had just crouched down to check Bai Ren's injuries when he heard Yue Qingwu's warning. A black figure flashed past him with a sharp whoosh. Mo Yun also collapsed unconscious, leaving only Yue Qingwu standing there, trembling in fear. Just as her terror reached its peak, the black figure appeared again, using the exact same method as before. Yue Qingwu still failed to see what the attacker actually was, before she fell into darkness, along with Mo Yun and Bai Ren. Not long after, a figure in blue-green robes appeared where Yue Qingwu and the others had been. Hua Qingyun was very confused. He had clearly sensed the spiritual power traces of all three people here, so how had they suddenly disappeared? There were no signs of battle either. Had they been taken out instantly? Suddenly, Hua Qingyun seemed to sense something. His terrifying divine sense instantly covered the entire forest, as if something was hiding in the wind. In the next second, a black streak of light appeared behind him at incredible speed, trying to knock him out using the same method. But just as the black shadow was about to touch him, Hua Qingyun's closed eyes suddenly opened. His terrifying divine sense directly froze the black shadow in midair. His voice was icy cold. "Who are you? What are you trying to do?" As soon as he spoke, the black energy slowly dispersed, revealing a delicate, doll-like little girl before Hua Qingyun. Her entire body was trembling uncontrollably, clearly frightened by Hua Qingyun's tone just now. Seeing that the little child did not answer, Hua Qingyun crouched down and asked, "You can't speak?" Hearing this, the child tried her best to nod. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun asked again, "Were you the one who knocked down the three cultivators here earlier? Are they still alive?" The little child nodded again. Then Hua Qingyun deliberately put on a fierce expression and told the child to take him to those three, or else he would punish her. Being frightened like this only made the little child even more scared. Suddenly, The sound of a bell came from deep inside the forest. A look of pain instantly crossed the little child's face. Her body seemed to move beyond her control as she flew toward the direction of the bell. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun immediately thought of something: the soul control bell. He had once heard his master mention that this evil artifact could seal a living being's soul inside the bell and curse it with vicious spells. Thinking of this, cold killing intent flashed in Hua Qingyun's eyes. Demon Sect again? On the other side, 3 figures had already been connected to the demon embryo. Xie Yun shook the bell while cursing under his breath. Beneath his foot was a tiny body. Is that guy really so hard to deal with? You're the divine beast Xuan Yin, or are you trying to take the chance to run away? Xie Yun did not ease his foot as he cursed. Instead, he pressed down harder and harder. At this moment, little Xuan Yin's young face was already soaked with tears as she desperately shook her head. Only then did Xie Yun slightly reduce his strength. He warned little Xuan Yin that if she dared to escape, he had 100 ways to make her wish she were dead. After that, he asked for Hua Qingyun's location, planning to personally capture him. Suddenly, a lazy voice came from behind him. There's no need for you to personally make a move, Ancestor. I'm already here. Hua Qingyun's voice carried a trace of disdain. So it's Ancestor Xie Yun. It's only been a few days, yet you've already rebuilt your body. Looks like someone powerful helped you. Rage instantly surged through Xie Yun. It's you! As soon as he spoke, a blood-red skeleton solidified and lunged toward Hua Qingyun. Hua Qingyun merely flicked his finger. The blood-red skeleton shattered instantly. He looked at Xie Yun mockingly. Hey, Ancestor, why are you still this weak? Extreme anger made veins bulge across Xie Yun's face, but he could not do anything to Hua Qingyun at all. So he could only roar at little Xuan Yin beside him and order her to deal with Hua Qingyun. But before little Xuan Yin could move, a sword light cut through the void and instantly severed the arm holding the bell. Xie Yun collapsed to the ground from the pain, curling into a ball as he let out a miserable scream. At the same time, the sound of metal shattering rang out. Hua Qingyun looked at little Xuan Yin and said softly, "So your name is Xuan Yin. From now on, you don't have to be their puppet anymore. You're free." Hua Qingyun looked at little Xuan Yin with heartache, because the tears in her eyes had never stopped falling. Little Xuan Yin instinctively wanted to fly toward Hua Qingyun, but suddenly, Xie Yun struggled to his feet and called out to her. He warned her that if she dared to disobey, that Lord would never let her go. As soon as he finished speaking, a red streak of light flashed past, and blood gushed from Xie Yun's mouth. Little Xuan Yin threw herself into Hua Qingyun's arms. Tears kept streaming down her cheeks. Hua Qingyun's figure was reflected in her clear eyes as he comforted her softly, because he understood all too well what it felt like to be exploited and squeezed dry. Suddenly, the ground trembled slightly. Xie Yun actually stood up again and slammed his remaining arm into the earth. Blood Abyss. Prison Summoning Formation. As soon as he spoke, thick blood-colored energy rapidly climbed into the sky, and countless eyes emerged from it. A huge gray-green hand began reaching out from the crack. Who is summoning this king? As the voice fell, a massive figure crawled out of the gap. Xie Yun respectfully knelt before him and begged the Demon King to kill Hua Qingyun. Sensing that Hua Qingyun's cultivation aura was only at the 6th level of the Spirit Palace realm, the Demon King looked at Xie Yun with disdain. A mere ant, and you need this king to personally take action? But his fists still smashed toward Hua Qingyun. A cross-shaped sword light flashed. In the next second, a blue pillar of light shot into the sky. At this moment, Hua Qingyun had already unsheathed his sword. A deep voice came from the other side. Unfortunately, this world has sealed me, so I can only use 1/5 of my strength. One day, this king will personally descend into this world and fight you properly. He had just been about to announce his name when his entire body was completely shredded by the blue sword energy. Looking at the fragments flying before him, Hua Qingyun's expression remained indifferent. By comparison, Xie Yun's mouth was already hanging wide open. Hua Qingyun looked down at Xie Yun as terrifying spiritual power gathered around him, with faint traces of lightning flickering in the air. Seeing this, Xie Yun wanted to speak and tell Hua Qingyun to stop, but before he could say anything, a terrifying beam of spiritual power completely swallowed him whole. And cool guys, don't look at explosions. After dealing with Xie Yun, Hua Qingyun looked at the 3 people on the ground. He casually removed the seals inside their bodies. Yu Qingwu was the first to wake up. Still dazed, she failed to recognize Hua Qingyun right away, and even asked who he was. Hua Qingyun explained, "It's fine now. Too much of your spiritual power was drained. Rest for a while, and you'll recover. I'll take you back to the city first." After saying that, he was just about to move when surging demonic energy suddenly erupted behind him. The demon embryo began slowly rising from the ground. Then it plunged into the thick smoke. In the next second, the smoke and dust scattered. Xie Yun stood there holding the demon embryo halberd, with demonic clouds rolling behind him like a demon god descending into the world. Hua Qingyun had been just one step away from killing him completely. Fortunately, Xie Yun had moved quickly enough and activated his magical treasure in time. Xie Yun's arrogant laughter rang out. Now, the one who dies will be you. Hua Qingyun looked at Xie Yun with disgust. What kind of nonsense are you pulling now? Although he did not know what was going on, if one sword strike was not enough, then he would just use another. As soon as he finished speaking, vast sword energy slashed towards Xie Yun again. But this time, Xie Yun merely waved the demon embryo and blocked the attack, not forgetting to mock Hua Qingyun. Ha ha ha! The current me is far stronger than you! A blood-red ghost face suddenly appeared and rushed toward everyone. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun pushed the three people away with one hand. With his other hand, he slashed toward the blood-red ghost face. Feeling the force transmitted through his sword, Hua Qingyun couldn't help grumbling. This makes no sense. Xie Yun was only at the 7th level of the Purple Mansion realm just now, but now he's directly jumped to the 2nd level of the Ascension realm. As he thought this, Hua Qingyun looked at the red gem embedded in Xie Yun's forehead and asked, "That's the ancient treasure known as the Heaven-Reaching Jade, isn't it?" Xie Yun grinned. As expected of a disciple from a famous Orthodox sect, you actually recognize this treasure. Ancient records once stated that tens of millions of years ago, someone found the Heaven-Reaching Jade by chance. After activating it with spiritual power, their cultivation skyrocketed, and they became a mighty ruler of their region. But none of those rulers lived longer than 5 years, because while their cultivation soared, their lifespan burned away at a terrifying speed. Hua Qingyun coldly reminded Xie Yun, "All things in heaven and earth follow the laws of the great Tao." Did you really think gaining an extraordinary cultivation level and inhuman recovery came without a price? Look at yourself now. Stop being blinded by an illusion. Looking at his aged face in the mirror, Xie Yun spoke in a trembling voice. Impossible. I should have at least 800 years of lifespan left. How did I become like this? As soon as he finished speaking, he smashed the mirror into pieces with his halberd. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun looked utterly disgusted, because he had even secretly given Xie Yun a beauty filter just now. At this moment, the blow was so great that Xie Yun actually fell into madness. He kept muttering that as long as he completed this mission, that Lord would definitely grant him a pill to restore his lifespan. When that time came, as long as he used the Heaven-Reaching Jade properly, he would stand above this entire world. Looking at Xie Yun, who had completely lost his mind, Hua Qingyun slowly sheathed his sword and thought, so this Heaven-Reaching Jade can even gaslight its host. But Xie Yun seemed to have truly received some kind of message. He actually smeared his blood across the surface of the Heaven-Reaching Jade in an instant. Terrifying power erupted wildly from inside his body. A blood-red tornado immediately swept toward Hua Qingyun. Hua Qingyun also slashed out with the draw sword form, but shockingly, he failed to block Xie Yun's attack. At this moment, the pressure Xie Yun released had already reached the 5th level of the Ascension realm. Hua Qingyun could no longer remember the last time he had been injured. He pulled open his collar and looked at the talisman on his chest. But at that moment, Xie Yun was suddenly attacked. Seeing that her attack had no effect, little Xuanyin trembled in fear. Xie Yun already hated her for betraying him, so he directly moved to kill her. Fortunately, Hua Qingyun arrived in time and blocked the fatal strike for her. "Little one, didn't I tell you to leave?" But while he was speaking, Xie Yun's attack came again. Hua Qingyun wanted to undo the seal, but he realized it was already too late. Mirror, flower, water, moon. As that voice rang out, Hua Qingyun's body dispersed like rippling water. Seeing this, Xie Yun immediately reacted. He noticed Yu Qingwu casting the technique and cursed at her, calling her a bitch. Then he swung the demon embryo and slashed toward her. But in the next second, a massive blue pillar of light blocked Xie Yun's attack. Yu Qingwu looked upward in shock. At this moment, Hua Qingyun's black hair danced in the air, and the seal on his chest had already been removed. Both his pupils and his hair gradually began turning blue. Mysterious patterns wrapped around his entire body, making him look like a god descending into the world. Meanwhile, the half-insane Xie Yun was still lost in the fantasy that he was invincible. He charged straight toward Hua Qingyun. "You had a chance to run, yet you came back to die?" But the moment he made contact with Hua Qingyun, Xie Yun finally realized something was wrong. His full power attack had actually been blocked by 2 of Hua Qingyun's fingers, and Xie Yun was not the only one afraid. Yu Qingwu also felt a chill run down her spine. If Hua Qingyun had a slightly worse temper, grass would probably already be growing on her grave. Hua Qingyun said with an indifferent gaze, "Against you, this much spiritual power is enough." But Xie Yun still failed to understand his situation and only thought Hua Qingyun was mocking him. He raised the demon embryo again, wanting to launch another attack. This time, Hua Qingyun gave him no chance. He snorted coldly and said, "From the moment I released my seal, you had already lost." Blue and golden spiritual power coiled around the sword. As Hua Qingyun gripped the hilt, a golden dragon appeared behind him. King Yun's sword art, Azure Dragon. Under the shroud of golden light, despair finally appeared on Sheyun's face. The demon embryo was sent flying. His body began breaking apart inch by inch. In the end, he turned into countless fragments and became nourishment for this world. With a blank expression, Hua Qingyun put his robe back on. Down below, Yue Qingwu realized that his cultivation had already returned to the 6th level of the Spirit Palace realm. But very quickly, Yue Qingwu's attention was drawn to the heaven-reaching jade before her. She suddenly felt that the jade was unbelievably beautiful. She even subconsciously wanted to reach out, touch it, and claim it for herself. At that moment, Hua Qingyun appeared behind her and said calmly, "You'd better not touch it." Then he took the heaven-reaching jade one step ahead of her and placed it into his storage bag. Only then did Yu Qingwu snap back to her senses and realize that she had just been bewitched by a stone. Hua Qingyun reminded her, "This thing is extremely evil. Be careful, or you'll end up like Ancestor Xie, with your lifespan completely drained." Suddenly, little Xuanyin arrived beside them. Yu Qingwu froze for a second. Then she angrily pointed at little Xuanyin and said, "This is the little thing that ambushed us." Seeing this, Hua Qingyun quickly shielded little Xuanyin behind him and explained on her behalf. Little Xuanyin also desperately apologized to Yu Qingwu from the side. After receiving Yue Qingwu's forgiveness, Hua Qingyun told little Xuanyin, "You're safe now. You can leave without worry. Be careful on the road, and don't get caught by bad people again. Understand?" Looking at little Xuanyin nuzzling affectionately against Hua Qingyun's palm, Yu Qingwu showed a sympathetic expression and said that since little Xuanyin was so powerful, Hua Qingyun could actually keep her by his side. Hua Qingyun asked in return, "Then what would be the difference between me and those demon sect people?" Hearing this, Yue Qingwu froze for a moment. Then she blushed slightly and said, "If it were someone else, they might have kept the soul control bell and treated little Xuanyin as a weapon to carry around. It seems I really misjudged you before, but who would have thought that Hua Qingyun would immediately use her words against her?" His expression changed. "Since you misjudged me, can you return the final page you tore out?" Yue Qingwu cursed inwardly. What an unromantic blockhead. All he thinks about is his novel. Still, she returned the final page of the novel to Hua Qingyun. Seeing Hua Qingyun so happy over a single sheet of paper, little Xuanyin looked extremely confused. After putting away the page, Hua Qingyun thanked Yue Qingwu for stepping in earlier and hoped she would not spread what had happened today. As for the great credit of killing the demon sect elder, he would give it to her as repayment. Throughout the entire process, Yue Qingwu could not even come up with a single reason to refute him. She could only ask, "Then how should we deal with this demon embryo?" Hua Qingyun replied, "I'll take this thing back and hand it over to the sect." After saying that, he pointed at the 2 Yangxin sect disciples who were still out cold. "I'll have to trouble Miss Yue to take care of them." Yue Qingwu immediately realized that Hua Qingyun was trying to run away and said she was not their babysitter. Hua Qingyun pretended not to hear her and reached for the demon embryo beside him. But suddenly, a giant hand formed from starlight reached out from the void, and a voice thundered, "This demon embryo halberd cannot be taken by you." Sensing the opponent's Ascension Realm aura, Hua Qingyun did not stop it. But before the other party left, he actually called out Hua Qingyun's name and said he would remember him. After the giant hand disappeared, space returned to normal. Yu Qingwu hugged her arms, trembling all over, and asked Hua Qingyun what that was just now, since the pressure had been so terrifying. Hua Qingyun replied, "Probably some elder from the demon sect." Hearing this, Yue Qingwu asked anxiously, "That weapon should be very important. Why aren't you chasing him?" Hua Qingyun gave 3 reasons. First, his strength is unknown. Second, recovering the demon embryo isn't my mission. Of course, neither of those 2 points matters. Third, I'm on vacation right now. Miss Yu, we'll meet again if fate allows. As he said this, all he could think about was rushing back to read the novel's ending. As soon as he finished speaking, Hua Qingyun turned into a streak of light and flew toward Yangxin City. Yu Qingwu scoffed softly in the direction Hua Qingyun left. "Who wants to meet you again?" Suddenly, little Xuanyin rushed past her and chased after Hua Qingyun. Yu Qingwu was left standing there alone, her face slightly red as she thought, "His strength is unfathomable. His character isn't bad, and his looks are also..." The more she thought about it, the more annoyed she became. "Why am I thinking about him? I don't want to see him again." Her voice was angry, yet carried a trace of shyness. After that, Mo Yun and Bai Ren were gently awakened by Yu Qingwu. After learning that they had been saved by Yue Qingwu and Hua Qingyun, Yu Qingwu hid the truth for Hua Qingyun and changed Ancestor Xie cause of death to lifespan exhaustion. Seeing that Hua Qingyun had already left, Mo Yun said regretfully that he had not even had time to thank him. At this moment, Bai Ren reminded him from behind, "Isn't the prodigy gathering about to begin? With Hua Qingyun's strength, he will definitely represent his sect in the tournament. We can thank him in person then. Hearing this, Yue Qingwu immediately became interested. Prodigy gathering? What's that? Mo Yun scratched his head awkwardly and explained to Yu Qingwu. Miss Yu, the illusory heart heavenly palace is isolated from the world, so it's normal that you don't know about this. Because most forces in the Eastern Wasteland have joined the Immortal Sect Alliance. Every 10 years, each major sect sends 5 of their prodigies to compete and decide the rankings. This is commonly known as the Prodigy Gathering, and the ranking of the Prodigy Gathering determines the sect rankings, which then affects the distribution of various resources afterward. After hearing this, Yue Qingwu asked curiously, "Then can I also go to this Prodigy Gathering?" Mo Yun was not too certain either. With the illusory heart heavenly palace's strength and reputation, you probably can. After hearing this, Yue Qingwu thought about being able to see Hua Qingyun, that bad guy in her eyes, again, so she decided to return to her sect first. At this moment, Hua Qingyun was traveling at full speed while still thinking about the person who had taken the demon embryo just now. Judging from that aura, unless he released 1/3 of his seal, he would definitely not be that person's match. And considering how rampant the demon sect had become, even his own master had fallen into an ambush. If he had forcibly taken the demon embryo back at that time, he would have definitely brought an even greater crisis to the sect. He was still counting on peacefully retiring in the Qingyun Sword sect, so he absolutely could not do something that would bring trouble to his own doorstep. Suddenly, Hua Qingyun let out a confused sound. "Why did you follow me?" Little Xuanyin had no intention of stopping and directly threw herself into his arms. From her expression, Hua Qingyun understood what she was thinking and asked, "Do you have nowhere to go and want to follow me?" Little Xuanyin nodded hard while crying. Then Hua Qingyun's gentle voice reached her. "I can take you in, but if you ever want to leave in the future, you don't have to tell me. You can go at any time." Hearing this, Little Xuanyin directly wrapped her tiny arms around Hua Qingyun's cheek and cried softly to express her gratitude. Hua Qingyun gently comforted the adorable little one in his arms. He never expected that, as a former corporate drone, he could actually pick up a divine beast for free on his way home. Then he told Little Xuanyin, "Fortunately, in other people's eyes, you're only a gust of wind. That saves us a lot of trouble. When I get the chance, I'll find a way to help you solve your problem with speaking. From now on, the Qingyun Sword Sect is your home." Meanwhile, inside Yexin residence of the Qingyun Sword Sect, Wen Jin asked Fairy Yuexin about Gu Yu's injuries. Fairy Yuexin said, "Many of his bones are shattered, and both his dantian and internal organs are damaged. With injuries this severe, if he had returned half an hour later, even an immortal descending from heaven would not have been able to save him." After hearing this, Wen Jin had already prepared himself for the worst and asked in a heavy voice, "How is he now?" Fairy Yuexin told Wen Jin not to worry because she had already used a heaven-restoring creation pill to preserve Gu Yu's life. At this moment, Wen Jin was like a furious lion, and his terrifying spiritual pressure made the surrounding space rumble. Inside the Immortal Sect Alliance's secret realm, the Nethermoon Realm, Wen Jian intended to demand justice for Gu Yu. Taoist Zixuan, the 4th level Ascension Realm Master of the Purple Spirit Sect, asked, "Brother Wen, what matter did you gather everyone here to discuss?" Hearing this, Wen Jin recounted everything the Demon Sect had recently done within the territory of the Qingyun Sword Sect. In particular, Mo Zhuan, an elder of the Demon Cloud Sect, had actually refined the demon embryo of the Crimson Refining Demon Weapon. Everyone here should know what that means. However, when I sent Hallmaster Gu Yu to deliver the Blood Soul Pearl to the Alliance, he was ambushed by Demon Sect cultivators. The Blood Soul Pearl was stolen, and Gu Yu was heavily injured, with even his Dao Foundation damaged. Taoist Zixuan's face filled with shock after hearing this. He had met Hallmaster Gu Yu before. Although Gu Yu was only at the 1st level of the Ascension Realm, he was skilled in escape techniques. He never expected Gu Yu to suffer such severe injuries. At this moment, one person spoke calmly, saying there must be a traitor inside the Alliance. This person was Yun Yu, the sect master of the Tikshu sect, with cultivation at the 9th level of the Ascension Realm. He then continued, "From today onward, I ask all sect masters to carefully investigate the disciples their sects have stationed within the Alliance, to prevent anyone from secretly colluding with the Demon Sect. At the same time, search for clues about the person who ambushed Hallmaster Gu as quickly as possible. In addition, every major sect must clean out the Demon Sect strongholds within the provinces under their control. Once any Demon Sect cultivator is found, immediately notify the Alliance to encircle and eliminate them." Sect Master Wen, are you satisfied with this arrangement? After hearing this, Wen Jin cupped his fists toward him. "If every sect can truly carry this out, then I naturally accept." At this moment, Yun Yuxuan, the 4th level Ascension Realm Master of the Yongxin sect, said, "Speaking of Demon Sect cultivators, just a few hours ago, my sect's core disciples sent news that they encountered Ancestor Xieyun of the Demon Cloud sect in the Yongxin Mountains. Their spiritual power was drained by Ancestor Xieyun, and their lives were hanging by a thread. However, because Ancestor Seiyun used the ancient treasure known as the Heaven-Reaching Jade, his lifespan was exhausted, and he was ultimately killed by a disciple of the Illusory Heart Heavenly Palace, together with a cultivator named Hua Qingyun. Wen Jian's face filled with shock after hearing this. What? Hua Qingyun? Wasn't that guy on vacation? How did he end up there? Seeing this, Yun Yuxuan looked confused. Sect Master Wen, do you know this cultivator? Wen Jian did not hide it, and briefly explained Hua Qingyun's general situation. He believed Hua Qingyun had probably only assisted the disciple from the Illusory Heart Heavenly Palace from the side, and decided he would ask him carefully after returning. At this moment, another heavyweight spoke. Everyone, since the demon sect has been active so frequently lately, in order to prepare for the danger that may soon arrive, I believe we can make a slight change to the rules of the upcoming prodigy gathering to encourage the growth of each sect's disciples. What do the sect masters think? This person was Su Xing, the sect master of the Star Heaven sect, with cultivation at the 8th level of the Ascension realm. As soon as he finished speaking, a sect master immediately raised a concern. But ever since the Immortal Sect Alliance was established, the rules of the Prodigy Gathering have only been changed 3 times at the very beginning. Changing the rules at the last minute may not be appropriate. Immediately after, golden light gathered in Su Xing's palm. He told everyone not to worry, saying that as the host this time, he naturally would not be stingy when it came to motivating the disciples. After he finished speaking, everyone present revealed shocked expressions. At this moment, a golden key was floating above Su Xing's palm. How about using this as the reward for the champion of this prodigy gathering? Elsewhere, inside a courtyard, a door was slowly pushed open. Hua Qingyun came in holding something and asked his master, "How is your recovery going? I came to see you." Gu Yu told him that he was no longer in serious danger, but still needed to rest for some time. As Hua Qingyun listened, he began fiddling with the things he had brought. He said these were spirit tea leaves he had carefully cultivated himself. With some high-quality spirit spring water, a cup of spirit tea that could restore spiritual power and nourish the meridians was ready. After saying that, he respectfully handed it to Gu Yu. "Master, please." As Gu Yu took a sip, Gu Yu's body trembled slightly, and he could not help praising, "Good tea." But then his expression changed, and he advised, "Qingyun, if you could spend the time you use on these plants and flowers on cultivation instead, you wouldn't still be only at the 6th level of the Spirit Palace realm. You should know that among the core disciples, your cultivation is already at the very bottom." Listening to Gu Yu's nagging, Hua Qingyun bit his lip and thought that it seemed he would have to release a little spiritual power. In the next second, cultivation aura spread from Hua Qingyun's body. "Master, look, I'm already at the 8th level of the Spirit Palace realm." Hearing this, Gu Yu's face immediately lit up with joy, but very quickly, he seemed to remember something. His expression turned stern again. "But it has already been 5 whole years since your last breakthrough. Look at your junior sister, Ye. How long has she been cultivating? Yet she has already stepped into the Purple Mansion realm." Hua Qingyun chuckled. "I will remember Master's teachings. From now on, I'll definitely cultivate properly." Gu Yu said angrily, "Stop trying to brush me off." Then he sighed again. "Forget it. These are all things I've said many times before. I know you don't like hearing too much of it. Still, you came to visit me this time, so at least you have a heart." Hua Qingyun seemed to sense something and immediately turned to run, leaving behind only one sentence. "Then please rest well, Master. This disciple will take his leave first." But Gu Yu did not give him the chance and called him back. "Wait, when I went out this time, I was injured by Xiangba, the sect master of the Demon Cloud sect, and nearly died. At that time, the jade pendant you gave me during my birthday banquet blocked a fatal attack for me. After that, a sudden sword light appeared and wounded Xiangba, which allowed me to escape. Qingyun, tell me honestly, are you hiding something from me? For example, are you actually hiding your cultivation, or perhaps sealing your spiritual power?" Hua Qingyun turned around, his expression changing as he smiled bitterly. "If I were hiding my cultivation, could I really hide it from you and the sect master?" Gu Yu stared at him for a while after hearing this. Then he let out a slight sigh. "True, I watched you enter the sect myself. Pulling off a massive deception like deceiving the heavens to cross the sea shouldn't be something you're capable of." But Gu Yu was still confused. Then what exactly was going on with that jade pendant? Hua Qingyun shamelessly explained, "I obtained that jade pendant by chance inside a secret realm. I sensed that its aura was extraordinary and figured it must be something precious. So I used your birthday as an opportunity to give it to you." Gu Yu lowered his head and smiled. "You really are lucky. You accidentally picked up a treasure. If it weren't for you this time, I probably wouldn't be alive now." Hua Qingyun scratched his head. "Master praises me too much." Suddenly, Gu Yu called out to him again. As soon as Hua Qingyun turned his head, a violent gust of wind rushed toward his face. Gu Yu struck out with his palm, and the terrifying air current made the entire house shake slightly. Hua Qingyun looked terrified and asked, "Master, what are you doing?" But inwardly he thought, "Why does everyone like using this trick now?" Gu Yu withdrew his palm and said with a smile, "Although you have broken through to the 8th level of the Spirit Palace realm, your reaction is still somewhat lacking." Hua Qingyun's expression did not change. Master's lesson is correct, but because of the impact from that palm, Hua Qingyun's illustrated novel fell right in front of Gu Yu. Gu Yu looked puzzled and asked, "What is this?" Seeing this, Hua Qingyun instantly flushed with embarrassment. He quickly snatched the book back. He claimed it was just a small pastime of his. Unexpectedly, Gu Yu did not keep asking. He merely waved his hand. "All right, you may return. No matter what, cultivation should still come first. It's better to read fewer idle books like that." Hua Qingyun was extremely surprised and thought, "He actually didn't scold me?" Seeing that Hua Qingyun still had not left, Gu Yu snorted coldly. "Why haven't you left yet?" Only after Hua Qingyun had completely left did Gu Yu turn around and lift his own pillow. He picked up a book identical to Hua Qingyun's and muttered, "I never expected Qingyun to have such good taste. He actually reads the books I write, and his copy was even a limited signed edition. Could it be that he went to Yongshin City during his vacation just to buy the book?" Thinking of this, Gu Yu also flushed with embarrassment. It's better not to let Qingyun know about this. Now, the prodigy gathering was about to begin. Wen Jin informed all the hall masters and elders. After a vote among our 10 sect masters, the rule forbidding fatal injuries in this prodigy gathering has been removed. All participating cultivators must sign a life and death agreement before battle. Once the fight begins, elders from each sect will stand guard nearby. If injuries or deaths occur, the disciple sect is forbidden from holding grudges or seeking revenge. After hearing this, Lan Tong, the hall master of Blue Moon Hall, frowned slightly. But the disciples who can participate in the prodigy gathering are all geniuses from their sects. If something happens to them, wouldn't the loss be enormous? Wen Jin and the others had naturally considered this. However, the demon sect has been becoming more and more active recently. To prepare for the possible crises ahead, the younger generation must undergo real trials and grow as quickly as possible. After hearing this, Dong Ging, the hall master of Langson Hall, also agreed with Wen Jin. Gu Yu nodded as well. Once a real crisis arrives, a calm mindset, sharp judgment, and decisive execution. These factors beyond cultivation realm can greatly affect whether a cultivator lives or dies. Seeing that no one had any further objections, Wen Jin finally revealed the real reason for this rule change. The host, the Star Heaven sect, has prepared the final tomb key fragment of the Yuchin Heavenly Emperor as the reward for first place. When everyone heard this, they could not help gasping in shock. Gu Yu also recalled that 5 million years ago, the #1 person in the Kangyuan realm, the Yuchin Heavenly Emperor, left behind countless supreme techniques after his passing. Later, his tomb was discovered in the 9 Nether Sea, but terrifying restrictions filled the interior. To open it, all 5 key fragments had to be gathered. Hearing this, Lan Tong was so excited that he shot to his feet. So far, only 4 key fragments have ever been found. I never expected the most important final piece to be in the Star Heaven sect's hands. Wen Jin was also extremely excited after learning this, because as long as the Qingyun Sword sect could win first place in this gathering, they would have a chance to enter the Heavenly Emperor's tomb and claim a share of the benefits. Because of this, he ordered the sect tournament to begin 1 week later. In order to let the disciples adapt to the Prodigy Gathering's rules ahead of time, this sect tournament would be different from before. Aside from demonic evil arts, anything that could increase combat strength was allowed. The top 5 in the tournament would not only receive generous rewards, but also represent the sect in this year's Prodigy Gathering. After the news spread, all the disciples rushed to the treasure pavilion to buy tools and items. Only one person looked completely out of place. At this moment, Hua Qingyun leaned against a tree with a smile on his face, thinking, "Good thing I stocked up in advance." Suddenly, a figure in white appeared behind him. Hua Qingyun looked awkwardly at Shen Weiren. "Why are you still here? Aren't you going to buy some pills or talismans?" As soon as he finished speaking, Shen Weiren said confidently, "With the sword technique senior brother Hua taught me, why would I need any other methods?" Hua Qingyun scoffed and reminded him, "There is always someone stronger. You must not become careless in battle because of pride." But as soon as he said this, Shen Weiren told him some explosive news. In this tournament, the top 3 inner disciples can challenge core disciples. If the challenge succeeds, the inner disciple will replace them and become a new core disciple. In the next second, Hua Qingyun asked excitedly, "Is that true?" Shen Weiren replied, "Absolutely. I heard that many inner disciples are already lining up to challenge you, senior brother Hua." Hearing this, Hua Qingyun's eyes flashed brightly. "If I pretend to lose in the tournament, won't I be able to naturally get rid of my core disciple status and return to being an inner disciple? When that happens, my 9-to-5 life will only get easier." However, in Shen Weiren's eyes, this became proof of Hua Qingyun's confidence. He thought, Those who look down on senior brother Hua will pay the price sooner or later. At this moment, the sound transmission stone at Hua Qingyun's waist lit up, and Gu Yu's voice came from inside, telling him to go to Flowing Cloud Hall. A short while later, Hua Qingyun smiled and asked his master why he had called him over. Gu Yu did not answer immediately. He told Hua Qingyun to sit first, then informed him that there was one strict requirement for him in this Sect tournament. Hua Qingyun asked in confusion, "What requirement?" Gu Yu said calmly, "It's not anything too difficult. I simply hope you can place in the top 20 of this Sect tournament." Gu Yu's calm words sounded like thunder exploding in Hua Qingyun's ears. He refused on the spot and said this was absolutely impossible. In the next second, Gu Yu's expression suddenly changed. "There are only 55 core disciples in the Qingyun Sword Sect. As long as you take this seriously, entering the top 20 should be effortless." After hearing this, Hua Qingyun was not affected at all. Instead, he said with an innocent face, "If I really had that ability, how could I still be at the very bottom now?" Hearing that Hua Qingyun still planned to hide himself, Gu Yu decided to speak directly. "Qingyun, do you still remember why I accepted you as my disciple? I still remember the sword energy you released on the arena back then. The sword Tao contained within it was not inferior to any core disciple." After hearing this, Hua Qingyun cursed inwardly. He should never have gotten careless back then. He never expected that just 10% of his power would already create such astonishing destruction, but he still did not want to give up this opportunity. So he told Gu Yu that the sword strike had been a complete accident, and that he absolutely could not reproduce it now. Gu Yu did not respond. He only said with a dark expression, "Are you trying to refuse your master?" Hua Qingyun replied firmly, "Master, I truly can't do it." Inwardly, he thought, "Now that things have come to this, no one can shake my determination to return to being an inner disciple." Gu Yu snorted coldly and slapped a pink book onto the table. "You truly can't do it?" Looking at that pink book, Hua Qingyun flushed slightly with embarrassment. "Master, what is this?" Before he could finish speaking, Gu Yu threw the book to him and told him to read it. Hua Qingyun thought, "Master actually reads this kind of thing in secret too?" But when he saw the author's name on the cover, he looked at his master in shock and doubt. Gu Yu? Master? You wrote this book?" Gu Yu first gave a tactical cough. Then he took out a stack of papers from his robe and told Hua Qingyun, "This is the unpublished manuscript for Volume 12. At this moment, Hua Qingyun was still in shock. The author of his favorite novel had been right beside him all along, and it was even his closest master. Then he seemed to realize something. He looked at Gu Yu hesitantly. "Master, you telling me this? Don't tell me you're planning to..." As soon as he spoke, the book flew back into Gu Yu's hand. Gu Yu said in a deep voice, "If you fail to enter the top 20, then in my next book, I'll kill off the junior sister heroine." As soon as these words came out, Hua Qingyun could no longer sit still. The junior sister was his favorite character. He immediately stood up and came before Gu Yu. "Master, how can you decide a character's fate so carelessly?" Gu Yu remained unmoved. Instead, he coldly told Hua Qingyun that he would also have the protagonist's senior sister marry someone else. Hearing this, Hua Qingyun instantly felt like he had taken 1,000,000,000 points of critical damage. That was his second favorite character. "Master, you're so cruel." But as soon as he said this, Hua Qingyun suddenly thought of something. He told Gu Yu, "Aren't you afraid I'll tell the Sect master that you write novels?" Yet Gu Yu remained completely calm and said that in that case, he would have the protagonist's childhood sweetheart killed right in front of him. As soon as those words came out, Hua Qingyun finally broke. Seeing this, Gu Yu seized the opportunity and threw out the bait. He said that as long as Hua Qingyun placed in the top 20, he would not only treat Hua Qingyun's favorite characters well, but also let him read unpublished drafts in advance, and even give him several collector's edition books and illustrations. After this full combo, Hua Qingyun was left with absolutely no counterplay. He looked at his master with a bit of anger and said, "It's a deal." After leaving, Hua Qingyun angrily told Qu Tian that the hallmaster was looking for him. Then, under Qu Tian's confused gaze, he left Flowing Cloud Hall. Inside the room, Gu Yu chuckled and said, "Compared to your master, you're still far too inexperienced." After laughing, he told Qu Tian that he had called him here to notify senior sister Yu Jiangxin, who was in seclusion, about the upcoming Sect tournament. Then Gu Yu sighed helplessly. That child seems to have gotten absorbed in cultivation again and forgotten to check her sound transmission jade talisman. Qingyun Sword Sect, Mirror Hidden Peak. As soon as Qu Tian landed, he called Yue Jiangxin's name toward the gate. Seeing that no one responded, Qu Tian thought, senior sister Yu really is still in seclusion. But before he could step forward and knock, the gate was blasted open by violent spiritual power. Qu Tian instinctively thought something had happened to Yue Jiangxin. He quickly rushed into the courtyard, but then his expression froze. A stone slab carved with the word sword was floating quietly in the air. Qu Tian said in a trembling voice, "Such powerful sword intent." Yet he did not notice at all that a figure had already appeared behind him. "You saw it?" Yue Jiangxin's voice was icy cold, as if Kutian would be pierced through by a sword in the very next second. Kutian turned his head back while trembling and quickly explained that he had come under Hall Master Guyu's orders to invite senior sister Yu to participate in the Sect tournament. As soon as those words came out, little Yue Jiangxin's expression instantly changed, and she said happily, "So your senior brother Hua's junior brother." Then she looked at Kutian with an extremely gentle expression. "You didn't see anything just now, right?" Kutian had never experienced anything like this before. He immediately scrambled out of the residence, repeatedly saying that he had seen nothing. At this moment, little Yu Jiangxin pouted slightly and thought that she had been so focused on practicing swordsmanship that she did not even notice someone entering. Then the corners of her mouth lifted into a smile. "Senior brother Hua really is amazing. These past few days, I feel like my understanding of the sword Dao has improved again. If I had to fight Mo Xuan's blood puppet now, I could definitely cut it apart within 3 strikes. In these final few days, I'll comprehend this sword mark even more. When the time comes, I'll definitely make senior brother Hua see me in a new light." At this moment, Hua Qingyun was still angry and muttered, "That damn master of mine actually dared to threaten me." Then he fell into thought again. Using swordsmanship would expose his strength too easily. If he used these tools and magical treasures to win instead, even if he won, he would not receive special attention or be promoted. With these items, as long as he planned things a little, winning a few matches would be extremely easy. After thinking this, Hua Qingyun's attention was drawn to the equipment dropped by Ancestor Seiyun. The heaven-reaching jade also noticed Hua Qingyun's gaze, and red light immediately spread across its surface. It told Hua Qingyun that as long as he touched it, it could give him everything he wanted. "Come to me, come here." As Hua Qingyun listened to that voice, his expression gradually became irritated. In the next second, he slammed the heaven-reaching jade hard into the ground. The heaven-reaching jade first fell silent for a moment, then it flew back in front of Hua Qingyun in disbelief, shocked that he was actually unaffected by its temptation. Hearing this, Hua Qingyun looked at it with disdain. "You call that temptation? It's not even as annoying as a pop-up ad." Then he asked what exactly this thing was. Suddenly, demonic light surged around the heaven-reaching jade. "This lord is a heavenly demon from the demon realm, Lord Tongtian." After hearing the heaven-reaching jade's title, Hua Qingyun looked even more unimpressed and said he had never heard of it. The heaven-reaching jade was furious and told Hua Qingyun, "Back then, this lord descended into this world together with the demon lord. After the demon lord left, this lord remained here. In terms of status, every cultivator in the Kangyuan realm should respectfully call me lord." "Oh, so you're an abandoned pawn." Hua Qingyun's words were like a knife stabbing straight into the heaven-reaching jade's heart, instantly shattering its ego. The heaven-reaching jade shouted that if Hua Qingyun had the guts, he should inject spiritual power into it and say that to its face. Hua Qingyun did not respond. Instead, he asked, "So there's a secret treasure space inside the heaven-reaching jade? What's wrong, brat? Are you afraid to come in?" As soon as the heaven-reaching jade finished speaking, Hua Qingyun's finger had already touched the surface of the jade. He said, "Why wouldn't I dare?" In the next second, Hua Qingyun arrived in a void made of stars. The heaven-reaching jade's voice echoed around him. It transformed into a giant purple face and stared at Hua Qingyun. "Humans really are foolish. You actually dared to come in." Suddenly, a giant blue hand grabbed it. Hua Qingyun said calmly, "I came in. So what?" After living for so long, who didn't care about dignity? Even though it was already sweating bullets, the heaven-reaching jade still talked tough. It said that unless Hua Qingyun could grasp the laws of the Great Tao, he would not be able to harm it at all. But before it could finish speaking, the heaven-reaching jade's pupils suddenly widened. Hua Qingyun's entire body was now wrapped in spiritual energy as he said calmly, "Well, what a coincidence. When it comes to the laws of the Great Tao, I happen to understand just a tiny bit." A gentle breeze blew through the leaves, making them rustle, and Hua Qingyun reappeared in the courtyard. He smiled. "I didn't expect such a great windfall this time." Just now, he and the heaven-reaching jade had become close brothers who trusted each other with their lives, and the heaven-reaching jade had even voluntarily shared all of its treasures with him. After putting away his good brother, Hua Qingyun yawned. "There are still 2 days before the Sect tournament. I should take this chance to rest properly." However, inside a certain cave, a man wearing the robes of the Qingyun Sword Sect was kneeling before a mirror. The figure inside the mirror asked him what his chances were in this Sect tournament. The man replied, "With the secret treasure granted by my lord, entering the top 5 should not be a problem." The figure responded, "Good. Thanks to your intel earlier, I was able to recover the Blood Soul Pearl." Hearing this, the man became emotional. "If my lord had not saved me back then, I would not be alive today. I am willing to go through fire and water for you." Seeing how obedient the man was, the figure said that once he obtained a spot in the prodigy gathering, he would take him away from the Qingyun Sword Sect. The man's gaze became firm. He declared that no matter what price he had to pay, he would complete his mission. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. Wen Jin stood on the high platform and said, "This tournament is not only a test of your cultivation over the years, but also a way to select the strongest disciples of our King Yun sword sect. Unlike previous years, in this battle, talismans, pills, spiritual treasures, formations, and other external methods may all be used. What you need to do is defeat your opponent and obtain a higher ranking. But no matter who you are, you must not intentionally harm your fellow disciples. The hall masters of each peak and all the elders will be watching the battles to prevent disciples from suffering serious injuries." After Wen Jin finished speaking, he waved his hand. Blue starlight flickered in the air. Finally, it transformed into jade tablets and flew into the crowd. Shen Weiren looked at the jade tablet in his hand and froze slightly. Jia won. This meant he would be the first disciple to fight in Arena Jia. A short while later, the tournament officially began. Countless sword lights appeared across the platforms. It was not until dusk that Hua Qingyun finally returned to the tournament grounds. At this moment, it happened to be the final match between the inner disciples, with Yang Tai of Moon Spirit Hall facing Shen Weiren of Wind Spirit Hall. At this moment, Shen Weiren held his sword in one hand, his robes gently fluttering in the wind. Hua Qingyun looked at that figure and smiled with satisfaction. Not bad. Junior brother Weiren actually made it to the finals. At the same time, Shen Weiren and Yang Tai had already completed their first exchange. Hua Qingyun instantly saw that Yang Tai's cultivation was at the 5th level of the Spirit Palace realm. That was a full level higher than Shen Weiren. Although a difference of just one minor realm can be completely overwhelming, Junior brother Weiren's swordsmanship was extremely refined, comparable to a core disciple's. Clearly, he had already comprehended a trace of sword intent. Hua Qingyun had only casually taught Shen Weiren a few sword techniques, yet he had already gained such understanding and reached this level. His talent was definitely not low. If he performed well, he might even be accepted by Hallmaster Feng Tianliang as a core disciple. While Hua Qingyun was thinking, the match on stage had already reached its final stage. Yang Tai said calmly, "Junior brother Zin, let's end the probing here. We'll decide the winner with one move." In contrast, Shen Weiren was breathing heavily, but he still said, "That's exactly what I was thinking." Immediately after, a blue talisman appeared in front of Yang Tai's chest, releasing threads of spiritual lightning. The watching disciples cried out in shock. "That's a soul-gathering, spirit-burning talisman. It can burn one's spiritual power and divine sense for a short time to unleash maximum explosive power. Senior brother Yang is actually willing to use a 4th-grade talisman like that. He's really going all in." At the same time, Shen Weiren also took out a pill. Then he swallowed it without hesitation. Although the Keyburst pill was only a 3rd-grade pill, in terms of effect, it could be considered the perfect substitute for the soul-gathering spirit-burning talisman. Seeing Shen Weiren's aura surge just like his own, Yang Tai still showed no panic. "Junior brother Zin, be careful." Shen Weiren said nothing and gathered all his spiritual power onto his sword. In an instant, the two forces of spiritual power intertwined wildly on the stage. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun said calmly, "The outcome has already been decided." As soon as he finished speaking, a violent explosion rang out. The shockwave from the explosion blew away all the smoke and dust on the stage. Shen Weiren was holding his sword with one hand to support himself against the ground as he said softly, "I lost." As for Yang Tai, although he could still stand, the blood flowing from the corner of his mouth already said a lot. He looked at Shen Weiren and said, "If our realms were equal, I would definitely have been the one to lose." Shen Weiren raised his head and asked, "Really?" In his heart, he thought of Hua Qingyun. If not for senior brother Hua's guidance, even if he spent his entire life, he might never have reached this level of understanding in the Sword Dao. Wen Jin looked at the two of them and sighed inwardly. Both were promising talents. He told Fairy Uxin beside him, "Both of them have the qualifications to become core disciples. I'll trouble you." Red spiritual power wrapped around Fairy Uxin's fingertips as she replied calmly, "This is my duty." In the next second, the injuries of Shen Weiren and Yang Tai on the stage recovered at a visible speed, and so did their spiritual power. At this moment, the presiding elder nearby asked, "Yang Tai, as the first-ranked inner disciple, which core disciple do you wish to challenge?" Yang Tai said calmly, "I want to challenge Hua Qingyun of Flowing Cloud Hall." Everyone understood his choice. Who didn't know Hua Qingyun, the famous last-ranked core disciple? Now the strongest inner disciple was challenging the weakest core disciple. This was going to be interesting. Hua Qingyun also arrived on the arena and casually said, "It's my turn already?" Out of courtesy, Yang Tai cupped his fist toward him. "Senior brother Hua, please guide me." But as soon as he finished speaking, Shen Weiren suddenly grabbed his shoulder from behind and said seriously, "Take care." Seeing this, Yang Tai felt rather confused. Hua Qingyun, of course, understood what Shen Weiren meant. Yang Tai told Hua Qingyun that he had heard of his name long ago. Hua Qingyun thought Yang Tai might secretly be one of his admirers. But unexpectedly, Yang Tai said, To be honest, I'm very disappointed in your behavior. We inner disciples devote ourselves to the Tao. In order to become core disciples, we cultivate day and night, never daring to slack off for even a moment. Hua Qingyun felt rather helpless after hearing this. He could almost guess what Yang Tai was about to say next. Sure enough, familiar words rang out. But as a core disciple, you follow this so-called 9-to-5 lifestyle and never cultivate properly. Even outside cultivation time, you waste huge amounts of time slacking off. With such lazy behavior, you are not worthy of staying in the Qingyun Sword Sect. I will defeat you and become the new core disciple. Aside from the last sentence, it sounded exactly like an elder had personally arrived. Hua Qingyun chuckled. I didn't expect my 9-to-5 lifestyle to make you hate me this much. Seeing that Hua Qingyun was ready, Yang Tai stopped wasting words and charged straight at him with his sword. However, as Hua Qingyun chanted an incantation, a red barrier instantly wrapped around his entire body. Yang Tai's full power slash landed, but it could not harm him in the slightest. Seeing this, the disciples below the stage cried out in shock. In contrast, Elder Dong Gang stood up and cursed loudly. Disciples of the Qingyun Sword Sect enter the Tao through the sword, cutting through all obstacles. The way of the sword is the way of killing and conquest. Look at Hua Qingyun hiding inside a talisman barrier like a turtle. How is this the behavior of a sword cultivator? He has completely disgraced the Qingyun Sword Sect. Gu Yu said calmly, Hallmaster Dong, are you saying that disciples of the Qingyun Sword Sect may only cultivate the path of killing and are not allowed to have any sense of defense? If everyone were as reckless as you, the Qingyun Sword Sect would have been destroyed long ago. Hearing this, veins bulged on Dong Gang's face as he questioned what Gu Yu meant by that. Suddenly, Wen Jian's voice rang out, stopping the two before they could start arguing. He said that since Hua Qingyun chose to do this, he naturally had his reasons. As long as he could win, what was wrong with it? Like most people, Yang Tai was furious when he saw that Hua Qingyun, a core disciple, was hiding inside a talisman formation. His anger only grew stronger. He directly accused Hua Qingyun, saying that this behavior was no different from a turtle hiding in its shell. However, his sword did not strike the talisman formation. Instead, Hua Qingyun caught it firmly between two fingers. Hua Qingyun told him, since you want to face me head-on so badly, I'll give you that chance. This scene instantly made the disciples who had been thinking about going home to sleep regain some interest. As for Sin Weiren, he silently mourned for Yang Tai for 3 seconds. At the same time, the anger on Yang Tai's face gradually disappeared. He cupped his fist toward Hua Qingyun and apologized for what he had said earlier. Hua Qingyun smiled and said that such a small matter naturally did not bother him. Spiritual power wrapped around Yang Tai's sword, and tiny flying swords circled around him. With a serious expression, he said, then please guide me, senior brother. As soon as he finished speaking, a talisman appeared in Hua Qingyun's hand, and wisps of destructive aura emanated from it. The disciples cried out in shock, because this was a talisman they had never seen before. Immediately after, an unbelievable scene occurred. The fireball that had been circling around the talisman suddenly expanded hundreds of times in size. The sword light collided fiercely with the fireball, but the sword light shattered into pieces in an instant. Yang Tai's pupils shrank in shock. There's still more than half of its power left? How is that possible? However, Hua Qingyun did not give Yang Tai any chance to react. Under his control, the fireball quickly gathered into a long flaming dragon. Seeing this, Yang Tai shouted, I'll risk it all. He spat a mouthful of blood onto his sword. The blood dyed the blade red, and blood-colored flames began to burn from it. Yang Tai swung the flames on his sword with all his strength, trying to block the attack. In an instant, the two different flames collided, but the blood-colored flames collapsed immediately, and Yang Tai was swallowed by Hua Qingyun's fire. A violent explosion rang out. A pale, half-naked figure was blasted straight off the stage. Yang Tai's eyes were blank, and white smoke kept rising from his mouth. Clearly, he had not yet recovered from the explosion. This scene immediately caused a commotion among the female disciples below the stage. After coming back to his senses, Yang Tai quickly ran back to his residence with his bare backside exposed. His miserable state also frightened the inner disciples who had originally wanted to challenge Hua Qingyun, making them tremble one by one. Looking at that pale, half-naked figure from behind, Hua Qingyun felt that he might have gone a little too far and hoped he had not left the poor guy with psychological trauma. With Hua Qingyun's victory, it was now time for Sin Weiren, the second-ranked inner disciple, to choose his opponent. However, Sin Weiren did not immediately choose an opponent. Instead, he came before Hua Qingyun and said that his battle just now had been beautiful. Hua Qingyun did not say much. He simply patted Sin Weiren on the shoulder and told him to do his best. After thinking for a while, Sin Weiren chose to challenge senior brother Lin, the third from last core disciple. Unlike Hua Qingyun, this senior brother Lin was not calm at all. His face was already full of nervousness. However, just as the match began, Gu Yu's voice reached Hua Qingyun, telling him to come over. Hua Qingyun didn't waste any time. He quickly arrived beside his master. But what awaited him were the strange gazes of the elders. Gu Yu asked him about the origin of the attack talisman he had used at the end. Hua Qingyun had already prepared an explanation for this question back on the day he borrowed those treasures. So he said, "This disciple once obtained the inheritance of a senior in a certain secret realm. And that was how I comprehended this 100-flame dragon talisman. The power this talisman can release is closely connected to the spiritual power of the user." Although the elders gave off a highly imposing vibe, their insight was still far below Hua Qingyun's, who had already become a landsword immortal. Since none of them could understand it, then it must be an ancient inheritance. Just as Hua Qingyun thought the matter was over, an angry shout suddenly rang out. "Hua Qingyun!" Hua Qingyun looked over calmly. "Hallmaster Dong, do you have any guidance for me?" Dong Ging said coldly, "As a disciple of the Qingyun sword sect, the methods you used were all talismans and formations. Isn't that somewhat unfair?" Hua Qingyun did not care at all. "How is that unfair? Since this sect tournament does not restrict the use of external items, then these methods of mine are naturally allowed within the rules." Then he sneered. Or is Hallmaster Dong questioning the rules set by the sect master? Hua Qingyun had barely started being sarcastic when Wen Jin interrupted with an angry shout. "Enough! Hallmaster Dong! Qingyun, since this talisman came from an inheritance you obtained in a secret realm, we will not ask further. You may go down for now. Work hard in the following matches." Hearing this, Hua Qingyun was overjoyed. As expected, the tea leaves he had given over the years had not gone to waste. After Shin Weiren, the second-ranked inner disciple, failed his challenge against the third-from-last core disciple, the tournament officially shifted from inner disciples to core disciples, and the second match instantly ignited the entire crowd. That was because Hua Qingyun heard a familiar name. His little fangirl, the sect's chief disciple, Yu Jianxin of Mirror Hidden Hall, had reached the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. Among all the core disciples, she was the youngest, yet her cultivation was the highest. Her opponent was also a highly popular beauty within the sect, Kuyan of Illusory Moon Hall, at the 4th level of the Purple Mansion realm. Kuyan spoke softly. "Junior Sister Yu, it has already been a year since our last exchange." Yu Jianxin replied. "Senior Sister Ku, I hope you've been well," Kuyan said. "Last time, we exchanged 133 moves, and I lost by a single sword strike. Since then, I have cultivated bitterly, and my strength is no longer what it was." Kuyan leaped into the air and unleashed Illusory Moon sword art, stars. Several phantom images instantly formed an encirclement. Yu Jiangxin remained silent below the stage, her eyes cold as her sword stood before her. The moment she drew her sword, the cry of the blade rang through heaven and earth. Before the disciples could even react, she had already leaped down from the stage. Behind her, only several fading phantoms remained, along with spiritual sword marks that seemed capable of cutting through the world. In the blink of an eye, the Illusory Moon sword technique was completely shattered. 1 year ago, the two of them had exchanged 133 moves. Today, Yu Jianxin shattered Kuyan's sword technique with a single strike. Kuyan directly admitted defeat. As for Yu Jianxin, her heart remained completely calm. She only wanted to hurry back and continue studying the sword intent on that floor tile. Yet this casual strike in Yu Jianxin's eye shocked all the elders of the sect. Was that just now the embryonic form of the sword Great Tao? That's right. It definitely was. How old is Jiang Xin? She probably hasn't even cultivated for 20 years. With talent like this, her future is limitless. The so-called embryonic form of the sword, Great Tao, referred to the sword Great Tao among the 3,000 Great Taos. In the entire Kangyuan realm, there were tens of thousands of 9th-level Purple Mansion cultivators, but those who could comprehend a Great Tao, fully integrated, and step into the Ascension realm were extremely rare. If she was carefully nurtured, then the Qingyun sword sect would truly have someone to carry its future. Compared to the sect elders, Hua Qingyun, who had guided Yue Jinshin in the Tao, saw things even more clearly. After she slashed out that sword, she followed with 23 continuous strikes that destroyed the spiritual energy drawn into Kuyan's sword technique. Thinking of this, even Hua Qingyun could not help sighing. Just by relying on a sword mark he had left behind, she had comprehended the embryonic form of the sword Great Tao. Junior Sister Yu almost had 1/3 of his talent. After more than a dozen matches, Hua Qingyun could not help feeling sleepy. Can we even finish today? It's almost my clock-out time. Unexpectedly, the presiding elder called his name this time. Next, disciple number 23. Please step forward. Guan Shanyue of Flowing Cloud Hall versus Hua Qingyun of Flowing Cloud Hall. When Hua Qingyun's name was called, everyone could not help thinking of that bizarre match from earlier. But when Hua Qingyun heard that his opponent was Guan Shanyu, the so-called disgrace among core disciples, he became even more annoyed. From the moment Guan Shanyue appeared to the moment he landed, he did not give Hua Qingyun a friendly look. Guan Shanyue was at the 2nd level of the Purple Mansion realm, and his identity was the second disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall. Guan Shanye was not only the 13th ranked prodigy of the sect, but also Hua Qingyun's senior brother from the same hall. Although he was a fellow disciple, for the sake of preventing the junior sister heroine from being killed off by his master, the moment Hua Qingyun landed, he directly activated a defensive talisman. Seeing this, Guan Shanyu became even angrier. From the day I joined Flowing Cloud Hall, I made up my mind to revive it and turn it into the #1 hall of the Qingyun Sword Sect. I have always been strict with my junior brothers because I hoped every disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall would cultivate hard and contribute to our hall. But then you appeared, Hua Qingyun. One rotten apple dragging down the entire Flowing Cloud Hall. Hua Qingyun could not help being shocked. This senior brother's obsession with raising successful juniors was even stronger than his master's. So he said, "Senior brother Guan, I admire your spirit, but you cannot force your will onto me. A 9-to-5 life is my personal principle, not laziness. You should know that besides cultivation and work, there are many other meaningful things in life worth pursuing and experiencing. This is something I only understood after paying a painful price." I hope you can understand. But how could Guan Shanyu know about Hua Qingyun's past? To him, this sounded like nothing more than an excuse to slack off. Today, I will break your talisman formation and make you understand that the Qingyun Sword Sect uses the body to wield the sword and enters the Tao through the sword. The sword Tao is the ultimate goal we disciples should pursue. In an instant, an iceberg rose from the arena. The sheer power made the spectators cry out in shock. The power of this strike is comparable to the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. This made everyone instinctively believe that Hua Qingyun, who was only in the Spirit Palace realm, would definitely be taken out by this strike. After all, surviving until now was already pure luck. But in the next second, cracking sounds rang out as the iceberg began to collapse, revealing a smiling face behind it. Hua Qingyun smiled and said, "As expected of senior brother Guan, the power of that strike was indeed beyond my expectations." At the same time, Sin Weiren below the stage gained a new understanding of Hua Qingyun's strength. Even Guan Shanyu on the stage couldn't stop a drop of cold sweat from rolling down his cheek. My full power accumulated strike only shattered his talisman formation and failed to injure him at all? In the end, Guan Shanyu still denied the possibility that Hua Qingyun's cultivation was higher than his. After all, no matter how strong Hua Qingyun was, could he really hide his cultivation in front of the sect master and all the elders? Junior brother Hua, I admit that your talisman defense is powerful, but now that it has disappeared, do you want to face me directly or surrender? Hua Qingyun did not answer immediately. Only when talismans flew out from his sleeve did he speak. I would like to surrender directly, but unfortunately, I have to win this round. Guan Shanyu said disdainfully, "If your talisman formation can be broken once, it can be broken a second time." But before he could continue speaking, another drop of cold sweat rolled down his face. That was because countless talismans were now flying around Hua Qingyun. That talisman formation just now was only the basic version. This is the complete version. Countless talismans quickly intertwined, forming an entirely new talisman formation. Staring at the formation before him, even someone as strong as Guan Shanyu could not help feeling a deep sense of helplessness. The other disciples below the stage immediately cursed. This guy is definitely using pay-to-win hacks, right? However, Guan Shanyu did not forfeit. Instead, he gritted his teeth. Then he unleashed a full-power sword strike at Hua Qingyun. That sword strike looked overwhelmingly powerful, but the moment it touched the defensive barrier, it was like an insect trying to shake a tree. It had no effect at all. Seeing this, the elders were full of confusion. With Hua Qingyun's Spirit Palace realm cultivation, where did he get this much spiritual power? As Hua Qingyun's master, Gu Yu saw things even more clearly and immediately understood the trick. From the very beginning, Hua Qingyun had used a basic talisman formation for protection and deliberately avoided revealing the complete version, baiting Guan Shanyu into using a full power attack. After Guan Shanyu consumed a large amount of spiritual power, Hua Qingyun then brought out the complete talisman formation, so he no longer needed to worry about Guan Shanyu breaking through it. Could it be that everything had been within his calculations? When Gu Yu looked at Hua Qingyun again, a smile appeared on his face. For the sake of our agreement, Qingyun is actually working this hard for once. As his master, I'm truly pleased. On the stage, Guan Shanyu was already drenched in sweat, his eyes filled with unwillingness and frustration. During the fight, he had tried many different methods and angles, yet even after exhausting his spiritual power, he had still failed to affect Hua Qingyun in the slightest. In the end, Guan Shanyu could only roar unwillingly, "I admit defeat." Looking at Guan Shanyu's expression, Hua Qingyun also felt a little guilty. If not for his agreement with his master, he would have surrendered to this senior brother without hesitation. So he cupped his fists and bowed. "Senior brother Guan, thank you for the match. Although Guan Shanye still looked disgusted, he nevertheless told Hua Qingyun the weakness of his talisman formation. With the strength of this formation, any cultivator above the 3rd level of the Purple Mansion realm can break it by focusing their attack on a single point. The same method won't work a second time against the other disciples. Hearing this, Hua Qingyun cupped his fists again. Thank you for your guidance, Senior Brother Guan. Although this Senior Brother Guan was usually a little too strict, he was actually quite decent toward others. However, rankings were nothing but trouble to Hua Qingyun. In this life, he only wanted to live peacefully and plainly. But just as he stepped down from the arena, he heard the surrounding disciples mocking him. It was nothing more than comments about how, as a disciple of the Qingyuan sword sect, he had not even used a single sword strike. But he had expected all of this long ago, so it did not matter at all. At this moment, Yue Jinjin, who had been floating in the air, could not help muttering, "Why did Senior Brother Hua start using talismans?" But before she could think too deeply, a senior sister who had come to get close to her interrupted. As soon as this senior sister opened her mouth, she said that Hua Qingyun's victory was not honorable. Yu Jiangxin immediately felt a trace of anger. "Senior Sister Luo, how can you say that? For this competition, the sect master already set the rules. No methods are restricted. As long as one can win, it is allowed. Senior Brother Hua won with his own ability. How is that dishonorable?" This senior sister Luo Jie had originally just wanted to make small talk to get closer to Yu Jianxin. Now that she had been shut down so bluntly, she could only force herself to argue back. But as a disciple of the Qingyuan sword sect, not using even one sword technique is still going too far, isn't it? As one of the people who knew Hua Qingyun's true strength, Yue Jiangxin said with complete confidence, "Who said the Qingyuan sword sect must only enter the Tao through the sword? As far as I know, the second elder entered the Ascension realm through the Tao of Wind. As for why Senior Brother Hua didn't draw his sword, it's because no one can force him to draw it." Luo Xia, standing beside her, found this completely unbelievable. After all, as the chief disciple of the sect, Yue Jiangxin had always been harsh and rarely spared a glance for lazy disciples. Yet when it came to Hua Qingyun, the sect's #1 slacker, she was actually defending him. Thinking of this, Luo Xia seemed to smell a hint of gossip, but before she could think further, an angry shout came from the arena. "Zhao Rui, how could you be so vicious?" Even Hua Qingyun, who had just fallen asleep, was woken up by the shout, because on the arena, a disciple was lying there with a sword piercing through his body, and the one who had attacked was Zhao Rui, one of the core disciples of Flowing Cloud Hall. He was ranked 33rd on the Prodigy ranking. Hua Qingyun initially thought it was an accident during the match. Perhaps a fellow disciple had been accidentally injured, but then he smelled a familiar trace of demonic energy on Zhao Ru. Talk about forcing the main plot forward. Although in past sect tournaments there had been cases where disciples exhausted themselves to death in pursuit of victory. A case like this, where someone clearly stronger than the opponent still accidentally killed a fellow disciple, had almost never happened. Most of the time, the watching hall masters and executive elders could intervene in time to save them. No one expected an accident to happen today. This incident undoubtedly cast a shadow over all the disciples, and in the following matches, almost everyone pulled their punches. Time passed quickly, and before long, night had arrived. The first round of matches had also ended, and next came the draw for the second round. After hearing Wen Jin's announcement, Hua Qingyun looked at the jade tablet in his hand. "As long as I win this match, I'll enter the top 20. That way, I'll complete my agreement with Master. After that, I only need to naturally lose in the third round and leave the stage." However, the first match of the second round featured Zhao Rui, the one who had just gravely injured a fellow disciple. Fortunately, his opponent was not weak either. It was Yun Xiucheng, the 5th-ranked prodigy of the sect, chief disciple of Starcloud Hall, and a 4th-level Purple Mansion cultivator. Yun Xiucheng said calmly, "Zhao Rui, before today, I did not know you. To be precise, aside from the top 10 on the prodigy ranking, I never paid attention to anyone else. Kolme, since you are a newcomer, I will allow you to make the first move." After he said this, the female disciples below the stage immediately cheered for him, their shy excitement impossible to hide. Seeing this, the corner of Hua Qingyun's mouth twitched. Confidence is a good thing, but be careful. Trying to act cool can easily blow up in your face. Zhao Rui on the stage could not help sneering. Hehe. Then please be careful, senior brother. However, his sword strike exceeded everyone's expectations. Not only was it so fast that Yun Xiucheng could barely defend, but its power was also shockingly great. Yun Xiucheng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. "It seems I underestimated you a little." As for Zhao Rui, he was surprised that Yun Xiucheng was still standing on the arena. Hua Qingyun saw through the trick at a glance. Yun Xiucheng looked arrogant, but he was actually extremely sharp. Since he had prepared in advance, he used the Star Cloud sword art to release spiritual power across the sky and detonate it in midair. That was how he blocked most of the power from that sword strike. Although Yun Xiucheng looked slightly battered, there was still a smile on his face. Not bad. but I've already figured out your style. Star Cloud Sword Art. Sea of Stars. As Yin Xiucheng swung his sword, the stage was instantly covered in flaming flowers wrapped in sword energy. However, in the next second, black sword lights shot into the sky, one after another. They completely scattered his sword technique. Seeing Zhao Rui counterattack even under his ultimate move, Yin Xiucheng's eyes showed a trace of surprise, but it was only surprise. Yet that counterattack, which he did not take too seriously, directly broke through his defense. Yin Xiucheng cursed inwardly. What the hell? This sneaky bastard was hiding his strength. Just like that, Yin Xiucheng, the 5th-ranked prodigy of the sect, knew he could no longer hold on. He directly admitted defeat, acknowledging that he had lost to a previously unknown disciple. But unexpectedly, Zhao Rui's move was just like in the first match. He showed no intention of holding back and struck Yin Xiucheng directly. Yin Xiucheng was blasted heavily to the ground. He stared at the blood in his hand in disbelief. As for Zhao Rui, who had defeated him, he only said lightly, "Good match, senior brother." Whether it was the disciples below the stage or the elders and hall masters above, everyone was starting to lose their composure. That was because Zhao Rui's sword strike just now was already comparable to the 8th level of the Purple Mansion realm. Gu Yu also felt that Zhao Rui's killing intent was too heavy. That sword strike was extremely fast. Even they might not have had time to save Yin Xiucheng. If the strike had gone just 1 inch further, Yin Xiucheng would have been reduced to ashes. Hua Qingyun, however, saw every change in that sword strike clearly. Zhao Rui had truly intended to kill Yin Xiucheng just now. He had only pulled his strike at the last possible second. Immediately after, Hua Qingyun thought of the trace of demonic energy on Zhao Rui. Could this Zhao Rui really be colluding with the demon sect? But then he thought about it again. Even if Zhao Rui was colluding with them, it should not be a big deal. Hua Qingyun refused to believe that a mere Purple Mansion cultivator could stir up any real trouble in front of a 5th-level Ascension Sect master. No matter what, this should not be something he needed to worry about. But just as he was about to keep slacking off, the presiding elder called his name. Next match, Tong Zhan of Langson Hall versus Hua Qingyun of Flowing Cloud Hall. When Hall Master Dong heard that Hua Qingyun was going on stage, he immediately looked at Gu Yu beside him and said sarcastically, "It seems this disciple of yours will stop here." However, this time, Gu Yu did not refute him. After all, Hua Qingyun was only at the 8th level of the Spirit Palace realm, while Tong Zhan was at the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. The outcome seemed obvious. Hua Qingyun cupped his fists and said, "Senior brother Tong Zhan, please guide me." Tong Zhan looked down on Hua Qingyun. Someone who only made it this far by relying on a few lousy talismans thinks he deserves my guidance? But he had no idea that Yu Xiangxin, the one who defeated him in the previous tournament, was now Hua Qingyun's little fangirl and half a disciple. Unaware of this, Tong Zhan believed that among the sect disciples, only 3 people were worth his effort. Zhang Du ranked 3rd on the prodigy ranking, Zhao Tianlu ranked 2nd, and Yu Jianxin ranked 1st. So when he saw Hua Qingyun raise a talisman formation, Tong Zhan directly told him to surrender. "With your ability, you don't deserve to fight me." Hua Qingyun ignored his provocation. "How will we know without trying?" Tong Zhan attacked immediately. "A turtle shell that can't move like this? I can break it with 1 strike." Even the elders on the platform felt that the outcome had already been decided. Unexpectedly, Hua Qingyun actually flew into the air together with the entire talisman formation. This instantly stunned both Tong Zhan and Dong Ging, who had looked down on him. Yu Jiangxin was also shocked by this scene. That was because talisman formations needed to connect with the power of heaven and earth. Once they left the ground, they would normally disperse on their own. Yet her senior brother Hua had actually turned the talisman formation into a talisman sphere, allowing it to move flexibly. Yu Jiangxin had always been a competitive girl, and deep down, she still had a tiny thought of surpassing Hua Qingyun one day. But now, it seemed completely hopeless. Aside from the sword Dao, this senior brother of hers had talisman mastery that was just as unreachable. At this moment, on the arena, Tong Zhan struck again. Langson Sword Art, Binding Fang. Hua Qingyun also took out an attack talisman. Then he threw it straight at the flying sword. The moment the sword and talisman collided, a huge amount of smoke erupted, blocking everyone's vision. Meanwhile, inside the smoke, the scene was highly entertaining. 2 sneaky bastards were throwing hidden weapons at each other like crazy. But Hua Qingyun had the talisman formation protecting him, while Tong Zhan did not. So Tong Zhan was the one who got hit. He cursed angrily. "You despicable bastard! You actually used hidden weapons to ambush me." Hua Qingyun played with the hidden weapon Tong Zhan had thrown and said with a grin, "This move of mine is called Heavenly Maiden Scattering Method from the Flowing Cloud Sword Art. It is a proper sword technique, perfectly fair and honorable." When Gu Yu heard Hua Qingyun's words, Gu Yu's face instantly darkened. Why didn't he know that the Flowing Cloud Sword Art had such a technique? Hua Qingyun continued. "As for you, You actually used the smoke to throw so many ugly green hidden weapons. Isn't that kind of sneak attack rather shameful? Very quickly, a proper match turned into a shouting match between the two, leaving the disciples below the stage speechless. On the other hand, Yue Jingxin looked at Hua Qingyun with admiration. Senior brother Hua even knows how to use hidden weapons? At the same time, Hall Master Dong, who liked mocking Hua Qingyun, finally received karma. Gu Yu said calmly, "Didn't Hall Master Dong say that disciples of the Qingyun sword sect should turn their bodies into swords and enter the Tao through the sword? Then why is Tong Zhan using external items as well?" And so, a scene of blatant double standards played out on the platform. Dong Gang snorted coldly. Tong Zhan is wholeheartedly pursuing victory. These external items are merely support. What truly determines the outcome is still swordsmanship. At this moment, Tong Zhan finally realized that he had fallen into Hua Qingyun's trap. This sneaky bastard kept talking to me just to confirm my position. But don't forget, you'll expose your position too, idiot. Langshan Sword Art, Binding Fang. This time, the flying sword successfully pierced Hua Qingyun's talisman formation. Dong Gang immediately stood up in excitement and shouted, "It's over!" In the next second, the pride on his face turned into shock. That was because several golden chains suddenly appeared around Tong Zhan, tightly binding him in place. Before Tong Zhan could react, Hua Qingyun was already holding a sword against his neck. Hua Qingyun said calmly, "Even against a 5th-level Purple Mansion cultivator, this formation can trap them for 30 breaths. There are still 10 breaths left. If you don't want to surrender, I can only make you suffer a little." As he spoke, the sword slowly pointed toward Tong Zhan's lower vital area. Tong Zhan clamped his legs together tightly and immediately admitted defeat. This match also ended with Hua Qingyun's victory. In the air, Zhao Tianlu and Zhang Du, ranked 2nd and 3rd on the Sect Prodigy ranking, watched Hua Qingyun defeat the 5th-level Purple Mansion Tong Zhan with only 8th-level Spirit Palace cultivation. Zhao Tianlu could not help sighing. If Hua Qingyun's cultivation were a little higher, even the two of us would have to take him seriously. Unexpectedly, Zhang Du's lips curled into a smile. His cultivation may not be as simple as it appears. Of course, the one who lost the most face was Dong Gang. Hua Qingyun, whom he looked down on, had made him look like a fool twice in a row. Now he could only stubbornly say, if Tong Zhan hadn't been careless, how could he possibly have lost? Soon, the next match began. It was Ye Jiangxin of Mirror Hidden Hall against Lan Shinui of Blue Moon Hall. Lan Xinyu, ranked 8th on the Prodigy ranking, was not weak at all, but he knew very well that he could not be Yu Jingxin's match. Still, as a sword cultivator, he could not retreat. Yu Jiangxin's expression remained calm. "Use your full strength and fight until the end." But before she could finish speaking, Lan Xinyue's aura suddenly changed, and the spiritual power inside his body surged wildly. "No. What I mean is, in order to win, I will use every method I have to defeat you, Junior Sister Yu." But Lan Xinyue's current state made the elders and hall masters break out in cold sweat, because for the sake of victory, he had actually taken a spirit-breaking, void-shattering pill. This pill could increase a cultivator's spiritual power by nearly 50%. But even if he won, so what? His foundation would be damaged because of it, unless he was trying to use this chance to enter the Tao through the sword and step into the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. To enter the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm, there was one necessary condition. One had to form an outline and concept of the Tao they cultivated. For sword cultivators, they first had to comprehend sword intent, then touch the embryonic form of the sword, Great Tao, based on that foundation. Countless cultivators were stuck at the 4th level of the Purple Mansion realm for their entire lives, unable to advance even an inch. Their number even surpassed those stuck between the 9th level of the Purple Mansion realm and the 1st level of the Ascension realm. After hearing Wen Jian's explanation, even Hua Qingyun had to admire Lan Xinyue's ruthlessness. For the sake of breaking through, he had truly gambled everything. However, when facing Lan Xinyue's full-power sword technique, Yu Jingxin did not even mobilize her spiritual power. Relying only on her sword intent, she broke it with a single strike. Seeing this, Lan Xinyue's eyelids twitched, but he didn't hesitate to unleash the talismans and hidden weapons in his hands, throwing everything at Yu Jiangxin. Yet Yu Jiangxin's movements remained casual. While blocking Lan Xinyue's attacks, she stepped through the air toward him. In just a few breaths, Lan Xinyu, who was supposed to be the attacker, was instead covered in sword marks. Just as he thought Yu Jiangxin was about to end the match, his attention was completely drawn to her sword posture. In the end, he subconsciously copied her and assumed the exact same stance. This scene made the elders on the platform completely unable to sit still. Yu Jiangxin is actually guiding Lan Xinyu in the sword Tao. Being able to do this means her understanding of the sword Tao is only one step away from ours. At the same time, Lan Xingyue lived up to expectations and directly broke through to the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. Yet he still wanted to swing his sword at Yue Jianxin again. In the next instant, an extremely fast sword light flashed. It directly knocked the sword out of his hand. Lan Xingyue could not even see Yue Jianxin's movement. "It's over." Yue Jianxin calmly said these words. The presiding elder immediately announced her victory. With tears in his eyes, Lan Xingyue expressed his gratitude to Yue Jianxin. However, Yue Jianxin's expression remained indifferent. "Senior brother, there is no need for such courtesy." But at that moment, several voices behind her suddenly began cursing Hua Qingyun. Yue Jianxin's aura quietly sharpened. The sword in her hand instantly flew out, pointing straight at the disciples behind Lan Xingyue. "What did you just say?" "Apologize to senior brother Hua." At this moment, Yue Jianxin's sword had already arrived in front of one of the disciples who had spoken badly about Hua Qingyun. She ordered that disciple to apologize to her senior brother in front of everyone. Seeing this, Hua Qingyun immediately felt that something was wrong. "Don't do unnecessary things for me." The disciple being pointed at by Yue Jianxin's sword quickly explained, "We were only commenting on Hua Qingyun's fighting style." Hearing this, little Yue Jianxin became furious. "You call that commenting? That was clearly slander. Although the Qingyun sword sect is based on the sword, before cultivating the sword, one should first cultivate the heart. Senior brother Hua may not have drawn his sword in battle, but his intelligence, along with his understanding and use of rules and tools, is far above yours. As for all of you, your own strength was lacking, and you were eliminated early. Yet because of jealousy and resentment, you tried to deny another person's results. With that kind of mindset, what right do you have to judge others?" As soon as these words came out, the disciples who had mocked Hua Qingyun earlier lowered their heads in shame. The other disciples also realized this point. Hua Qingyun had indeed not used swordsmanship, but his victory against higher-level opponents was real. If they envied their senior and junior brothers because of their own narrow-mindedness, that was truly disgraceful. Listening to the discussions around him, the disciple's face turned red with embarrassment. In the end, he closed his eyes and apologized loudly to Hua Qingyun. "We spoke some disrespectful words earlier. It was unintentional. Please do not take offense, junior brother Hua. It's fine. I don't mind." After saying this, Hua Qingyun felt extremely awkward. "Junior sister, what on earth are you playing at?" The situation in the square also entered the eyes of the elders. Gu Yu commented, "Although Yue Jianxin's strength far surpasses the others, she remains neither arrogant nor impatient. First, she used her own sword Dao to guide Lan Xingyue into improving his realm. Then she stood up for a disciple who was being slandered. This kind of mindset is the supreme sword heart that only a peerless sword immortal can possess." At the same time, little Yue Jianxin stepped through the air and told all the disciples, "From now on, if anyone dares to carelessly gossip about others again, don't blame me for being rude." Disciples of the Qingyun sword sect should cultivate their hearts, constantly polish their swordsmanship, and comprehend the sword Dao. Instead of wasting time gossiping about others, you should focus on cultivation. As soon as she finished speaking, she flew to Hua Qingyun's side in front of everyone. Then she asked, "Senior brother Hua, you don't mind if I stay here, right?" Hua Qingyun did not dare refuse. "If junior sister wants to stay here, I naturally have no objection." Seeing this, the male disciples were absolutely green with envy. Hua Qingyun transmitted his voice to little Yue Jianxin. "What are you doing?" In the next moment, little Yue Jianxin showed a clever expression and transmitted back, "This way, no one will dare speak badly about you behind your back again." Hearing this, Hua Qingyun was speechless. Who asked you to do something so unnecessary? Inwardly, he thought that the thing he hated most was drawing attention. After hearing this, little Yue Jianxin clenched her fists and said seriously, "The realm and strength I have today are all thanks to the stone slab senior brother gave me. Although you are indifferent to fame and don't care about your reputation, you have shown me great kindness. I cannot allow others to casually slander and insult you." Looking at her extremely serious little eyes, Hua Qingyun avoided her gaze and said, "Then why are you staying beside me? Go back to your original position." Inwardly, he thought, "If I had known this would happen, I never should have guided you." As soon as he finished speaking, a voice carrying a trace of longing echoed in his mind. Little Yue Jianxin's cheeks were slightly red as she transmitted her voice to Hua Qingyun. "Actually, there are some things I'm confused about, and I want to use this chance to ask senior brother for guidance." Hua Qingyun replied, "I'm not your master." Hearing this, little Yue Jianxin revealed a sly expression and transmitted her voice to Hua Qingyun. "If you don't want to teach me, I can't guarantee what I might do. When the time comes, what the other senior and junior brothers think will have nothing to do with me." As soon as she said this, Hua Qingyun realized she had him completely cornered. "Fine, you win. What's your question? Ask quickly and get back to your spot." While the two were secretly transmitting messages, Luo Xia's gaze never left them. She thought, Junior Sister Yu actually scolded other core disciples for Hua Qingyun. Could the two of them secretly be Dao companions? Junior Sister Yu is the #1 core disciple, yet she fell in love with Hua Qingyun, the last ranked one. To avoid gossip, they can only meet privately like this. Because she was too excited, Luo Xia accidentally said her thoughts out loud, and Qiu Yan behind her heard everything. Qiu Yan leaned close to her ear and whispered, "Now that I look carefully, their relationship really does seem unusual. They're even secretly transmitting messages. Who would have thought? This is some explosive gossip." After that, Luo Xia looked at Qiu Yan with a red face and told her she absolutely must not spread this around. If Senior Sister Yu and Senior Brother Hua found out, she would definitely be punished by the sect. Qiu Yan said seriously, "Of course. Trust your senior sister. My lips are sealed." 1 minute later, the gossip had completely blown up. "I heard this from another junior sister. You absolutely cannot tell anyone else." On the other side, little Yu Jianxin, the center of the gossip, was sitting cross-legged with a faint smile on her lips. Hua Qingyun, standing beside her, sighed inwardly. As expected of a cultivation maniac, being able to enter cultivation mode anytime, anywhere is honestly impressive. Time flew by. Hua Qingyun looked at the clock in his hand and thought, "That's enough for today. Time to clock out." The bright moon hung high in the sky. Inside the sect master's main hall, an elder knelt below Wen Jin. He reported that after his investigation, he had found 5 people whose movements were rather suspicious. Among them, the 3 most suspicious were all from Flowing Cloud Hall. They were Zhang Du, Zhao Rui, and Hua Qingyun. Gu Yu's voice instantly became furious. "Second elder, are you saying that the traitor is inside my Flowing Cloud Hall?" Tonight, the higher-ups of the Qingyun Sword Sect had gathered here precisely to find the traitor hidden within the sect. Gu Yu's ambush back then was already enough to prove that there was a mole among the disciples working for the demon sect. The sudden start of this sect tournament was not only to select the 5 disciples who would participate in the prodigy gathering, but also to use this chance to uncover the traitor among the disciples. Hearing this, Wen Jin said, "Hall Master Gu, please calm down. It is simply true that the probability of a traitor being in Flowing Cloud Hall is indeed very high. After all, the matter of me asking you to escort the Blood Soul Pearl that day was not disclosed to anyone else, and when you left, enough secrecy measures were taken. Yet even so, the matter was exposed to the demon sect. Don't you find that strange?" Seeing that Gu Yu no longer spoke, Wen Jin told the second elder to continue. The second elder said, "All 3 of them experienced sudden, massive increases in strength within this past year. First is Zhang Du, the chief disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall. 2 years ago, his cultivation was only at the 2nd level of the Purple Mansion realm. Not much different from the second disciple, Guan Shanyu. But in last year's sect tournament, he emerged as a dark horse, defeated powerful opponents one after another, and ranked 3rd on the prodigy ranking. According to him, he encountered a fortuitous opportunity, received guidance from an expert, and made rapid progress in swordsmanship. Next is Zhao Rui, a disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall. He had always been withdrawn and had average cultivation. 1 year ago, he was only ranked 33rd on the prodigy ranking. But in this sect tournament, his cultivation has suddenly surged to the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm, and he even seems capable of going toe-to-toe with Yu Jianxin. Aside from that, the sword technique he comprehended is also extremely powerful and strange, and he even showed killing intent. According to him, he also accidentally entered a secret realm and obtained a fortunate opportunity. Lastly, there is Hua Qingyun of Flowing Cloud Hall. On the surface, he seems the least suspicious, but in my opinion, he has the most secrets. From what I understand, ever since he became a core disciple 1 year ago, he has been lazy and barely cultivates. And whenever he leaves the sect to carry out missions, he is never gone for more than 2 days. In such a short amount of time, how did he obtain and master such exquisite knowledge of talismans and formations? Aside from that, I also discovered that Hua Qingyun has appeared in nearly every recent connection between the Qingyun Sword Sect and the Demon Sect. He was the one who eliminated the Demon Cloud Sect disciples and recovered the Blood Soul Pearl. According to the disciples present at the time, Ancestor Xieyun, a Purple Mansion elder of the Demon Sect, was also there. Yet after encountering Hua Qingyun, that elder disappeared for no reason. After that, he went out on a mission with Yu Jiangxin and encountered Demon Sect elder Mo Xuan in Yangyan Village, where Mo Xuan was creating the demon embryo. Hua Qingyun even saved 2 core disciples of the Purple Spirit Sect. Later, the sect master granted him 3 days of leave. Yet for some unknown reason, he went to Yangshin City and encountered the previously escaped Ancestor Xieyun there. As for this sect tournament, I believe everyone here has noticed it. Hua Qingyun used talismans and formations we have never seen before, relying on strategy and methods to defeat 2 powerful opponents in a row. I believe this disciple is definitely not as lazy as he appears. Instead, He is deeply calculating and very likely hiding something. In conclusion, among these disciples, Hua Qingyun is the most suspicious. Before he could finish speaking, two voices rang out at the same time. Hua Qingyun cannot be the traitor. This scene left the second elder stunned. Why did the sect master and hall master Gu suddenly become so in sync? At this moment, Lantong spoke. Is there a possibility that the Hua Qingyun known to the sect master and hall master Gu has already been possessed or controlled by the demon sect? Hearing this, Gu Yu immediately questioned what Lantong meant. Facing Gu Yu's questioning, Lantong showed no fear. Perhaps Hua Qingyun was possessed by a demon sect cultivator during one of his trips outside. That would explain everything that happened afterward. After hearing this, Gu Yu still refused to back down and told Lantong, I would rather believe that Hua Qingyun is a hidden expert who has sealed his own cultivation. Besides, if he truly was possessed by a demon sect cultivator, why would he bring the Blood Soul Pearl back to the sect? And why would he kill a demon sect elder in Yungan village? Your guesses and judgments about him are completely illogical. Suddenly, Old Dong said, then why not simply arrest all the suspicious disciples and interrogate them one by one? Wen Zhen immediately rejected his suggestion. No. If we act rashly, we may tip them off. What we truly need to investigate is the reason the demon sect planted a spy in our sect. Their goal is definitely not as simple as passing information. I have a feeling that what the demon sect truly wants to disrupt is this sect tournament of our Qingyun sword sect. The second elder was confused and asked what Wen Jin meant. Wen Jin told everyone, secretly adjust the draw. Since the demon sect has placed a spy inside our sect, we can use this chance to test them. Whether it is Zhang Du, Hua Qingyun, or Zhao Rui, arrange a match for each of them. I want to see exactly what the demon sect is planning. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hua Qingyun looked at little Xuanyin in confusion. You want me to bring you along to fight tomorrow? Hearing this, little Xuanyin nodded hard, her face full of anticipation. Hua Qingyun looked a little apologetic. I know you've been bored lately, little Xuanyin, but the sect tournament doesn't allow you to go on stage. After saying this, he rubbed her little head and told her, after I surrender tomorrow, and the tournament ends for me, I'll take you out to play. Little Xuanyin puffed up her cheeks and snorted. Then she suddenly seemed to discover something. She grabbed Hua Qingyun and pulled him outside. Soon, the two arrived in a forest. Hua Qingyun was confused and asked why she had brought him to the back mountain of Flowing Cloud Peak. Hearing this, little Xuanyin pointed at the patch of grass below. In the next moment, a strong wind howled, instantly sweeping the fallen leaves away. Hua Qingyun's expression changed in surprise. Why is there a formation flag here? From Hua Qingyun's observation, this formation flag was extremely high grade. It seemed to be used to block divine sense and create a sealed space. Although he could directly destroy the restriction, doing so would undoubtedly tip them off. He should not have gotten involved in this mess in the first place. If the sky fell, the sect master would be there to hold it up anyway. But judging from the arrangement of this formation flag, it seemed that the sect's grand formation had already been completely covered by similar flags. If the Qingyun sword sect really encountered a life and death crisis, Hua Qingyun's expression turned serious at that thought. How was he supposed to continue his peaceful 9-to-5 life then? After thinking for a moment, Hua Qingyun asked little Xuanyin how she had discovered this formation flag. After a surprisingly coherent round of body language communication, Hua Qingyun learned that little Xuanyin had seen someone bury it here while she was out, absorbing the essence of heaven and earth at night. Hua Qingyun asked, do you still remember what that person looked like? As soon as he said this, little Xuanyin began circulating her spiritual energy. Soon, a familiar face appeared before Hua Qingyun's eyes. Zhao Rui. As expected, it was him. Hua Qingyun had long suspected that little bastard, but removing the formation flag without being discovered would be extremely difficult. So Hua Qingyun decided to tamper with the formation flag instead. As long as Zhao Rui activated it, the method Hua Qingyun left behind would trace it back to the source and instantly shatter the formation. This way, he could kick back and slack off in peace. Suddenly, little Xuanyin looked at him excitedly. Hua Qingyun asked in confusion, you think you've made a contribution, so you want to go on stage and fight with me? Then Hua Qingyun pinched her chubby little cheek and told her, I already said that. According to the sect rules, you can't go on stage. Hearing this, little Xuanyin became very dissatisfied. She puffed up her cheeks and tugged at his sleeve. Then she held up a talisman paper and snorted. Hua Qingyun finally understood what she meant. You're saying that since talismans can be used, you can go on stage too? After saying that, his eyes suddenly widened. Then he looked at little Xuanyin with delight. That's right. Since this sect tournament doesn't restrict any methods, and talismans, formations, and spiritual tools can all be used, then using a spirit beast I raised to support me in battle shouldn't be a problem either, right? However, while little Xuanyin was happily circling around him because she could participate, Hua Qingyun awkwardly told her, but I'm planning to surrender tomorrow. Even if I bring you along, I won't be able to let you fight. The next morning, the Sect tournament proceeded as usual. Only one person had still not appeared. An elder frowned and asked, "Why hasn't Hwa Qingyun entered the stage yet?" As soon as these words came out, the disciples below the stage began whispering among themselves. They all said that Hwa Qingyun actually dared to miss such an important match. Old Dong stood up and cursed loudly. "That brat Hwa Qingyun! How dare he treat such an important match like a joke?" This time, Gu Yu did not refute him. Instead, he said awkwardly to Old Dong, "This disciple of mine has a habit. No matter the situation, he only starts carrying out missions or heading to the training field at the hour of say. Every time I scold him, he says things like 9 to 5, which I completely fail to understand. Right now, it is still the hour of Chen. I suspect he is still in his cave residence and has not managed to arrive yet. Anyone would be angry after hearing such a reason." Lan Tong, who was standing nearby, even suggested, "If Hwa Qingyun cares so little about the match, why not disqualify him directly?" Seeing that the situation was getting out of control, the second elder coughed twice and reminded everyone not to forget last night's plan. Hearing this, Wen Jin also spoke to calm the elders, saying that Elder Zhao should delay things for a while Gu Yu should quickly send someone to call Hwa Qingyun over. When Elder Zhao received the voice transmission, Elder Zhao's face instantly darkened. The sect master actually wants tens of thousands of disciples and more than 10 hall masters and elders to wait specifically for one disciple's personal habit. After thinking this, he could only awkwardly tell the disciples, "Since Hwa Qingyun has yet to arrive, please remain calm and wait patiently." As soon as these words came out, public anger erupted. Many disciples began shouting that there had to be something shady going on. Suddenly, an angry shout rang out. Little Yu Jiangxin stood perfectly straight. On the path of cultivation, everyone has their own obsession and their own Tao. Some people recite scriptures while cultivating. Some people use special postures to comprehend heaven and earth. Senior Brother Hua has his own Tao, so we should understand and accept it instead of blindly blaming him. If the 11 disciples on the stage are all willing to wait for Senior Brother Hua, then I hope everyone else can wait a little longer as well. After saying this, little Yu Jianshen cupped her fists and bowed to the 11 people behind her. Senior brothers and senior sisters, are you willing to wait for Senior Brother Hua to arrive before continuing the matches? The first to speak was Zhang Du. I think Junior Sister Yu makes a fair point. It's still early anyway. Waiting a little longer isn't a problem. The second to speak was Zhao Tianlu. My only target is Junior Sister Yu. Since Junior Sister has spoken, waiting a little longer is fine. Seeing that 2 of the top 3 prodigies had no objections, the others also said they did not mind. Seeing this, little Yu Jianshin was instantly delighted. She cupped her fists again to express her thanks. Suddenly, a cold snort rang out. I disagree. He's just an 8th level Spirit Palace cultivator who got here through dumb luck. Why should we waste our time waiting for him? Little Yu Jiangxin turned her head after hearing this. The one who had spoken was Wang Dao, ranked 12th on the prodigy ranking. She once again pleaded, hoping Wang Dao would give Senior Brother Hua a chance. But before she could finish, Wang Dao directly interrupted her. He told Yu Jiangxin that even if Hua Qingyun came, he was destined to be eliminated, so there was no need to wait for him. As soon as he finished speaking, a powerful impact instantly forced Wang Dao back. By the time he reacted, his face was already covered in cold sweat. At this moment, little Yu Jiangxin's eyes were flashing with a fierce light. Senior Brother Wang, are you still willing to wait for Senior Brother Hua? Feeling the killing intent surrounding him, Wang Dao immediately backed down. He weakly said that waiting a little longer was not a problem. Even so, many disciples were still dissatisfied with this decision. Only after an entire hour had passed did Hua Qingyun's figure finally appear before everyone. Judging from his face, he had clearly just woken up. As soon as he landed, Hua Qingyun noticed countless welcoming gazes around him. Even someone as thick-skinned as him could only cup his fists and apologize to everyone. He thought to himself that he was too used to his 9-to-5 lifestyle. This match had been moved up to the hour of Qin, and he had actually forgotten to set an alarm. However, the fact that the sect master had not disqualified him surprised him the most. Suddenly, Hua Qingyun noticed several female disciples in the crowd, secretly sizing him up. He thought, what's going on with these female disciples? Did my handsome face finally attract their attention? However, he had no idea that thanks to Ku Yan's enthusiastic promotion, he had already become the hottest topic in the female disciples' gossip circle. That's Senior Brother Hua Qingyun, the one Senior Sister Yu stood up for earlier. I heard the 2 of them are Tao companions. They could hardly believe that the cold sword-obsessed Senior Sister Yu would actually find a Tao companion. Another female disciple quickly told her to lower her voice. She had also heard that the 2 were afraid of being separated by the hallmasters, so they could only carry out an underground romance. It's exactly like the plot of the untold story between me and the ice-cold Senior Sister. Another female disciple felt it was more like the domineering senior sister fell for me, because she had heard that senior sister Yu was financially supporting that senior brother Hua. Although the entire King Yun sword sect was immersed in a cultivation atmosphere, for many disciples, some entertainment after cultivation was also essential. Note, the above were all early novels written by Gu Yu. If they did not find something to pass the time, they might very well suffer cultivation deviation, and their cultivation might regress instead of improving. For many female disciples, the way they passed time and calmed their Tao hearts was by reading novels. Before long, Wen Jian announced the start of the match. However, Hua Qingyun noticed that Wen Jian had tampered with the Jade tablets, and the first match was his. His opponent was Wang Dao, ranked 12th on the Prodigy ranking, but none of that mattered anymore. Hua Qingyun directly told Elder Zhao that he forfeited, but as soon as he said this, Wen Jian's voice rang out. Now that the Sect tournament is approaching its final stage, these 12 disciples are all outstanding disciples of our King Yun Sword Sect. I hope all of you can show your brilliance and confidence. With your strength, I'm sure none of you would be so afraid that you surrender before even fighting, right? Hua Qingyun's expression darkened. He thought, the Sect Master is clearly telling me I'm not allowed to forfeit. If I surrender without fighting, I'll definitely be condemned by public opinion and become the enemy of the entire sect. Thinking of this, Hua Qingyun could only grit his teeth and continue the match. Inwardly, he said, "Fine, Sect Master. Your tea leaves for this month are gone." Because of his previous 2 matches, the weakness of his talisman formation had already been discovered by the other disciples. Even though Wang Dao was only at the first level of the Purple Mansion realm, he still had the ability to break it. After Hua Qingyun performed some extremely subtle manipulation, Wang Dao casually used a few moves, and all of Hua Qingyun's talisman formations were broken. Just as he was about to lose the match and go home to slack off, the wooden tablet at his waist suddenly began to tremble. Wang Dao, who had originally been smiling, instantly froze. Hua Qingyun opened his eyes and looked over, equally confused. Wang Dao discovered that his body could no longer move at all. For a moment, even Hua Qingyun failed to understand what had happened, but very quickly, he saw clearly that the one who had attacked was little Xuanyin. As a divine beast, as long as little Xuanyin did not actively reveal herself, she would appear to others as nothing more than a gust of wind. Looking at the faint figure within the wind, Hua Qingyun was rather shocked. When did this little one follow me here? But soon he discovered that at some point, a wooden tablet made from 1,000-year locust wood had appeared at his waist. It was said that divine beasts like Xuanyin belonged to yin spirits and could reside within ancient wood to nourish their soul bodies. As for why little Xuanyin had appeared on him, Hua Qingyun guessed that she must have secretly hidden inside while he was sleeping last night. However, while Hua Qingyun was lost in thought, Wang Dao was the one suffering. Unaware of the truth, he thought the eerie wind in front of him was one of Hua Qingyun's formations. He was beaten by little Xuanyin until he had no ability to fight back. He could not even see how little Xuanyin was attacking him. Looking at the empty space behind him, Wang Dao felt a chill run through his entire body. He shouted and asked Hua Qingyun what exactly he had done. Hua Qingyun helplessly spread his hands. "I didn't do anything," he thought. Back when little Xuanyin faced Yue Qingwu and the other 2, she subdued them with absolute superiority. Her divine beast power can probably crush any cultivator below the 5th level of the Purple Mansion realm. Not to mention Wang Dao, who was only at the 1st level of the Purple Mansion realm. Little Xuanyin directly launched him into a mid-air juggle combo. This scene made the watching disciples' hair stand on end. What is that eerie wind? Why did senior brother Wang suddenly start flailing around like he's possessed? As soon as those words were spoken, little Xuanyin's combo slowed by half a beat, giving Wang Dao an opening. He shouted that he was going to fight Hua Qingyun with everything he had. However, little Xuanyin did not want to give him that chance, and directly used Granny's crotch-stitching strike. The strike nearly made Wang Dao lose consciousness on the spot. After crashing to the ground, Wang Dao said with extreme unwillingness that he surrendered. Only then did Hua Qingyun grab little Xuanyin and tell her to stop. But in the eyes of the other disciples, this scene looked extremely strange. Hua Qingyun asked little Xuanyin, "Didn't I tell you to stay properly in the cave residence? Why did you run out?" But as soon as he finished speaking, a pair of watery eyes appeared before him. Hua Qingyun's anger instantly disappeared, and he helplessly poked little Xuanyin's chubby cheek. "How did I end up bringing a naughty little troublemaker like you home?" At this moment, Wang Dao finally saw clearly what had attacked him. He loudly accused Hua Qingyun of cheating with a spirit beast, saying that 2 against 1 was unfair. As soon as these words came out, the disciples below the stage began discussing among themselves. Old Dong, who had always been biased against Hua Qingyun, directly cursed out loud. He said that Hua Qingyun had not used a single sword strike since the start of the tournament, and that the Qingyun sword sect had never taught talisman arts or beast control. Hua Qingyun had to be a spy sent by the demon sect. Hearing his disciple being suspected, Gu Yu immediately snapped back at old Dong. This sect tournament does not restrict any combat conditions to begin with. King Yun is only at the 8th level of the Spirit Palace realm. He must have realized that relying on his own swordsmanship would make it hard to win. So he chose another path and fought using talisman formations and a spirit beast. Seeing this, Wen Jian told them to calm down, then said, "I deliberately arranged for Wang Dao to fight King Yun so Wang Dao could break the talisman formation King Yun used. I wanted to use this chance to test whether King Yun had any trace of the demon sect on him. But unexpectedly, he won this battle using a spirit beast instead. From what I can see, that spirit beast is likely the legendary divine beast Xuanyin. Such a rare divine beast has actually appeared before everyone. If King Yun really were a demon sect disciple, then the demon sect would be paying far too high a price." Hearing that the little creature was actually the divine beast Xuanyin, the elders were also quite shocked. At this moment, the second elder spoke again and reminded everyone not to forget their purpose this time. King Yun had indeed not used any demon sect methods. Besides, according to the rules, if the spirit beast had been tamed by him, then it was naturally part of his combat strength and could not be considered cheating. Gu Yu was quite satisfied with this and said that the second elder made sense. He agreed. Very quickly, Elder Zhao announced King Yun's victory. Seeing that his complaint was useless, Wang Dao threatened that the next time they met, he would definitely cut King Yun down. Hearing this, little Xuanyin frowned slightly, and a trace of anger ignited in her eyes. Her figure once again turned into yin wind and rushed toward Wang Dao. Seeing this somewhat childish scene, King Yun felt rather helpless. But then again, he truly could not understand what the sect master was trying to do. Even this was not considered against the rules? Wasn't that a little too ridiculous? After thinking this, King Yun held the wooden tablet and told little Xuanyin to go back first. Then he stepped down from the stage to watch the next matches. Meanwhile, underground in Qingshu City, while the King Yun Sword Sects tournament was in full swing, dozens of demon sect cultivators at the 8th level of the Purple Mansion realm were gathered in the ruins of Qingshu City, not far from the King Yun Sword Sect. Suddenly, a figure slowly walked out. Blood Sea. True Lord. 4th level of the Ascension realm. Sect Master of the Blood Sea Sect. Seeing her, all the demonic cultivators knelt down. Blood Sea True Lord told them that the inside contact planted in the King Yun Sword Sect had already finished setting up the heaven-shrouding spirit, isolating Grand Formation. Now, they only needed to wait for the formation to activate. When the time came, they would crush this sect at full strength. Hearing this, one Purple Mansion demonic cultivator found it hard to believe and asked whether they could really take down the King Yun Sword Sect with their strength. After all, Wen Jin was at the 6th level of the Ascension realm, and the sect also had Ascension elders and several hall masters guarding it. Blood Sea. True Lord told them not to worry. Precisely because of that Lord had specially sent 2 fellow Taoists to assist them. Xiangba, Sect Master of the Demon Cloud Sect. 4th level of the Ascension realm. Li Wuya, Sect Master of the Profound Yin Sect. 3rd level of the Ascension realm. Both of them possessed the demon god power bestowed by that lord. And with the restrictions of the heaven-shrouding spirit, isolating Grand Formation. After today, the King Yun Sword Sect would no longer exist in this world, and the demon lord they worshipped would descend upon this world once again. Time passed quickly, and the sect tournament also entered its final stage. The remaining top 6 were Yue Jianshin of Mirror Hidden Hall, Zhao Rui, a core disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall, Zhao Tianlu, chief disciple of Clear Heart Hall, Wang Lan, chief disciple of Wind Spirit Hall, Zhang Du, chief disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall, and King Yun, a core disciple of Flowing Cloud Hall. Wen Jin arrived in the air and told the 6 of them that the final trial of this sect tournament would decide the last winner inside the Universe Mountain River painting. The Universe Mountain River painting was said to be a treasure left behind by the founding ancestor when the King Yun Sword Sect was first established. This high-grade spiritual treasure contained its own heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, as well as countless natural treasures. It was a unique, secret realm belonging to the King Yun Sword Sect. After that, Wen Jin explained the rules of this match. The rules were actually a battle royale that King Yun knew very well from his previous life, and it would even be broadcast live the entire time. After hearing this, King Yun understood that if he ran without fighting, his reputation would definitely fall to rock bottom. It seemed he could only keep acting. Soon, the Universe Mountain River painting unfolded, and 6 figures were pulled into the painting. Immediately after, Wen Jin put away the scroll, then he waved his other hand. 6 images appeared above the square, each corresponding to one of the 6 disciples. Compared with the disciples, who were amazed by the scenery inside the painting, Gu Yu saw Wen Jin's intention clearly. The Universe Mountain River painting was now connected to the sect master's heart blood, allowing him to control anything inside the painting with a single thought. With such a method, no matter how capable the spy was, they would not be able to cause even the slightest ripple. At the same time, In a certain corner of the Qingyun sword sect, a black-haired disciple asked the person beside him, "Without senior brother Zhao, the heaven-shrouding spirit isolating grand formation cannot be activated. What should we do?" After hearing this, that person told him not to panic. Senior brother Zhao already expected this situation. "Follow me." Senior brother Zhao has already prepared a backup plan on Flowing Cloud Peak. Inside the Universe Mountain River painting, Hua Qingyun looked at the beautiful scenery before him and could not help sighing. So this is the Peach Blossom Paradise? If such a beautiful peach blossom forest existed in my previous life, it would definitely become an internet-famous photo spot. But based on the angle I saw when the Mountain River painting unfolded earlier, I should be in the northwest corner of the Peach Blossom Paradise. As long as I head to the center of the Peach Blossom Paradise and wait for the other disciples there, that should work. When the time comes, I'll reveal an opening and deliberately lose. Perfect. But as soon as he finished speaking, a golden beam of sword energy suddenly appeared and slashed toward him. Hua Qingyun leaped back and dodged the attack. As peach blossoms filled the sky, he looked ahead. Hua Qingyun was rather surprised. "Oh, it's you?" From deep within the peach forest, a man slowly walked out. Zhang Du had a smile on his lips. "Long time no see, junior brother Qingyun. Ever since we went on that mission together 1 year ago, and I witnessed your earth-shaking sword strike." Before he could finish, Hua Qingyun interrupted him. "You still remember that?" Zhang Du said, "Thanks to you, junior brother, my strength has improved greatly. I also came to understand just how vast the gap is between me and a true monster, but I still want to experience junior brother Qingyun's swordsmanship again." Hua Qingyun pretended to start charging a powerful move, as if he were about to fight Zhang Du properly. Unexpectedly, in the next second, he opened his mouth and said, "Look, Ultraman is right behind you." And he actually tricked Zhang Du into turning his head. Even with tens of thousands of disciples watching, Hua Qingyun still had no intention of exposing his strength. Instead, he chose the best of the 36 stratagems: running away. It was not just Zhang Du. Even the watching disciples were completely dumbfounded. Although Hua Qingyun's cultivation realm was indeed lower, running away before the fight even started still seemed far too embarrassing to them. At this moment, some disciples noticed what Zhang Du had said when he first met Hua Qingyun and began suspecting that Hua Qingyun might be hiding his strength, possibly even stronger than Zhang Du. Of course, others believed Zhang Du had only been mocking Hua Qingyun with sarcasm. At this very moment, inside the Peach Blossom Paradise, an intense chase scene was playing out. Seeing that he still could not catch up to Hua Qingyun, Zhang Du finally could not hold back and slashed out with his sword. The terrifying destructive power of that strike made everyone's heart tremble. Zhang Du glared at Hua Qingyun. "Junior brother, stop running. The fact that you dodged my attack is enough to prove that your realm is not low. Why keep fleeing?" Unfortunately, he had underestimated Hua Qingyun's determination to lie flat. Hua Qingyun immediately said, "Senior brother, how can you falsely accuse me like this? My cultivation is weak. I only dodged it because I got lucky." This scene left the watching disciples completely speechless. Old Dong found it even harder to accept. How could the Qingyun sword sect have such a shameless person? After hearing Zhang Du's words, Lan Tong also began to suspect something. Could Hua Qingyun really be a hidden expert? Refusing to fight for this long is simply against common sense. At this moment, the second elder beside him revealed an expression that said he had figured it all out. He told Lan Tong, "There is only one truth. These two are acting abnormally, so one of them must be a demon sect spy." After saying this, he looked at Wen Jin and suggested, "Sect Master, why don't you activate the Universe Mountain River painting and force them to fight? We can judge who the spy is through the battle." Hearing this, Wen Jin also felt that it made some sense. However, just as he was about to act, he noticed black energy drifting in the distance. Judging from its direction, it was coming from Flowing Cloud Peak. Wen Jin was extremely shocked, because judging from the aura, it was clearly demonic energy. On a certain mountain of Flowing Cloud Peak, two figures quietly looked toward the Sect tournament and said, "As expected of senior brother Zhao Rui, he actually predicted this situation long ago. As long as we activate the formation, the reinforcements sent by that lord will arrive." For that lord. As they said this, the black jade talisman was crushed. Towering demonic energy began to rage in the sky. Immediately after, black beams shot into the sky from one mountain peak after another. Finally, they gathered together and formed the outline of a massive formation. Even though little Yu Jiangxin was inside the Universe Mountain River painting, she could still see the changes outside. Not only her, but even Hua Qingyun rarely showed a trace of panic. He pointed at the sky behind Zhang Du and told him to look. Zhang Du became even angrier, thinking Hua Qingyun was trying to trick him again. But judging from the aura seeping through the projection of the mountain river painting, Hua Qingyun cursed inwardly. Crap. The demon sect's formation flags have activated. Looking at the formation above their heads, all the disciples outside fell into panic. Wen Jin waved his hand and said, "It's a demonic formation. there's a spy. Old Dong and Gu Yu were the first to rush toward the formation. They wanted to destroy it while it had just formed and was still unstable. However, the moment their attacks touched the formation, they were repelled by strands of dark purple light. Judging from its strength, this formation was at least on the level of a sect-protecting grand formation. At this moment, a drop of cold sweat rolled from the corner of Lantong's eye below. He told everyone, "That is the heaven-shrouding spirit, isolating grand formation. This formation can seal the spiritual power and perception of an entire area of heaven and earth. It is an extremely powerful trapping formation. It can only be broken from the outside, or by finding and destroying the formation flags." Hearing this, Wen Jin immediately ordered all disciples of the Nine Peaks to search for the formation flags and destroy them. Suddenly, a teasing voice rang out. "There's no need to go through all that trouble, Sect Master Wen." As demonic energy surged, 3 figures slowly walked out of the grand formation. Wen Jin shouted angrily, "Blood Sea, True Lord!" Blood Sea True Lord's eyes flashed with a dark glow. "Sect Master Wen still remembers my name. What an honor." Wen Jin snorted coldly. "You really went to great lengths to attack the Qingyun Sword Sect." In the next moment, his 6th level Ascension cultivation erupted. "But with just your group, you think you can take down my Qingyun Sword Sect? Aren't you overestimating yourselves?" However, as Wen Jin rushed toward her, Blood Sea True Lord merely uttered one word calmly: "Break." As a 4th level Ascension cultivator, she not only blocked Wen Jin's attack, but also directly forced him back. A faint smile appeared on Blood Sea True Lord's lips. "Sect måste vinnas as dominering as ever. Unfortunately, all of you will die here today." She pointed a finger at Wen Jin. In the next second, Wen Jin shook violently as if he had been struck by a heavy blow. Feeling that power just now, his eyes filled with disbelief. Demon God power, the most yin and evil power of the demon realm. In the past, the demon race invaded the Kangyuan realm using demon god power. After that ancient war ended, demon god power vanished without a trace. After hearing Wen Jin's words, Lantong behind him was also shocked. Demon god power has long been lost. How does Blood Sea True Lord possess such power? At the same time, Blood Sea True Lord immediately gave the order to seize the mountain river painting. The disciples wanted to step forward and stop them. Suddenly, a sinister, cackling laugh rang out. Terrifying demon god power surged from Li Wuya's body, directly blasting Lantong and the others away. Then Li Wuya beckoned with 2 fingers. The universe mountain river painting fell into his hand. A trace of despair flashed through Lantong's eyes. How does he also have demon god power? At this moment, the universe mountain river painting in Li Wuya's hand was completely wrapped in demon god power. Before long, Wen Jin discovered that his connection with the mountain river painting had been cut off. Blood Sea True Lord proudly told Wen Jin, "With demon god power strengthening us, stop making meaningless struggles. Just wait obediently for 2 hours. You will all be refined by the grand formation into blood soul pearls and contribute to our summoning of the demon lord." As soon as she finished speaking, the heaven-shrouding spirit isolating grand formation began to operate. Very quickly, some weaker disciples collapsed to their knees and cried out for help. Seeing this, a cold light flashed in Blood Sea True Lord's eyes. "Don't worry. Not a single person from the Qingyuan Sword Sect will escape. I'll make sure all of you reunite on the road to the Yellow Springs." After saying that, she called out 2 names. "Shenyuan, Mengfeng, enter the mountain river painting and kill all the prodigies of the Qingyuan Sword Sect." The 2 responded. Without the slightest delay, they rushed straight into the mountain river painting. Meanwhile, Hua Qingyun was dodging Zhangdu's attacks while telling him to stop. Aren't you curious why this world shook just now? But Zhangdu was already too fired up. He said it was nothing more than the other senior brothers fighting, and that this time, Hua Qingyun would not trick him again. Hearing this, Hua Qingyun sighed inwardly. At this point, I can only make him stop myself. Suddenly, he seemed to sense something. His heart immediately filled with joy. Awesome! I don't even need to lift a finger. Immediately after, Hua Qingyun lightly leaped into the air, and 2 attacks collided. Seeing this, Zhangdu was left with a head full of question marks. Then a series of shockwaves blasted toward him. Zhangdu blocked all of them and frowned. "Wanglan, are you here to join the fun too?" Wanglan explained. "I only wanted to ask both senior brothers to stop for a moment. You must have sensed the tremor just now as well. I cultivate the Tao of Wind, so I can detect even the smallest changes in aura. Just now, 2 unfamiliar spiritual powers at the 9th level of the Purple Mansion realm entered the Peach Blossom Paradise. That is why I suspect." Seeing that he was still hesitating, Hua Qingyun directly finished his sentence. "The sect has been attacked, and the invaders have already entered this place." Only then did Zhangdu hesitate slightly, but he still did not quite believe it. With the sect master, a 6th level ascension cultivator, guarding the sect, who would dare invade? After hearing this, Wanglan took out his teleportation jade talisman and explained, The Sect Master's aura on it has disappeared. Our connection with the outside world should have been cut off. If you don't believe me, you can verify it yourselves. The teleportation jade talisman allowed its holder to crush it when facing danger, automatically forfeit, and leave the Peach Blossom Paradise. So, that's how it is. After saying this, Zhangdu looked at Wang Lan in irritation. I think you're trying to trick us into forfeiting. At this moment, Hua Qingyun yawned. Stop arguing. We'll know once we try. As soon as he finished speaking, he crushed his teleportation jade talisman. However, Hua Qingyun was not teleported out. Seeing this, Zhangdu and Wang Lan finally believed that something had truly happened to the sect. Suddenly, a purple light flashed behind them. The three of them flashed simultaneously, instantly dodging the attack. Then they looked ahead and demanded to know who he was. The man laughed loudly. You only noticed now? Too late. My name is Shen Yuan, the one who will take your lives.